Hello guys and welcome to Stretford Paddock and welcome to the Watchalong of Manchester United versus Watford in the third round of the FA Cup. Big game for United today after the Cup exit this week. Maybe an opportunity to rest some players, but Manchester United need to get back on the winning ways by beating Watford today. I'm a little bit nervous ahead of this one, obviously with the results in midweek going against us. I think that this now says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants a trophy, so I think that he's going to want to push this one, even though this is the opportunity to maybe rest a few players today. I'm a little bit nervous ahead of this one. Obviously, United exited the Carabao Cup in midweek. Ole really wants a trophy, so I really want us to get through and have another cup run in the FA Cup this year. Obviously, United will maybe rest some players today. What are your score predictions? I'm going to go for a cagey 2-1 win for Manchester United. Obviously, this will all change when we see the teams come out, but I'm going to go 2-1. But, as always, you can get your predictions into Stretford Paddock by using the email address paddockmatchday@gmail.com. Send in your 30-second clip. Let us know how you're feeling ahead of every single Manchester United game, and you can feature in this section right here.
It's Ronaldo here, back with another pre-match prediction for the Watford game, and I am going to go for a 3-1 win. I said 2-1 win a couple of days ago, but I think it'll be a little bit more convincing. I know West Brom have had a very, very good defensive record this season. I think they've got second best in the Championship. But I feel like we'll field a little bit of a weakened side today, but I feel like we'll have enough quality still to get the job done. I'm not sure we'll get a clean sheet just yet, but 3-1 win and through to the next round. I think we need to win and keep the winning momentum going. After losing the last game, you don't want to lose 2 games in a row. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 United win with Greenwood starring the show.
For this fixture, we're going to see a highly rotated team. There's been rumours of Lingard starting. Palestri was apparently going to get his first start before he contracted COVID. So I don't think it's going to be the team we've been used to seeing the last couple of weeks. But still, it's an FA Cup fixture against a Championship team. So United should be winning this in normal time and should be getting a clean sheet. So I'm going to say United to win 2-0.
Oh, it's FA Cup weekend, which means one thing, doesn't it? Squad rotation. I think we need it. A lot of the players need rest. I think Bruno should have a day off, and I think a few of the others should as well. I think the Igalo's playing, sorry. So it's just the fringe players. I still trust them. We're a much better side than Watford. I think we'll beat them. Let's put 3-0 on it. Come on, the Reds.
Hello, Reds. My matchday prediction for Manchester United Watford in the FA Cup is 2-1. We have to bounce back and beat Watford. Come on, lads.
Hey everyone, Angelina here with my prediction for the Watford game. Looking forward to this one, FA Cup. Everyone loves an FA Cup tie. And I'm hoping that we're going to get a win, going to be very positive, and I'm predicting a 2-0 victory. On the score sheet, I would really like to see Mason Greenwood if he's playing, and we'll go for Marcus Rashford.
FA Cup is back. Manchester United are playing Watford at Vicarage Road. My score prediction, I'm going 3-1 Man United. I really want Donny van der Beek to play, Axel to play, Lingard, Mata, just play a second stream side. I think it'll be good enough. Just rest our first team players for Burnley and for Liverpool next week. So that is my prediction. Come on, United.
Paddock match day, not cheer. So we raised the glass to National Third Day again on Wednesday, but now it's time to drink out of the FA Cup. It's been all about who we're resting in this, but we shouldn't forget Watford aren't necessarily pushovers. They still have Deeney, Sarr, Andre Gray, Foster and Cleverly. And they were once owned by Elton John, but I don't want to go on with you like that. There's going to be no passengers in our team. Our own rocket man Van der Beek will get us a 2-0 win, leave them still standing and waving them goodbye down that yellow-shirted road. Because we're Manchester United, and I guess that's why they call us the Reds. Saturday night's all right for Vibes Ball. Trust the Notchster.
Thank you to everyone that sent in their predictions. Thank you again to our contributors who also made an appearance there. Like I've said, if you want to feature every single week on Stretford Paddock, make sure you're using the email address paddockmatchday@gmail.com. Not only is it the kickoff of the FA Cup third round, it's also the kickoff of transfer season, with us being in January. And for that, we could only get one main man onto Stretford Paddock, and that is Fabrizio Romano. This week, Jay and Ronaldo had a chat for him. Here's a clip from that.
Name that's been sort of constantly linked to Manchester United over the past sort of 6 months, especially, is Dale Upamecano. Do you think that could be something that the club pursue again, that signing in the summer? Because obviously, you know, he was linked with us in the past, but we know that didn't happen. Do you think they could go again and maybe try and get him this summer?
I think yes, for sure he's in the list. Manchester United have as top clubs. They always do. They have a list with many names scouted and monitored and in talks with the agents. And for sure, Upamecano is appreciated by Manchester United, also by Bayern Munich. Also, other clubs are keeping tables about him just because he's an amazing centre-back. And the release clause for 42 million euro next summer, in my opinion, is an enormous opportunity. In this moment, finding centre-backs in the market is so difficult. So also going for Upamecano for 42 million euro is an amazing opportunity. And also Leipzig are preparing for a new centre-back next summer. It will mean that the player will leave. So they're going to try for Simakan, for example, as a centre-back. So they are already working right now to sign a new centre-back for next summer. So that's why I expect Upamecano to leave, and for sure Manchester United are interested. As we mentioned for Sancho, they have to decide as a strategy what kind of centre-back we need. So that's what Manchester United will do. I expect them to sign a new centre-back next summer. Yes, Upamecano is in the list. Yes, it will be signed. I don't know, just because it will be a race also with the player. When you have the release clause, you have to find agreement on the personal terms with the player. And Bayern Munich, when players come from the German football, they are always trying to get these kind of players. So they are interested, but we have also other clubs interested. Manchester United are among the clubs that are talking with people around the player. So Upamecano for sure is a big opportunity, and Manchester United will be interested for next summer. We will see if they will start talks.
So that was the Tier 1 podcast, Jay Ronaldo and Fabrizio Romano. If you like to listen as much as you like to watch us, if you want to do it whilst you're having a run outside, whatever you want to do, you can also listen to our podcast on your favourite thing by clicking the Podfollow link in the description below. That can be iTunes, that can be Spotify, that can be Google, that can be anything that you listen to podcasts on, we're there. So make sure you click in the Podfollow link and have a listen to Stretford Paddock. So not long now until the teams are out for Manchester United versus Watford in the FA Cup third round. It might be me back sat right there talking about the team news. We're going to be here though all the way through until the final whistle, and also we'll have the reviews, we'll have fan cams and all that good stuff at the end of the game. But before all that, we need a team talk for today, and there's only one man to bring us that, and is of course Andy Tate's team talk.
Manchester United v Watford, FA Cup, kick-off 8 o'clock. Now, do we take this seriously? I think we do. Changes are going to be made, players are going to be rested, and I think Donny van der Beek will start today. Dean Henderson will also play a part. Mason Greenwood, and I would say Matic, Mata. Harry Maguire may get a rest, Bailly may come back. So you're going to see about 7, 8 changes, maybe 9 changes to the squad from Wednesday. We're all disappointed what happened Wednesday. We're all upset. But we move on, even though that was our 4th shot at a semi and we just can't cut it. And this is where now this FA Cup takes priority as well as the League and the Europa League. Like I said on Wednesday, we are about trophies, and this is what we want. We want to get to an FA Cup final. If your luck's right in a draw, if you get it right, you can you're 7 games away from a final and winning it. So you can have the luck of the cup draw, but we haven't had it in the last few years. So maybe it's our turn. So Ole, just get this done, put it to bed tonight, because you cannot afford another mistake. But even though we've got bigger sights on the horizon, we still want to take this FA Cup seriously. And I do, because I will never forget 2016 and the party after we won it against Crystal Palace. So, take it seriously, get the game done. Donny, have a flyer, mate, because you force yourself into the plans for the next few games as well. Because if you play well, you may get rewarded. So, 8 adored, and they'd say is never ignored. Stretford Paddock.
So that is all for me now. Make sure you're using the hashtag Paddock Matchday on Twitter, on Instagram. I'll be looking at that. Ronaldo's over on socials. We'll be looking at that all the way through the game. We'll be back at half-time to have a little bit look more into some stats and some of your comments and your tweets and your Instagram posts. So make sure you're getting involved. Hashtag Paddock Matchday on all the socials. But now, over to the lads.
said, you better get that checked out if it grows any bigger.
Is this a new way? Are we going to do this all the time? Oh, welcome. Yeah, not bad. It's FA Cup day.
It is FA Cup day.
FA Cup day. A few days, actually.
Ipswich are shit.
Ipswich are dreadful at football. Surely a mint.
Surely I'm in, and Aston Villa under 14s are pretty good and all.
They're not bad, are they? They're not bad. And Liverpool, they're just... Someone put in Klopp starting yesterday with Salah and Mane.
This is the guy that's crying about 5 subs.
Honestly. I mean, Ollie's not...
And rotation.
To be fair, Ollie's not moaned that much about it. But if he started today with Rashford, Bruno, Donny, Pogba,
him.
if he did all that, you go, you can't argue.
And as we were saying upstairs, if he doesn't play Donny van der Beek today, listen, we're going to have words. Because...
Some arguments.
What's gone on? Has he shit in your fucking shoe? What's going on there?
Something's gone. If he doesn't play today, there's something really going on.
Yeah, there's something more than I'm just getting him ready because it don't make a lot of sense.
But it's looking like what he said yesterday in the press conference. He said Donny will play tomorrow. He didn't say he will feature. He'll play tomorrow, which means to me he's going to start. There's also some rumours tonight that Dean Henderson's starting, which isn't a shock really in the slightest, is it?
I think someone's just jumped the gun on that one, and they'll probably be right and be like, "Ha ha,
told you so." It was one of them. It's that fantastic newspaper that we all love in this office.
What was I going to say? What else I was going to say before as well? I've not managed to see it. I tried my hardest upstairs to get it on. MK Dons was winning until the last minute and Burnley equalised. Good for us because they've had extra time and penners. Right. Not good for us because they actually went through, and I think if they'd have gone out, one, Brucey bonus there for Ethan Laird getting an hour.
Yep.
And two, full game playing against League One opposition, then extra time, then going out on penalties. The morale sap that would have been would have been really beneficial for United on Tuesday.
It would,
not going down like that.
It shouldn't matter playing Burnley, should it? It shouldn't matter.
Of course it should, because a lot of football's in your head.
It is.
You can be resolute.
We should just be like, we're better than them, beat them. We should just be. There's a point this season where United...
The FA Cup is what it is.
The FA Cup is what it is, but United should come into Tuesday's game and just go, we're better than you, we're just going to beat you. Because if we are... The whole point is that if we need to win that game, we need to go... We're challenging for the title, and that's the whole thing that's been going on.
Not till 25 games in, we're not.
If we win that game, if we beat Liverpool, if we at 25 games we're there or thereabouts, you need to just be better than teams. You can't be scraping past all these teams. You need to just be going, I'm better than them. And even if you do sneak a 1-0, you want to be walking on the pitch going, we're just better, we're going to win today. And that's the mentality that we need to have.
But this United team don't have that yet.
No, not in the slightest. Not really.
Not in any sort of deep-rooted belief.
No, I don't think they do.
I think we walk on going, we could do these here today. But not the we will do these today. That let's be honest, you see it with Liverpool. You see it when they don't even have a right to believe in that and they still manage to pull it off. You do see it with City. And that's on the back of being successful and winning trophies. Yeah. That's when you go home and you look at your medals, you go, I'm fucking well good at footy, mate.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of these United players don't quite have that yet. And even the ones that are very, very good.
They look at the Europa League medal and go, I fucking hate Europa League.
Well, even that, you think of our guarantee start, you think of the two players that are in the squad today, Maguire and Bruno are in the squad, but they're your captain and your one that everyone says should be captain, haven't really won anything, if anything at all. No. They can't even do that. They can't even do what Marcus done. So I've got an FA Cup and I've got a Europa League. Can't even do that. And a League Cup. They can't even do that. They're kind of looking back and going, I've not won anything yet. So it doesn't matter how good we're going. We need something, which is why after midweek, I've said this game has a little bit...
Nations League?
Yeah, I've won the Nations League. He did win that.
That's an absolute inter-toto level fucking trophy.
It is, isn't it? No, I mean,
people
cared.
There are about 900 winners of it as well.
What, the Nations League?
Yeah, don't you all in different group
there's
winners?
only one winner of it. Yeah. There's group winners of it's so that they have a better chance of qualifying for...
Do you know what? I thought Nations League initially was the shittest idea ever. It was literally just rebranding of friendlies. However, in practice, when you see the likes of San Marino getting draws, which is nuts...
It's good, because when they play, they've got a group and they go, well, all of them are going to beat us.
Yeah, we're in with Germany, Croatia and England. Yay.
Yeah.
Let's try and not lose 14-1 every game.
Yeah, it's good. And it's good for, it's been good. Is that how Scotland have got in? Or have they
People have had competitive matches, yeah.
They've had competitive matches.
Not only that, it's the tournament qualification thing. England usually qualify with a 100% record or a 90% record somewhere.
And they also don't play they've gone for a 2-year gap. The only time they played against a Belgium or a Germany or a France is they'll play a one-off friendly at Wembley. No one cares.
Make 22 subs.
Make 22 subs. They do the same. They tried out a new thing, and no one really cares. You can see the players don't really care.
So
Whereas
the Nations
now,
League, you're playing teams in and around you.
how have we got onto the Nations League? By the way, is this the equivalent of the FA Cup? Is this what you're trying to say to us, Steve? How have we got onto this?
I fucking bounce around.
I know you bounce around. I know. Shall we have a look at what the comments everyone's saying?
I'm just wondering how I'm going to manage to get to 7:30 without having a poo. So I just absolutely devoured some ribs.
Yep.
Fucked them right up.
Let's have a look. Isaac Hobson has put a super chat in saying,
Cheers, homie.
I'm paying $5.99 for Hulu. I should be paying $5.99 for you guys. This is all I watch these days. Cheers for all the content.
Become a member, mate.
Become a member. That's kind of what it is. It's the same kind of thing. So, yeah, become a member if you're not already.
We are introducing a $99,000 tier on the memberships where you get to give Andy Tate a bath every night.
Was that not going to be a giveaway?
It was going to be a giveaway. We decided to make it $1 short of $100,000 a month, where you can just get to give Andy Tate a bath. It's like an adopting a giraffe or something.
Right. I'm Roberto. Says,
might be a lie, though,
where's your rum, Steve?
Where's my rum?
I got the tram so
I'm not being teetotal, but I've had a kidney problem for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Where I point out, I'm getting shouted at by the wife about going to the doctors. She's probably watching upstairs, so hi, love you. But I'm getting shouted at after the wife. So I'm trying to give myself a little bit of time to recover this naturally. And I think getting smashetoed.
I've said to you, how long is it since you've had a proper beer?
Yeah.
And you've said about 6 weeks?
Yeah.
How long is it since you've had this problem?
About 2 weeks. Right. All over Christmas and New Year.
So he should have just had a beer and he'd been fine. But he's not. So anyway, and there's also saying...
I'm trying to keep it chill, you know what I mean?
Not just said he wants to put a bag. He wants a bag as emoji. So there's no emoji me on the thing. So I'll have to.
There's about 15 slots in there.
15 slots. So we might need to get one of them.
Crack on.
Bath Andy
where's my rum, by the way? Oh, there's only about 100 bottles upstairs.
We'll be doing some more stuff up there once it's all
Tuesday.
kitted out.
We're getting the new table going in. So we've had a custom handmade like podcasting table, which is being made for up there to go alongside the bar. The lovely wife is putting in some lighting, and we're also we chose. About half a dozen photos of United players on the piss. So obviously like the George
which Steve's going to claim was his idea. It was actually mine. So just to get that out there right now, my idea was get United players who were on the piss and put them on there. And so Steve went, great idea. Hey, have you heard this? This is the idea I've had. This is what happened in the
Robbo
office.
in the bath, like George Best pouring like all the champagne glasses down each
yeah.
other. I think we've got Fergie with some champagne.
Isn't there one have you got one of the ones with from the lads with juice as well though? Like a really daft one.
There's,
no white side with a packet of Rubicon.
There's one of Paul McGrath with a Capri Sun.
Yeah, that's the one.
In full kit, in like a boardroom, with the FA Cup and a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
It's sensational. I
Gaza
don't know if that's going in there or not.
Gaza said smash the Barocca.
Barocca? No.
Barocca. People saying new studio. No, not a new studio. It's we've got an office upstairs and we've got another room to it that's got a few.
Yeah,
we've got a bar.
We've been working on a bar and a couple of other different sets and stuff like that, but it's just not been ready yet. And obviously it's hard getting stuff done when people aren't allowed to leave the fucking house near enough.
Yeah, so that's not very good. Jansath Matthews said, did you see Ethan Laird play today? I've not actually seen any of it, but
no, I was
just checked about that.
Yeah, I was trying to get. I mean, I just texted him saying, "How'd you find it?" Actually,
yeah.
But he, I saw he got an hour. I've seen a couple of highlights of him on Twitter. Some people saying he was playing right centre back. Some people were saying right wing back. I haven't seen it yet, so yeah, I'm sure.
Well, he came. I saw he came on. They were playing three at the back. The only thing I've seen is like the swap on. He replaced the right centre half. So whether they kind of moved more to a 4-4-2 and went.
But Regan Poole was playing.
Yeah, he was
who used to be at United.
He was
and
the
he's
wing
a centre half.
He was playing
right wing back, but he is a centre half. So I wonder if they've moved him in and put Ethan on the right. I don't know. I ain't seen it, but I am interested in seeing how Ethan got done. I've got very high hopes for Ethan.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm going to tell him about the Whoop as well. Actually, we had a really good conversation about making sure it gets a proper opportunity here and takes this as fucking serious as it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think he'd benefit from one of these.
Yeah. Sleep's the big thing for it. Anyway, Jack Carter has put super chat in. Thank you very much, Jack. Diallo's 18 million, rise to 38 million if he does bits. Is it a lot of money
for? I need to stop saying 40 million.
Yeah, it's 20 million if he does. Is it like if he wins the Ballon d'Or, you get extra 5. Is that kind of thing? You don't know with these add-ons. It could be the ridiculous ones that we've thrown in the past, or relatively like there was a few with Martial. If he got
Ballon d'Or
50, well, the first one that was 5 million was something like if he got 20 league goals or something like that.
Why is McKola phoning me?
I don't know.
Should we ring him?
There. No, don't ring him.
What do you want?
Is he there? Or he must be upstairs. Must be upstairs. Chuck him a text and ask him. There you go. Madragon's been watching Laird. He held wide in attack, but centre-back got pulled into Laird's space at the right-hand side. So Ethan tucked in often at centre-back, burning Burnley's attack after his transition. So yeah, bit of that. What else have we got? Evening, guys. Everyone's in and about with it. Jamaican rum is the only rum. What do you make of that, Steve?
Jamaican rum's my favourite rum.
Jamaican rum is good.
I've got some Ray and Nephews upstairs, actually.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about that. I heard very, very bad things. Not long now until the team news comes out. So, who are you expecting? Again, we've said Dean Henderson probably going to be in goal for today. Also,
we're 7 minutes away from team news, aren't we?
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Cal, just see your text.
Yeah. So let's have a quick look. Welcome to Jules, who has joined as a member.
No. On the camera.
There you go.
Idiot.
We need to rest Bruno. Exactly. Definitely, we can't play Bruno tonight. We've got to text.
I did a bit of opposition preview on my channel. We were meant to put it on here, but we didn't do that. So what I did was I went for an almost entirely rotated side, and on that I went with Hendo, Tellez. I did debate Laird. What? But he hadn't gone at the time.
Well, yeah.
And actually, the reason I texted him yesterday was like, "Oh, are you in the team or what this weekend? I'm doing my 11." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going out on loan me." Oh, no, okay, fair enough. And I was like, "Where are you going?" And then it got announced.
Yeah.
So I went with Williams.
Yeah.
I want to see Bay and Twanzebe at centre half. And I would go with a midfield of McTominay, Van der Beek, and Mata in the 10.
I went for something similar.
Mason, Dan James, Tony Marshall up front.
Yeah, I think
Or Igalo.
Yeah, or Igalo. I think Tony Marshall needs a goal though, so I'd like to see him start and get an hour today, score a couple of goals, and move on from that. Harold has put a super chat in about. He said he saw Simon Jordan. Who is he, and why the negativity towards Ollie and United? Also watching Dortmund, Leipzig, two fastest players in Bundesliga, Haaland and Upamecano. I mean, they look good, don't they, those two? The Haaland one's a bit of a strange
Supposedly, we cooled on Upamecano after how he played here. That's a bit short-sighted, that.
I think so. I think if you watch him, he's looked very, very good for Leipzig, and I think that he's definitely going to be on the list of centre-halves. I still think he's got a hope about Eric Bailly. I still think he thinks, do you know what, if we can keep him fit, he does that job, and we've already got him. I'm not got to worry about signing someone else. But if he has another injury this season, then they need to start looking elsewhere. On Simon, it's TalkSport, and they're waffling on. And they know that United creates headlines. That's the big thing. They mentioned all the time about...
Oh, Chum Bucket. Shut the fuck up, no one cares.
I saw the comment he made about Ollie, and that United need to have better standards. The reason I don't get on Lampard is that Chelsea are different to Manchester United. I'm like, well, Chelsea have won the league twice since we last won it.
Alan just hit the bar as you said his name, apparently.
But again, Simon Jordan, they've said that, and United standards, they have to drop your standards a little bit and drop your expectations in order to build yourself back up. You can't just. His argument was that United should have the best manager in the world. So we had that twice before that, and it didn't work.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho were pretty much that appointment.
Yeah, they were
pretty much.
Who's the best manager that we can get right now? Well, Louis van Gaal had just taken.
And it's still an opinion, because when Louis was appointed, you might have gone, well, I think it's Guardiola. Well, Guardiola needs $1 billion, and we ain't going to give him $1 billion. Yeah. So what's the next thing you can... Well, actually, Louis van Gaal's got a proven track record across multiple countries of building teams up to be successful at a later date.
Yeah, you have to look at...
I think Louis van Gaal was absolutely the best appointment we could have made. Following that, Jose Mourinho has got the best CV that's ever been seen.
Yep.
anywhere near football.
Yep.
And we appointed him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. So you have to look at a different way. You have to look at a different strategy. You look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid battered on for ages they went Mourinho, Ancelotti, they had all these managers, and then it turns out that a manager who hadn't managed anywhere or hadn't even done any coaching, Zidane, can control all these big names and it works. You know, Zidane isn't the best coach. It's going to be a long time until you see how good Zidane actually is. I think now's the test for Zidane. Mm-hmm. But the thing that worked is you had a guy who was bigger than all them players. You had Zidane who could walk in and go, do you know what, I can see eye to eye Ronaldo here and say that you're not that good. And he managed that team so well that they won 3 Champions Leagues, you know, whereas no other manager could do that.
The thing is, it's also a cup.
Yeah,
and
it's also a cup.
Fortune.
They also won the league as well. So he also got that team playing good enough football to win the league. But at the same time, that was an odd appointment. You look at Barcelona had massive managers up until Guardiola, until someone that came through and they went, do you know what, let's bring the guy up that's managed Iniesta, that's worked with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and has worked with the youth team, bring him up, and he did the job for them. It's not just a case of, you know, he's the best manager in the world. And there is a point where you say United need to reach a certain standard, and United need to reach whatever they need to do. But at the same time, you know, we did the big manager route and it didn't work in the slightest. So I think that, I mean, I'm happy with Ollie in there for now. Someone said Van der Bench instead of Van der Beek. It's getting that way a bit, isn't it? Hopefully not tonight.
If he doesn't
He's got to start
there's
tonight.
problems.
He's got to start tonight. Let's have a look. Welcome Eddie, another new member. Also, a $5 super chat from Cold Water. Martial is not good enough for number 9. Watch the movements of Martial and Cavani when Rashi score versus Wolves. It's day and night, bro. So static in the box. Now, I know your thoughts on Tony Martial. I don't think you think he's a bad footballer in the slightest, but I do think you believe that Ollie wants a different type of striker. And I had this debate last night. I was talking about him and I went, do you know what? Give him a bit of time. I think we need to give him a little bit of, you know, the suspension kind of knocked him back a bit this year when he just got back into the, you know, back moving again. The whole team was getting back playing again. But at the same time, I do think Ollie fancies someone else. I think he likes a Cavani type figure. I think he fancies a proper, you know, an old school sort of number 9. But you know, I'm not too sure. I don't know whether that's available now. Whether that's, you know, because Haaland's the obvious one, but he's gone to Dortmund and done what, you know, he's done that. He's also a Raiola client, and I think we're trying to avoid that as best we can. But at the same time, who else is out there that would drastically improve us in that sort of number 9 position right now that's going to be worth spending 70, 80 million quid? I think that's the main thing at the minute that I think Ollie's kind of going. There isn't that obvious choice. There isn't that we need to get that player in, because apart from Haaland, it isn't there at the minute. It isn't there at all.
No, sorry, just reorganising the TV here so we can actually see it better for when the team news comes out.
Yeah.
I think are we ready for the team news? Team news should be out in a second.
Should be out
so
in a second.
See.
I'll have a quick look for us out over on the Twitter, because that's usually the fastest place for it. We've got the team. There we go. So
I'll read that.
We've got Jordan.
Right, it is Henderson in there, as we would have expected. I'm seeing Baye and I'm seeing Chuanzebe. I like it. And we've got Tellez and we've got
Brandon Williams.
Williams. Oh shit, 4 for 4 so far, or 5 for 5 so far. McTominay and Mata, interestingly, and Van der Beek. Oh my God, have I got 11 out of 11 here? Greenwood, no I haven't, because Lingard's in there. Greenwood, James, Lingard. So the only one I got wrong was Marshall and Lingard. Not far off. Where's Jesse playing there? Is Jesse on the right or left wing, I guess?
I reckon right wing. Mason through the middle. Big C there next to Scott McTominay is captain for Manchester United tonight.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, there's not many other options, I guess.
There's not many other options, but you've got Juan Mata there that could have taken the armband and done the job. Apart from that, I can see why they've done that. Good to see all them lot on the bench. Paul Pogba isn't in the squad at all. Don't know whether that's probably down to the fact that it's needing the rest.
So the bench is De Gea, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Bruno, Fred, Matic, Igalo. Obviously, I think he'll feature at some point. Marshall and Rashford. I wouldn't mind seeing Rashford given the entire night off, and Bruno the entire night off. But I guess if it's gone west, you do need some firepower.
Also, the fact that we've got 9 subs there, so you're not too worried about it. I'm surprised to see Eric Bailly playing. A little bit for me. I'd rather seen. I went for Maguire in my predicted 11. Eric Bailly, I just want him wrapped up in cotton wool. I still think that if we can keep him fit, I think that definitely strengthens our chances of winning the title. Now, looking at Watford's team, I think the big news for them is João Pedro starting, who was the 19-year-old. Me, Ronaldo and Jay talked about him on the preview. Scored 5 goals in his first something like 10 games for Watford, coming into the Championship at 19. Is a little bit special. Looks very good. He's coming back. He's not been featured for about 5 or 6 games. They've started Andre Gray instead of Troy Deeney, and they've also started Zinkernagel, who is their new signing and only got signed on start of this month. So a few new players in there for them. No Tom Cleverley. No,
I expected Tom Cleverley to feature, to be honest.
Yeah.
Foster not even starting is an interesting one. Outside of that, not major. Where's no Deeney?
No Troy Deeney. He's not in the
not even on the squad.
Not even in the squad, so there might be an injury there for Troy Deeney. Sarr at the right wing, obviously got linked to Manchester United throughout the summer. I think it was mainly Jay Motti, to be honest, pushing the Sarr agenda. I think a very good player. Obviously scored 2 goals last year against Liverpool. Very good player. They've got a lot of good talented players in there. No Tom Cleverley in the squad tonight, no Troy Deeney. Maybe a little bit of, for as much as, we're kind of taking our foot off the gas in terms of the league, Watford may be doing that a little bit as well, because, they're in 6th spot in the league. Get a cup run for them compared to getting back into the Premier League.
Everyone's fucked, aren't they?
Everyone knows that they need to rotate. Ben Foster not getting a start tonight, I think that may be...
Even if you just looked at it from a pure financial point of view, the money involved in getting back in the Premier League versus actually winning the FA Cup is pathetic.
It's pathetic, and also, especially for a club like Watford, they're doing okay in terms of media stuff. They still get a few games here and there on Sky. They're going to still get a decent wedge of money from that. They're not like a Chorley, they're not like a Marine, they're not like a lower down club that, just playing against one of these teams changes
well done to Charlie, Marine and all of those guys that have got to the level that they've got to, and they've done phenomenal to do so. I'm absolutely gutted for you that you're not getting... Here's why it's amazing usually for those clubs. Those clubs probably operate, most of them, on between $500,000 and $1 million a year in terms of turnover, right?
Yeah.
Turnover, complete. The prize money that they get for competing in some of the leagues that they're in is a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Now, you get drawn to United away, that's probably a couple of million that you're getting for playing us in that round at Old Trafford when fans are there. Now, all of the players that have got this at the moment, or all of the teams that have got this at the moment, they're getting because you get like 1,500 quid for winning a round. It goes up every round, but you're getting like 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
And a fucking handshake and a fucking pendant for well done on reaching the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Sling it.
Now, I think that the one thing you can jump on that, I think Chorley have done very well. I know they're lads. I mean, they've obviously gone a bit viral with singing Adele after every single performance and stuff like that. But jumping on that, making sure you're pushing that kind of stuff out means that they are getting a little bit more media coverage than they would have done elsewhere. That's clever. Marine have done well in terms of selling on... they've done like virtual tickets for this game. I think they sold 6,500 of them. Tottenham, I think, have agreed that at the end of all this, they'll do a friendly against them at the start of next season. And all Tottenham fans have been promised the game to go and watch Marine if you were a Tottenham season ticket holder. So all these different things, Marine have done well with that, and that's the thing with the FA Cup. There is a little bit of that, and it is quality. It's quality in terms.
That's a nightmare why the replays have gone, and this is where money talks. Because I tell you what, getting a replay is literally a lottery win to some of these clubs. And again, it's not Watford and it's not Manchester United. But listen, the FA Cup is unique in world football. You see the way we treat the EFL trophy, the League Cup, right? We don't give a fuck about it, right? And the reason we don't give a fuck about it is the 92 professional clubs. What makes the FA Cup spectacular is there's thousands of clubs that are involved. Thousands! You can have 7 rounds before you get to round 1. The achievement, I mean, obviously, like #United. Shout out to Spencer and #United. hopefully Paddock will be in there in a few years.
It only takes you get through that one round, you get starting into the real rounds of the FA Cup. It's a massive PR boost.
All you got to do is you've got to be in level 10, right? You have to finish the season in level 10. Once you finish the season in level 10, you're in the pre-qualifying rounds of the FA Cup, and then you're in the preliminary rounds, and there can be, depending where you start, up to 7 rounds before you get to round 1. You got to remember, Premier League clubs mostly come in at round 3. So you could have played, like, if Paddock gets to this stage in 5 years' time, we'll have played 10 games, which is more than United will play in 3 fucking seasons of the thing.
It's ridiculous. A couple of super chats, thank you guys. Gucci Sensei has put one in saying, Williams can push for a spot as that attack-minded right-back moving forward with the dominant display today with the question mark. What do you make to that? I'm happy to see Brandon getting some game time. I think it's been a bit harsh on him this year, not playing. But at the same time, I think that with Tellez coming in, and Luke Shaw hasn't been as good as everyone keeps saying, but I think he's improved on what he has. I think that Tellez has kind of pushed Brandon out of the squad as backup to that, which has been a shame. But there's obviously talk this week. Laird's obviously gone out on loan. Delo went out in the summer. Ollie also said in his press conference, he said, Fosu Mensah, he's got to get game time, he's off skis.
Yeah, so, it's a shame it's not worked out for Timbo. He's had some poor injuries. He went to Palace, started off fantastically, and then they tried Wan-Bissaka, and he was like, hey, he's fucking belting.
Yeah.
You can sit on the bench, mate.
Yeah, so it's been a bit tough for Fosu Mensah. But at that point, it means that unless we sign someone, which there's rumours about, Trippier, not Trippier.
Fuck off. It could happen, especially now Ethan's gone out on.
Not just that, but also Max Aarons as well.
Yes, Max Aarons I think has probably got a little bit more weight. And I'd actually be gutted if we sign Max Aarons because it seems short-sighted with me. You've just sent Ethan Laird on loan. Can you not wait 6 months?
Yeah, I think.
Can you not wait 6 months to see if Ethan Laird absolutely rips strips off it playing for MK Dons?
Yeah.
Because if he does, you go, we just saved ourselves £20 million.
Yeah.
That's another dividend for the Glazers.
Exactly. We've also had a super chat from Stefan. Thank you very much. Watch out for Zinkernagel. He knows how to say his name. 37 goal points in 28 games last season in Norway. I don't quite know what that means.
I don't know what the exchange rate is.
But 37 goal points, I'm guessing, means like goals and assists and all sorts of stuff. So obviously a guy that's put some good numbers in the Norwegian league was Bode Ilum's Bruno, they've said, going 3-1 United today. Love from Norway.
James says, we had 4 times forwards in York, Cole, Sheringham and Ollie. We need more than just Rashford, Marshall and Cavani. We do, but you've got to remember, we definitely do. This isn't a but. That was players playing in 2 positions. Currently, that lot playing 3 positions.
Yeah,
so you definitely need more.
You definitely need more, but also I think that you look at the whole culture around forwards and sitting on the bench and stuff has changed a little bit.
Sadman says, Shaw has been way better than Steve's letting on know. Right. Was it last week or the week before? I said, do me a favour, before commenting, just watch him.
You can't do that tonight, he's not playing.
Right. But that's what I said. Right? If you watched him, and a lot of you did, you would have agreed. Otherwise, you just don't know what you're looking at.
The thing with Shaw is he got Player of the Year because he stayed fit for a year. The thing with Shaw right now is he's getting praise because he's doing better than he was before. He's putting more crosses in. He's doing a bit more going forward. Doesn't mean he's a very good fullback. It means he's doing better than he was before. People keep showing me this progression stat, but United are a left-sided, attack-focused thingy. That progression stat means nothing without extra context on this. Is he creating loads of chances? He's creating some chances. Is he getting loads of assists? No. If he was an absolute assist machine like Trent, you could forgive him for being absolutely shit defensively like Trent is. But he's neither. It's the positioning. We watched it the other night. The willingness to sprint and go forward and all this kind of stuff.
You've got to ask yourself, how many times you go, why is he jogging?
Charlie said, when are we going to see Steve in the coaching setup at United? Never, because I just don't know who Steve is. It's never going to happen because I think they would.
Wayne Flynn, Steve's bang on about Shaw's positioning. He is shocking.
You need to. That's the thing.
It's his laziness.
It's his laziness. It's his willing to sprint. It's his willing to do these things that when you put someone else in there and watch them do it, the levels above. I think the one thing is he has improved. You got to give him the credit of he's improved. He's starting to look a little bit better going forward. He's starting to make more runs. He has improved that part. Doesn't mean he's any good though. It doesn't mean he's as good as we need. We can still improve on that, and I still think that Tellez, if you can get, because I think the problem with Tellez is that his end product is better, but I do think there's a positioning issue. I think there's a lot of the same issues with Shaw where he's not done it. I think the thing with having Shaw in there...
I think they're still just bedding him in, and I don't know why.
But here's the other thing is that it is a bit of better the devil you know, is that Maguire and Shaw have played on that left-hand side for 18 months now. Maguire knows that Shaw's lazy. Maguire knows when he's not going to do it.
A language thing?
It may even be a language thing. Maguire knows if Shaw goes there, I have to do this. And for 90% of the time, I have to call for him.
Watch how many times Fred and Maguire are in Luke Shaw's fucking position.
That's the thing, is that maybe that is the point at the minute. That's the team there. We'll go through it again. We've got Dean Henderson in goal. Not really a shock there.
Jazza, Shaw's been our best defender. Mate.
Don't quite know what he's been doing defensively to say that. Anyway, Brandon Williams at right back.
Here's what happens. I have a pretty down the line opinion of someone. This happened with Ashley Young. I have a pretty down the line opinion, and then people write shit like that. He's been our best defender.
He's not been our best defender.
And you make me want to headbutt a fucking spike.
Let's not do that. Anyway, Brandon Williams, Baye, Twanzebe and Tellez. I went for Maguire.
Hey! Donny van der Beek starting a game of football, lads.
Scott McTominay, captain Scott.
Oh my God, it's happening.
McSauce has got the armband tonight. He is our captain in midfield alongside
it's a tasty looking
Donny van der Beek.
Partnership as well. They could absolutely fucking bully her. It's a shame them two aren't going up against Dini, because that could have been a fucking
I think,
right
to be honest as well, that's probably one of the decisions they made. They probably put those in. They probably put Eric Bailly in there, knowing that there's a potential for Dini to do it. You've also got Maguire, obviously Captain McTominay. You've got Van der Beek. You've got Jesse Lingardinho.
It's a good enough team. It's obviously a heavily rotated side, but it's a good enough side. Need to see Mason get on the score sheet.
The little bit of worry in there is that going forward, you've got Jesse and Dan James obviously lacking a little bit of quality in. If Watford do tend to sit, if Watford do drop back, get those 2 banks of 4 and sit in. Lingard and James aren't the best players around that.
No, but Juan Mata and Greenwood, you would hope, could unpick a lot, and Donny van der Beek as well.
Yeah.
What's very interesting is, so I watched a little bit of Watford before I do my thingy. Their back four, this is the weirdest, bad defence I've ever seen. This is for all of you who think Luke Shaw's good, you probably think their fucking defence is amazing because it's all over the show. They go into a low block and then get dragged away. I've never seen anything like it. So, in a low block, the whole idea is that you have a very narrow, very rigid back line. Bosh. Yeah. And then people do the work in front of it. But you're like, no gaps. Me and Alex are your full-back and centre-half, no gaps, No gaps. Nothing's getting in between here.
And you just go, oh, look at that.
Go round.
Squirrel.
What happens is people playing in between the lines, like Mata does, like Mason definitely enjoys doing.
Yeah.
They'll go and mark him. And they'll get dragged out of position, and that's when round the back.
So hopefully a bit of movement tonight. I'm hoping for a big performance. I'm hoping to see Jesse Lingard play well. For as much as he gets absolutely slated, you've got to love Jesse Lingard. He is a top lad that everyone wants to see do well. Let's have a read of this. We've got a super chat here. People don't think Shaw is good because of other people, and everyone thinks Shaw's amazing. Maguire has to direct Shaw all game. And I do think there's a reason why Mourinho said what he said about Luke Shaw, is that if I talk him through the game, he's all right.
I don't think he knows what he's doing.
I think there's a little bit of, if you can talk through...
Someone sent me a fucking screenshot the other day, right, of Luke Shaw running out when there were 2 Leicester players in front of him going, look, he's had to deal with 2 people. And I've gone, you're literally showing me an example of what not to do. The gap in between him and Maguire was enormous. And you're showing me an example of where a fullback is meant to hold his position and drop. And you drop as a line. That's what you're supposed to do as a unit. I don't know why you don't know this. And if you don't know this, stop thinking that he's a good defender. And listen to the people that are telling you he's not a fucking good defender.
Look, I think there's a lot around Luke Shaw. I said that I had a chat a couple of years ago with a guy I was playing golf with a guy who just played golf with Ryan Giggs the week before, and they asked him, this was when, under Van Gaal, and he said, who's the players in training that, really impress you? Who's the ones that go, fucking hell, he's unbelievable? And he said, Rooney, obviously. Di Maria as well, unbelievable.
Oh, I can imagine he had moments.
But the one he put up, he said, Luke Shaw is an absolute animal. He said, in training, he's ridiculous. He said, he runs through people, he takes people out. He said, he's unbelievably talented and also a bit of a monster. But I think he's just a bit lazy, and I think there's a bit in the... I think there's a lot of talent there. I think there's something changed or there's something not quite happened. But I think that at that time, everyone was going, he is an animal, he's a nutter, he flies through people, he's quality. And I think, you don't know, maybe he still does that in training. But I still think there's maybe something there. He's not.
Well,
I don't think he's quite got it.
Because I know when, let's say it sounds like Shmady Shmevra went to training not long ago because he was doing his badges there, wasn't he? And imagine Shmady Shmevra. He's maybe like a bit of a French sounding accent.
Yeah.
And he's going around. He's like, guys, I fucking love this, and congratulations, you guys. Oh, you're fucking thingy. And then he turns to someone who sounds like Smook Shaw and fucking annihilates him. You got to think that.
And the other thing is that
he knows what a fullback's meant to do.
He does, but at the same time, that time that Luke Shaw has been at Manchester United, the standards have gone down in terms of training. They've lost all them leaders, and maybe that's been the case. That maybe when he came in, maybe in that team when he was around Di Maria and Rooney and Carrick was still training and stuff like that, maybe he had that bit about him in his head going, I respect all these, and maybe he's dropped.
I think he's lost a lot when he broke his leg, and I don't think he fully recovered from that. But there's also some stuff, like the other day, I think it was Ronnie in there, no.
No, you just shouted.
I thought Ronnie came down. The other day when we was watching the game, Ronnie...
I knew that was coming. I could see in the mirror that was coming.
When Luke Shaw ran in about the 70th minute and sprinted somewhere.
And Ronaldo goes, sprinting, he can do it.
Look at that, yeah.
Maybe,
where's that been? Because for the 60 minutes before, 5 minutes into the fucking game, he was jogging and you're like, we got no second gear here, so what?
The thing is, it's like, because that was the thing Ronaldo was saying, maybe he just can't run. Because when you watch me sprint, I can't run. You go, is he actually sprinting? You go, oh no, that's as fast as he is. Yeah. And maybe you thought that about Luke Shaw, but he did that run back and you went, oh, he can do it. He just doesn't want to do it. A couple of super chats in here. Mario saying, do you think Ruben Neves would be a decent replacement for Matic? I think we need someone more combative than that.
Yeah.
I think that you need someone who is defensive minded.
Do you know what? I flip flop on this because half of me wants like your Thomas Partey, your something like that. But I also go, do you know, I think Saul could do it. It depends on what you want to be as a football team. If you want to be a football team that goes 50-50 on possession, that's when I think you do have your NDDs, and that's when I do think you have your Kantés and stuff like that. But if you're a football team that's going to have 60% possession, I actually think you need a guy that covers the ground, Michael Carrick style, because we didn't have a combative one under Michael Carrick.
I'll say after this, I'll tell you the second.
You hold the ball a little bit better. So I think your Saul, your Ruben Neves, I think those players can definitely work if you have...
But at the same time, you look at how Liverpool have kind of done things now. They have the combative middle three, and then they have the front three that do no defensive work. They have the wing backs who do not much defensive work, but they rely on the midfield and Van Dijk. United rely on the wingers to do a bit more, but at the same time, I still think that they need to improve at centre-half in order to be able to do that as well. I think that you can't leave that centre-half free at the minute. I still think you need someone to come in, especially when Lindelof plays, you need someone to do the heading work, so you need someone like a Matic that can drop in and do that. But what I was going to say was I ended up watching at 12:30 last night, United versus Everton from 2012, when we lost the league.
How did you do that?
I don't know, it was on, I thought I need to watch this again. Full 90 minutes of it. And they played with a 40-year-old Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, and I'm just going, look how good the football was. Also, how good Danny Welbeck was. Oh my God, Danny Welbeck was
Jay's
good.
going to have his pants off.
Danny Welbeck was so good in that sort of
I'm going to read this name out. Listen, Aaron Shearer says, I like Van der Beek, but we have better players. He was clearly bought for the future. Do you think the reason people moan about not players is they want to use something to have a go at Ollie? 1, yes. 2, I disagree with you a little bit that he's clearly for the future. I think he is a player for now. I was blown away by his performance against Southampton. I thought it was mature. I thought it was very intelligent. I thought the way he kept hold of the ball was the perfect antidote to being a team that has to play through a very aggressive press, as we know Southampton have. I thought it was a top performance. But something we've been talking about a while is he's got 60 minutes in the tank.
Today will be interesting. I want to see if he gets. That's it. Honestly, if he does a 90 minutes a day, is that the first time he's done it at United? And every time he's come off, he's looked fucked. You can see players that come off an hour and you go,
do we need to get him like the Rocky tape?
I think so. Couple more super chats in here. Ian said, if Shaw was putting in these performances for another team, Everton, would the top teams be interested? Answer is no.
No, you'd be targeting him. Honestly, if I was looking at him, because obviously I analyse our games, I analyse opposition, I would look at United and go, here's what we're going to fucking do, our kid. We're going to put my number 9 into the right-hand channel, our left-hand channel, and I'm going to have a winger that runs at him. Because guess what? He's like a fucking paper bag in the wind.
Not just that, as soon as he goes forward, you have someone in there that if you win possession back, your striker goes out there because he ain't covering, he ain't going to do it.
You come round into that right-hand channel, you 2v1, Luke Shaw's out, you fucking beat him with a quick little pass, and then you 2v1 on Maguire coming into the corner.
We've got Twanzebe, we've got Eric Bailly, and we have Tellers, so we've not got to worry about that today. CJ Legend said...
I'll tell you what, Tellers better have a fucking good defensive performance.
No, yeah, because if he doesn't, he's going to...
Who's up against Sarr?
Great.
CJ
Legend 89 says Luke Shaw is crap. End of. He always ends up out of position. He plays more like a left centre back. Let's sell him, get our 30 million, and put Williams there instead. Wouldn't be too.
Jamie Burton says Howson. I'm currently working on a book review of Soccernomics. Go on, lad.
Did you see, by the way, from the brew yesterday? You talked about the set piece nerd.
Yeah,
he tweeted you. He said he's seen it. Someone sent it him. So, see, we're everywhere, aren't we?
He says, for uni, 3,500 words, what a book, due Monday. Can you email me? I'd be very interested in reading an external review. He's done a dissertation, by the sounds of it, or at least a paper, on the book Soccernomics.
Send it to Steve. That can be his read. He'll do that. I'll
definitely read that.
He will love that.
I got Joe, like I said, I got the Rennie Mullenstein book today.
Yeah, DM him on Instagram. He'll send you an email address and all that kind of stuff.
I got the Rennie Mullenstein book today. Red outfit.
So weird. You are proper weird when it comes to stuff.
What?
You're just weird.
It's not weird, is it?
The Arsenal game's going to extra time, according to Ross.
They don't have 10 men, I believe.
I couldn't watch that because at the minute we're watching Ipswich on.
Yeah, Callum supports
Ipswich. He could name 4 players. He struggled with that. Are they 3-2 down? Yeah, they keep equalising and get scoring again. Would you try it? Sure, in left centre half. Not unless it's a 3. I don't think at all. Not a dissertation, don't have an Insta. Just tweet him then, he'll find you today, I'm sure.
Yeah, tweet me and just say it's me with... Hang on, what's your name? I'll get your name.
Jamie Burton.
Jamie Burton. Just message me on Twitter, but do it now before it gets fucking swamped under the nonsense from City fans saying might as well be salty. And then I'll DM you. Yeah, that happens a lot.
And underneath
especially when you have an opinion about City at any point.
Yeah, especially when we tweet it might as well be Celtic at least 2 times a week. Mason's get a hat-trick from Larry. Be good. Mason needs some goals, doesn't he? Because for as much as Bruno's been playing well this year, and for as much as United have been scoring goals, the one thing we've been lacking is last year, towards the end, you had Martial scoring a lot of goals. Mason got, I think, was it 17 in all competitions. We need that. You need that 60-odd goals across that front 3. Maybe include Cavani, you're looking at 75, 80 goals.
Kiki Kikison says, I thought Cam supports Chelsea. Cam does.
Cam's
but we have Cam's, we're going to say friend. We're going to say friend that lives with him, who's called Callum. So Cal and Cam.
It's annoying,
confusing. Confusing.
Especially when you have to shout something quick and you Car. You just shout Car.
But yes, so we have Cal behind the camera today, and he's an Ipswich fan. So that's the reason. Are you still losing?
Yeah.
You're shit.
To Swindon. Mark Leonard has said, I'd love to hear you discuss Ndidi lads. Contract up in 2024. It's a long way away. But maybe summer after next once the Mania is cropped. Ndidi would be one of the very good options. He's the obvious one.
But this is it. Like United for me have gone, it's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Are you noticing what I'm noticing?
Yeah, because I've asked them to do that for someone. I want to speak to someone.
Okay. So yeah, Ndidi. Be a good option, but again, Ndidi's going to cost us upwards of what Harry Maguire cost us, isn't he? Less than how much we've got to spend. So he's going to be an 80, 90 million pound player.
I don't know, man. I think the football transfer fee landscape has shifted back towards sense a little bit.
No,
I mean not massively.
Not with clubs like Leicester, Leicester have been very switched on for a long time.
You don't need. Premier League teams make so much cash from TV now, whereas previously you'd go and dangle 15 million Everton and they'd be like, oh, mine, right? They don't have to do that anymore. They go fuck yourself, give us 40 million or fucking kick rocks, right? We don't have to do that anymore. So you have to be smarter. And I know you want, to have like Premier League proven players, but just having well scouted good players works. You don't necessarily need them to be Premier League proven. You just need to go and get fucking good players.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to the Championship and, like, as you've seen with how many players that have come up and smashed it. When they smashed it in the Championship, never do it in the Premier League. Well, it is, so shut up.
Grealish,
Yeah.
Robertson.
Yeah.
Maguire, to a certain extent as well, did it with Hull.
Yeah.
And
there's players out there, and you can go and pick them up for a fraction of what it's going to cost you. Like, you go to Leicester at the moment, they're a top 4 club, Leicester.
Yeah.
They've replaced Arsenal in the top 4. You go to Everton, they've got Carlo Ancelotti as fucking manager.
Yeah,
Carlo Ancelotti.
And they're spending serious cash.
Yeah.
There's not way James Rodriguez isn't on 200k a week.
Like, whoever you want out of their first team squad's costing you 50 large. Simple. Like, who are you going to? He's not even a bottom half Premier League team.
You've opened a bit of a can of worms there.
Good.
Because Jack Carter has tweeted, sent a super chat in saying, I've done a 12,000 word essay for my master's diss on how the brand of United has been affected post Fergie. Fancy reading it? Steve will read anything like that kind of stuff. Send it to him.
1, is it football? 2, send it me.
Send it him. So same kind of stuff. Tweet him, Instagram him, whatever you do, and he'll find a way of doing it. Let's have a look. A few other people saying read it.
Jamie sent me. There we go.
There you go. Jamie's got it. So Steve can. Someone's just put Camavinga in the chat, as if to say he's going to be the. There's a potential of him doing it. It's not looking likely that Caicedo is.
Doesn't look like he's having it, does it?
No, it looks like he's going to Brighton. Was this a sneaky keyword bingo? Because I like I've seen it a couple of times this week where they just drag United in, but this has been like they've done it for. United were the only team for a while, and then all of a sudden he's going to Brighton. He'll go to. There's Leeds in there,
Leeds.
Leeds are all these kind.
Stranraer,
Scotland. Over there. So bringing in these kind of things. Alex Bailey has asked who is on the watch-along, Steve. Do you want to tell him who's on the watch-along?
Do you know what? No. I'll show you who's on the watch-along. Are you all ready for this?
No.
Jay's gone drain the main vein. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You have to wait. You'll have to wait. Sit on it for a minute, and then I'll show you.
Steve, do a video review of the papers. That can be one of yours. You can do that one.
No, I just get too aggressive and angry.
I'm Roberto. When are the Paddock lads back in action? When we're out of this lockdown kind of stuff?
Yeah, on an actual serious note, I think our league's about to get...
yeah.
I think our league's about to get voided, and I'm disappointed about that.
They're going to void
I'm hoping to be speaking to Spencer on Monday with Rio, talking about that because Spencer's not happy. I'm not happy myself as a non-league chairman myself. I'm not happy.
But it's one of them. It's not good.
We've only played 8 games. Yeah. They've had 2 years.
Oh look,
of this.
proper football matches on now. Well, Arsenal are in it, so it's not
Arsenal and Newcastle. Are we ready?
They've just put. McKola just pointed at this. These are still available.
I mean,
these
come
T-shirts.
On. They're in some other colours other than black as well. Because I'm not really a fan of the black.
You're not a fan of the black? I like the black one. There's the black one.
The white one looks good.
Giveaway winner wanted a red one, so we're doing a red. We've got a red version. We've also got a white T-shirt.
Agree. A bit of a grey. I'd like a grey.
Or a dark green, maybe, Steve. Which.
Yeah, I don't wear a
dark
colour. Green, do I?
No. So, yeah. We've gone off there now.
Yeah, we have gone off, so we'll have to get our comments up on here.
Get the comments off.
Anyone's got any dissertations, I'll read them.
Score predictions, great, well done. What are you going for today? I'm going 2-1 United.
I want to see how we start. Do you know what? We've started games well lately. Really well. Really positive.
Joe has put a super chat in. Sancho or Grealish in the summer, Tories are wank. All in the same thing. So I go Grealish over Sancho now. I think he'd be better price, Premier League proven, and I just think he's got a bit about him.
He's got some swags.
He's got something about him. Toast me, guys. Where's the rum? Howson from Alpha. Steve's not drinking because he's got kidney problems. So the T-shirt,
if you want them, they are linked in the description. Go check them out. We've got some absolutely belting ones that are on there, and also we've been bullying our little designer Johnny into making some more. There's a Cavani one coming. There's a Marshall FC one which is very good, which I think you did.
I kind of did. Johnny's going to make it look a bit better than what I did.
The Marshall FC one's very good.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth checking out. But go and have a look on there, see what you like. There's some T-shirts on there. Obviously, they help support the channel. But now it's time to show you who at least is temporarily going to be on your watch-along for today's FA Cup Spectacular, where it's Manchester United against the team who are called the Hornets, but their badge is a moose. What's all that about? Here's the lads.
I hear they're called the Hornets because they are horny. No, I'm
not singing that along.
Why?
What?
What's wrong with that?
After what I've seen you just doing on Instagram, you're not going to sing that along to that?
What have you been doing on Instagram?
When I say double tapping, Jay.
Double
triple,
tapping.
quadruple.
Mate.
What's the 5 times on?
Do you not agree with the double
He's
tap?
doing all the tapping, mate.
All the tapping.
When I say tapping,
Did you
he
not
thought
agree
he
with
was tapping that ass.
Don't you like that
Little
song, by the
deviant
way?
he is.
Horny, horny, horny.
Yeah.
Love it, mate.
Good lad.
Well, you love it enough to not sing along.
Nah, because I haven't got the vocals like you used to.
No, that's we. But you know,
It's
I've had
nice to have you on
practice.
here anyway,
Alright.
Ronnie. Do you know what? I only ever do videos with you, and it's usually tier 1, so this is a nice change.
I like this as
It's
well
very
because this is
temporary,
like
innit?
all the minority
Minority
lads
Report.
together. Minority Report.
Did we ever get anywhere with that video either?
No, that's coming soon. We've got a series coming
soon,
with
man.
us 3 called The Minority Report. It may not take off.
may
BT
get
may not want
cancelled.
us on it, but we're going to do it. So I'm here today with Ronaldo and Jay to balance out the quota. We will be bringing in Joe because of the Rooney rule. So he will be
only
here
right.
soon. But yeah, we're here ahead of the game against Watford. The team news is in as well. Interestingly, lineup for Manchester United. We've got Dean Henderson in goal, Eric Bailly and Axel Tuanzebe at the centre halves, Alex Telles, Brandon Williams playing at fullback, midfield of Donny van der Beek and McTominay playing together, which was the first midfield that played together this season in that friendly against Aston Villa, if you remember.
Knowledge.
Then we've got Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata,
Intel.
Daniel James and Mason Greenwood in the team, which is a very, very strong lineup. And it's kind of like I predicted Maguire would start, but apart from that, it's the same team I predicted.
It's not
as
your
well.
predicted 11, no? You've done well now.
I
You
got
picked Jesse Lingard in it.
I got the back 4 correct.
Did you
about it.
expect Bailly to start today then?
I did. I predicted that it was going to be Axel and Bailly, and that's exactly why it is. I thought Maguire would get a rest. Everyone thought that he would play because he doesn't not play. He plays every game no matter what. But I thought, just give him a little bit of a rest at least. He probably wanted to, but I'm interested to see how that centre-back pairing kind of works. Bailly and Axel. It looks menacing. Hopefully it is today.
And it's a centre-half partnership that, for various different reasons, they each have their own. Haven't quite got going, and the 2 individual players haven't quite got going. But many people will say they rank them quite highly when they rank our centre halves. Like,
Do you know
one
why?
of these should be the partner for Maguire.
I remember when someone suggested that centre-back pairing and said they have been a frequent partnership, but obviously not on the pitch.
Holding hands in the
medical room. They've been partnered there quite often.
Do you think that when everyone's fit and it's a must-win game, everybody starts?
Yes.
Over Victor Lindelof, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Victor Lindelof's miles behind or Harry Maguire, or Harry Maguire's miles ahead. Harry Maguire's got the armband.
Yeah.
That's why he kind of comes in. And I think Harry Maguire's performances, I know he made that mistake in the last game against Manchester City, and I think there was a couple of mistakes in their first goal. But Harry Maguire, his performance in that game actually wasn't that bad.
I
When
said
you
that
saw it, I
on
thought he
Watchalong.
played quite well.
So
He was
it
even
on
chucking
off.
in step overs, all sorts. I was thinking, shit, this geezer's moving again. He's finally found his hips. But Bailly, for me, has to be the one that would come in alongside him. And when you think about the perfect foil, or if you were thinking about what profile of centre-half Man United would want to sign to partner Maguire, Eric Bailly kind of ticks all those boxes, doesn't he?
100%. He does.
100%.
Like you just said then, Ronnie, though, he's just, you can't get a run out of him, can you?
No, you can't.
Like, every time you get excited, you think Eric Bailly, do you know what I mean? Like, he's the one. And then he'll be out for 3 months.
Got to wrap him in cotton wool.
I know, and it's a shame because, some of the performances, was it the Villa game, was it? When he was just outstanding, really, wasn't he? And it's like, I remember a few years ago when he played against the Scousers, and when Marcus Rashford's got those 2 goals, and it was a proper Eric Bailly performance. He scored an own goal, and he was man of the match.
Yeah,
like it
that
was
sounds
a
like the
typical,
most Eric Bailly
the most
performance.
Eric Bailly performance you can have. But I remember thinking, if we could keep this guy fit, because he was outstanding, like, he could be our main man in defence. But you just can't get like more than 10 games out of him.
Yeah, on his day is our best centre
in a row, I should say.
And it's good that Maguire's got a rest, because I'm not sure Adam could have handled another game of watching Maguire win every single attacking.
I don't think Mac is too harsh on Maguire.
No, I'm talking about the instances where McKola,
when we're attacking.
Yeah, you've been losing your head about it since last season. Everyone's clocked onto it now because he's doing it more and more often. He wins every single head.
It's like a good thing and it's a
good
blessing
thing.
and a curse.
Mate, it's
a blessing and a curse.
It's frustrating though, because I'm with you on the headers. Because against City, there was one where
Against City, you had like 3.
Yeah, there was one where he was unmarked and he just headed it high and wide. And I'm like, and then he does that look, and I know it's not.
Adam wasn't here, but I was thinking to myself.
You know, where he's like,
sometimes, have you noticed, sometimes he goes for a header. He goes early, so then he's already landed, but the ball just lands on his head.
Mate.
Like, that's how good he is aerially. Sometimes the ball just hits him.
But the thing is, right, if you look at his record, he doesn't score a lot of goals anyway. He never did. Everyone
thought he did.
No, but if you look, I was looking at it the other day, like, the last time he scored more than 2 or 3 goals in a season was when he was in League One. So it's just like this myth.
He should be getting Brucey numbers.
Yeah. Mate, imagine that.
Peter Kelly with the super chat says Bailly and Axel could be our best centre half pairing. And Christopher Hawkins also says, why does that name ring a bell?
The Professor Stephen Hawking.
I thought that's where it's from. You thought it was
maybe we've just seen Christopher in the comments before.
Yeah.
It says, seen reports that we're in for Boubakary Samari from Lille. I'd want to sign him just for the rhymes in his name. Thoughts on that? Anybody? Does anyone know any?
I saw that, and I felt, to me, it was paper talk purely by the fact that there was an article, because when I was on the news the other day, I was looking at it, and it was like United linked, and it was basically that he's available, and then the story linked it by saying United could do with a player like that. So there was nothing concrete where you could say, you could say, oh, like United have scouted him. Now, I'm not saying we're not, but when I looked into it, there was nothing where I could say, oh yeah, there's a link there where we're looking at him, we're scouting him, he's on our list. He may well be, but it seemed just like he's available. He's the type of player that could do a job at United.
And basically, whenever anyone's available, they're linked to United.
Exactly. I think the Scousers have been looking at him as well, so it was like,
it's one of those
you
things.
can spin that into like, oh, United, Liverpool.
Well, we've seen similar with Moises Caicedo this week, right, where he's been linked with United, and then as the week's gone on, it's progressed to Everton and West Ham are in for him. And we see that a lot.
That's like...
Okay. But Yerry Mina, do you remember Yerry Mina was linked, was it
exactly.
Yerry Mina linked with? There's a lot of players that are linked with United as their kind of introduction to the British press, and then it's not United. It's like Burnley or Brighton or someone else that's signing them, but they've got their name out there.
With a name that's used.
Yeah.
With a name that's used.
And you can get that because we sell papers, don't we? People click on it, don't they? People aren't going to click on it. Go, West Ham are linked with a player. It's like, but when it's United are linked with teenage wonder kid.
It's just a worry though. People are thinking that because this Caicedo has a lot of potential. Apparently, that in a couple of years, if he goes to a Brighton or an Everton, United will be back in for when he's 80 million.
We might do that. We might. Do you know what I mean? We might wait until he's 50 million quid and then buy him.
Yeah, next summer we'll just buy Moises Caicedo, Danny Welbeck.
Don't Macca.
Bring them in, 50 million quid. Be all right. Be like Javier Mascherano and Carlos Tevez. Sharon Begum with a good question says, does this mean Bailly doesn't play against Liverpool? I'd argue that it possibly means he doesn't play against Burnley.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I would. I like Victor Lindelof. I'm with you. I think he's a good player, and I think he's having a decent season. I know there's been a couple of mistakes, but I don't think he's having a bad season at all. But if he's fit for the Scousers, Eric Bailly starts for me. I think I've upset Ronaldo with that comment about Eric Bailly starting for the Scousers.
First of all, Ronaldo
stormed off in a huff.
You could have stayed for one more minute. Like, Joe's here now, guys. I'll say goodbye. Here's my prediction. Just sign yourself out a little bit.
Come and say goodbye to everyone.
Come on, sit down, Ronnie. Joe's not gonna shout at you.
Joe told me. You give me the nod.
Give you the curly finger.
Listen.
Come on, son.
I'll tell you a secret.
Go on.
No one cares about Joe.
Wow, that's harsh. Giving away the secrets here. So just keep that between ourselves, yeah?
Because he's just over there.
Oh, we don't want him to hear us.
So, Ronnie, before you go, prediction. Prediction, please. Bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, go on, Ronnie. What's the score going to be? And don't tell lies.
I predicted 2-1, now it's a basic. It's a bit of a basic prediction in it. So I'm going to go for 4-1 win.
Wow.
But it's not a basic prediction. It
is. I think.
Like,
no, you know what?
It's either a prediction or there's not a prediction.
A 2-1 prediction is always looked at.
You cleared that out because I was like, what?
It's a bit of a safe one, isn't it? It's a bit of a safe.
It's a safe one because it's a scoreline that regularly happens, though. So it's a likely. It almost
sounds like a common scoreline. That's why.
If you want to be a little bit, a little bit more sort of
common about me.
Yeah, right.
That's true, Ronaldo. That is very true. There is nothing comment about you, son.
Nothing at all. Right, we have to end the Minority Report now.
Oh, man.
We will be back together soon. We'll have our own show.
That's like a metaphor.
Ronaldo, I would touch you, give you little firms and stuff like that, but I'm not allowed.
Yeah,
laws
not allowed
and stuff.
Yeah.
We might have the old Bill knocking off the door. So can you piss off? No. Thank you.
See you later, Ronnie.
No worries.
Cheers, Ronnie. Jay,
Yes,
Jesse
brother.
Lingard gets a start today.
I'm
for
glad to
Manchester
see
United.
that. I still have a little place in my heart for Jesse Lingard.
I have a
I
big
know you
place in
do.
my
I know
heart
you
for
do
him.
as well. He gets a lot of slander. Okay, he's not had a great 12 months. Let's not kid ourselves. But this is a guy that scored twice in cup finals. Been at United all his life. Battled to get into that first team with, 10 low moves or something stupid?
This is a lot of low moves.
A lot of low moves. And has almost became a figure of hate for a lot of people. And I think that, you saw it last season against Leicester where he scored that goal. People were like, do you know what? He's still like Jesse. Do you know what I mean? There's still a player there that we can warm to. So I hope he does well today. And I think he's going to move on. But when he moves on, I think he'll be remembered overall. And I hope he's remembered overall rather fondly. I know me and you will.
Sorry, guys. I've
Sorry, was
we've
it
just been rudely
boring you
interrupted
there
with
Macca, with my Jesse Lingard speech?
Joel came in with soggy hands and kind of tossed off his mic.
I just sanitized it.
Oh,
That's how we
I
roll.
greased it up, but with sanitizer. I've got just under half a litre of sanitizer on my hands
Good
now.
lad.
But this is, guilt-free.
Sanitised.
Guilt-free.
Yes.
Oh,
How are you?
God.
How are we doing, boys?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm not seeing you.
I know. It feels like we've not seen each other for ages.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
A little bit late.
A little
Sure.
bit late. Yeah.
Where you been?
Just chatting and that.
You been on the phone, Stevie Bruce?
Just on the park.
All right.
We're all on the park, just chilling out, drinking
Yeah.
some beers and that.
Yeah, you're not
Then
allowed
thought
to
I'd
be
come
doing
down.
that. You do know that, right? As
What?
much.
No, sorry. South
much-
Park, the video game multiplayer. Yeah. Sorry, we call it the park.
Okay.
But yeah, it was online, Xbox Live.
Okay, yeah. Don't. There's some people out there that would take that seriously and might put in a report.
Is there even any decent parks in Manchester City Centre, if we're being honest?
No, well, it depends on whether you want spice, crack, or heroin.
Yeah, so it's not really like a big let's sit on the park.
No.
Part of the world,
Personally,
unfortunately.
do you know what I mean? Just
Uh,
going to say that.
But yeah, I mean,
Not in the city centre anyway.
No.
So if you want any parks recommended for your spice, crack, or heroin, give Jay a little tweet.
Not
He's
anymore.
got some coupon
How
codes
great
for
would
you.
it be?
Not anymore.
How great would it be if this game was at Upton Park in terms of segues? But it's not, is it? It's Old Trafford.
Why?
Because then we could have gone, speaking of parks, United play at Upton Park tonight, but they don't. So don't get it in your heads. I think, thanks for asking, Jay.
Speaking of parks.
In terms of predictions, I think United are going to win. And I was saying this to you before one night, when you look at that lineup, which
That's
will be on the
the
screen,
sort of snappy.
I mean, momentarily, Bing. I reckon we fielded worse 11s than that last season, and it was our best 11 available.
100%.
I think we
100%.
like, especially
That was our best 11
you look
last
at the-
season.
Well, you look
available.
at the quality of Van der Beek. You look at what the form Luke Shaw was in last season compared to Alex Tellers. I don't think there's any comparison. There was points when Rashford and Martial were both injured at the same time, wasn't there?
I don't. Was
Like,
there? I
yeah, I
seem
think
to
there
think that
was.
there was at least
Yeah.
one of them.
That was a depressing time.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
both
like-
missed each other.
There was there was. I remember. I think was it the Burnley game where they were both broken.
Rashford looked
Played.
a bit shit without Marshall
Yeah.
last season.
And then Marshall came back when Rashford wasn't in, and it was like, all right, it's all on you now to get.
And
to
then
do
that
everything.
January Marshall's season last season was mint apart from January, and I think that coincided with Rashford being out.
Yeah, because it was. I think was it the Burnley game where it was Martial who played, and that was the low point for me this season. That was where it was like.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not the worst team in the world, is it?
No.
Have we spoken potentially about maybe lacking a little bit defensively?
No.
That front six, there isn't too much defensive acumen there. I know
McTominay?
McTominay plays deep, but positionally, I think he can be left wanting a little bit defensively. Does that worry you? Because I think that's one of the reasons Van der Beek hasn't played that much or hasn't had that many starts, is because he can't quite do what Fred and McTominay do together with either of them.
No, I get where you're coming from with that. I think that, with all due respect to Watford, though, if this was a Premier League game, I'd be like, hang on, that's dodgy. But I think we should be able to cope with Watford, and I think that midfield, Donny van der Beek's obviously going to be chomping at a bit. Scott McTominay can be a bit more box to box, so I'm not too concerned. And plus, I like that centre back pairing of Tuanzebe and Bailly. Not
Have they
just
ever played
defensively.
together,
I don't
that you
know.
can think of at
They've
centre
They've
back?
played together in a 3, not in a 2. We've got the team for Watford as well. It's Gray and Pedro up top for them. Ismail Assar, who was linked with us,
Yes,
plays
Jay's
for them.
favourite.
Will Hughes, Chalobah, Zinka Nagel. I think the geezer's name
That's
is.
him.
Sounds like a German Christmas character, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually. Or like a German Christmas greeting.
Yeah.
Zinkernagel.
Zinkernagel, yeah.
Zinkernagel.
Yes.
Messina.
What time of the year it is?
Ikong, Sierrauta. I think they've just brought none of the lads.
No, that front four sounds pretty potent.
And they got a guy in goal called Backman.
Mm-hmm.
Get back,
That's
man.
like Tim Sherwood's worst team, now, isn't it?
Yeah.
No good British lads in there.
Their bench is this: Wilmot, Sema, Phillips, Ngakia, Hungbo. I'm not making these up.
This sounds like a Europa
Dalby,
League draw.
Cricklow, and I don't even know where Cricklow's flag comes from. Barrett and Ben Foster.
Your mate.
Benjamin Foster. Benjamin.
Leave it, Mac.
My favourite YouTuber you were until 24 hours ago. This fella here.
Has this been brought up? Yeah.
This fella here.
Is it happening now?
It's happening now.
Apparently.
It's happening now.
It's happening now.
Can I avoid it in any way?
This fella here was crying, shall I add. It was almost his first ever proper interview with, someone. Cancelled. He was in tears. Benjamin Foster, the cycling goalkeeper. You've let us down. You've let true supporters of yours down.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost 2 valuable viewers that tuned in every single week. I wish you were in goal today so we could twat so many goals past you on your GoPro.
Glad you said goals at the end.
And I'm just disappointed. You don't reply to people's DMs when they've just creeped into your inbox. Don't even follow you, but they've creeped into your inbox asking for an interview. You say, yes, I can only do tonight. They say, yes, we'll do it at any time. And then you leave them on scene.
Adam, I haven't slept. I didn't know what he said tonight. I thought he might have meant 4 or 5 in the morning. I thought I'm going to stay awake all night in case he messages back saying, ready.
I know, I could tell when I said to you, I
slept.
don't think it's happening, Joe. You didn't reply.
I didn't even realise, Joe, you were doing it as well, man.
Delete, type in, delete. Like, you went through the mill then, didn't you?
I was put through the ringer.
I feel less guilty about the abuse I shouted at him at the derby now.
What did you shout?
When he tried to take on Tevez and
This is
got
the fourth,
tackled.
Is this the 4-3?
I'm not going to repeat. It wasn't very pleasant. And I kind of regret it.
No, I do like Ben Foster.
It was overly
actually.
harsh.
I like Ben Foster, but he's not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we played. He's actually quality in terms of. I remember when Manchester United played Birmingham City. It was it was the first game of the season. For some reason, I always remember it was the first game of the season. And I sat right behind the goal Ben Foster was in for Birmingham City. We won 1-0. Rooney scored that day. And we were giving him so much shit, yeah. And he just kept turning around and loving it.
Yeah.
I love goalkeepers
Yeah,
like
I
that,
like
That just...
Tim Flowers was like that for Blackburn. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
I remember us giving him a load of grief and we drew on Old Trafford. And he turned around, never forget, I was only about 14. And he was like, 7 caps for England.
What?
Because we were saying how you shit.
He had all of his caps in the back
and
of
he was
the net.
like, 7 caps for
Imagine
England.
David Beckham do that.
I'm number 1 and always will be and all this he was saying to us. Like, we were
amazing.
like children. Like,
How many did Beckham get? Like 120?
Yeah, he was, I think, his record outfield player, wasn't he?
Yeah. As Arsenal have scored, by the way.
Boo.
The guy that should have been sent off
Boo
has
hiss.
scored.
Oh, they overturned it, did they? That's the last interaction.
I love
saw
how,
of that
like,
game.
now, like, Arsenal fans who are still 13th will be like, oh, yeah, Saka and Smith Rowe are the greatest players.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
Because they got lucky with the goal there.
Telling Greenwood to step outside because they've scored against Scunthorpe and shit like that. It's just like, behave.
Yeah. I'm not sure Twitter is good news for the world, And especially when,
You're not going over to Parlour, are you?
Yeah.
See, do you know what? I only heard about this today.
You will last
With
2
Matt
minutes in
Letizia.
Parlour, you'd make one
for
comment.
people at
and
home
then
who don't know what it is, because I only heard of it today.
Parlour's like...
You don't want to know what it is.
It's like... I don't want to say extreme, but it is.
The Romford Pele.
It's basically a place where you can say what you want without censorship, which sounds great until you see the kind of things that people say
Yeah,
over there.
it's like...
It turns out
It's a scary place.
Turns out there's a reason for censorship sometimes, isn't
Yeah,
there?
exactly. So it's this whole thing about censorship. There are limits to what you can say and do. Like, you can't...
You're not allowed to threaten
I
people.
love people
Yeah.
also
You're not allowed to
say,
incite violence.
deleting Twitter is take away my free speech. Well, it's kind of not.
not though, is
Because
it?
you could still talk.
Yeah.
You could still go outside.
It's like when
You could
people say,
still-
oh, well, Trump can't speak now. Well, he could just hold a press conference tonight
I mean,
and speak to the
do you know what
entire
every
world.
There's been
president-
like 43 other presidents.
I was going to say, do you know what every
without
president
Twitter.
did before Obama? He can do that.
Yeah. He can literally go on the telly tonight and speak to the world.
Yeah.
Right, it looks like we missed a super chat
It's
from
been
Absent Doc, so I'm going to look for it and I've found it.
Good lad.
He's been
Well done.
deplatformed.
He or she, sorry. Yeah, we've censored you, Absent Doc.
Never. Not on this channel. Never. We don't do that kind of thing around here.
Absent Duck says, when fans return, have Paddock put much thought? We don't put much thought into anything, but we have. Into if you'll keep the watch-alongs going, or will they just be for away games? People can't attend. I'll be back at the grounds, and obviously it'll be back at the home games and away games that it gets tickets for, all that stuff. But watch-alongs will still be here.
Yeah, we'll still be having watch-alongs. Don't worry about that. Every game.
At least one of us three.
So me being at the ground
more often than not
will accompany.
Yeah,
will be
you're supplementing the watch-along.
No, you're supplementing the fan cam.
Well, don't want to get into one here, lads.
Let's do that. Let's go into that conversation, shall we?
No, you're supplementing me. Yeah.
Is that? You sound like you're calling me a drug dealer by saying that, but yeah.
It sounded quite kinky as well, didn't it?
In a way.
It's like you're catering to me like...
Are we going to beat Watford?
Kelly Rowland. Huh?
We're going to beat Watford. Watfield. Are we going to beat them then, or what?
Watford. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Watford.
No.
You're not having that one. No. Thumbs down.
Rocking
and rolling.
Super chat there.
We gave it a go. Saved by the super chat.
Rocking and rolling. Harnam Jandu says, I wonder how well Lingard will keep his width and hope to see Williams do well at right back. I heard Lingard's a girthy fella.
If you walked into a room and someone went, "Oh, you've kept your width," what would you say? In the changing rooms at the gym, "Oh, someone's kept their width."
Oh, you're a widthy guy. And he says,
"Had a good Christmas, have you?"
And he says, "I hope to see Williams do well at right back, where I thought he should always play."
That'd be interesting because obviously he's right-footed. Everyone knows that. He's played so few games in the first team as a right back. It might, it's a chance for him tonight to sort of say, I know you're looking at Trippier. I know you're looking at Max Aarons. Well, you've already got me, and you don't need to loan me out to Newcastle or Southampton or whoever he's being linked with. It's a good chance for him to show off what he can do, I think.
I'd like to see Brandon Williams get a game time and stay at the club. My only sort of concern is he doesn't stagnate. He's not getting many games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good to see, and hopefully he can have a good game. Because Ethan Laird went out on loan, didn't he, the other day, I think?
Yeah, he made his debut for MK Dons tonight. Yeah. They lost to Burnley on penalties, but he came on, played 30 minutes or so, looked good.
Good to see.
Yeah.
Made a good run as well. Looked like Messi.
Yeah, he did. Got fouled at the end of it. Took it from the edge of his own box, driving into the opposition half, and got fouled just on the edge of the centre circle. Good run by Ethan
What was
Laird.
Fergie said about Giggs? Like a dog chasing a piece of foil.
That was it, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Jason, not Mexican Cruz, is his name, says, "You bastards are awesome. Love you all."
Well, I fancy specified the country he's not from.
Mm-hmm.
Probably fed up.
I might start calling myself
because his
Jay.
surname's Cruz. I bet people ask him if he's
It's
Mexican.
like Tao Cruz, remember? She's like a star. He used to always be frustrated when people would say, "Are you from Mexico, mate?"
He's a Cockney, a minute.
Tao Cruz.
Tao Cruz?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Surely not.
I think he is.
I thought he was Portuguese or something with a name like that.
Oh, so you've just literally done the thing that people...
Yeah.
He goes. You literally told an anecdote about him going around saying he's not Mexican, and you just went, "I thought he was Portuguese or something like that." What with his name?
Some foreigner, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He was from London, I think.
I think he's a Cockney. Yeah.
Is he?
I think I knew a mate who knew him.
I always thought he was
mate
American.
was a Cockney, and that's why I think there's.
He's from London, England, based
Thank
in
you, because
Los
my mate
Angeles.
John DeVoe, big shout out to him. He knew him. He'd worked with him at some point.
Who's your mate?
John DeVoe, his name is.
Is he famous?
Not really. He was in a band called Four Corners, but they didn't really take off. Now he's a cameraman, photographer.
No, he's moving up in the world.
Oh God!
Alpha says.
Square. Go on,
Alpha Omega says, "What currency is NOK? Norwegian
krona. Yes.
Oh, wicked! I got it right.
You said crowns.
Yeah, crown, krona, same thing.
It's probably Norse for crown, isn't it?
Yeah, so fuck off. How much does social media destroy the hunger of young talent, and should players be allowed altogether? I don't know what that second bit means.
Should players be allowed to have social media?
I don't think it does destroy the hunger of young talent at all. And I think that if you were to go back, and I'm sure my age, but in the 80s, 90s and whatever, even the early 90s, footballers were getting up to a lot worse than tweeting or Instagram.
Yeah, you look at the culture of football.
Yeah, it was,
and what you would deem as unprofessionalism. It is so much better now than it ever has been, and that's some of that's to do with money and football clubs going from going from clubs to companies pretty much.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is there's just a different expectation, and the world, the eyes are on you all the time. Camera phones, all the stuff that comes with social media, I think has been one of the things.
Imagine camera phones being about when George Best was running about.
If they were, it would have curtailed his behaviour, I think. Not necessarily him in particular, but generally speaking, I think part of it is
would have curtailed his
the eyes on you.
opportunities.
Perhaps.
Think about even gigs and all them like when if camera phones were about when them like were going around everywhere. Bruv, some of the opportunities that you're gonna like, you get dropped when things hit the news, don't you? If things don't hit the news, managers can kind of just we'll just deal with it ourselves.
Yeah, there's so many things that get brushed under the carpet. Or did the papers find out? No, didn't happen.
Imagine camera phones in Lee Sharp's day.
Oh god.
Oh mate.
Lee Sharp and Abby Titmus.
Oh mate.
What a name!
Was that
by
Love
the way.
Island? That
What
was that
a
when
name!
he went on Love Island?
Like which is like a glamour model.
Yeah,
like if a
something like
glamour. Did she choose her name?
No, it's a real name.
It's a real
Yeah,
name.
man. It's nominative determinism.
Is it? There's a butcher's in Bolsover called JP Meats. Do you think that's his surname?
Bolsover.
Yeah, it's a place in Derbyshire. Read a book for once. One of the most grandiose castles for a town of its size in all of
I didn't read
the
a
Northern
book
Hemisphere.
on Derbyshire.
Yeah, it's called a map. An atlas, bro.
It's educational, this show.
Exactly.
You don't just get the watch along. You learn about places like Bolsover.
Yeah, someone said imagine Maradona with camera phones.
Oh,
well, we've had. Fortunately, we were lucky enough to have about 15 years of Maradona with camera phones.
Yes, that's true.
And it was,
No, but
we saw a good bit.
Maradona.
Yeah.
Arsenal have scored again.
Yeah, 2-0. That game's over.
Nobody cares.
I'm sorry. I just said if anyone cares, someone might.
I care.
Someone might have had a flutter.
A gamble.
A gamble.
Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to gamble.
United are coming out of the tunnel now.
Sanjay's got a question. He says, "Where is the Premier League piss take?" Answer us.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, Adam. Talk us through it, mate.
Part-time weasels here.
How do I explain? Basically,
Tell the truth.
There wasn't one this week.
Yeah.
Because I went near someone who had the thing, so I had to lock off for a bit and get a test.
Simple as that. We're back next week. FA piss take. FA Cup piss take.
No, PL piss take. We're still doing it.
But we just do the FA Cup matches, or we just
we're doing all their matches.
What all the
Southampton 1, Liverpool 0. We're covering that.
He's got a point.
Yes!
He's got a point.
Oh, I can't wait now.
I would watch that.
Oh, I'm watching it.
100%.
I'll watch it from behind the camera, but in front of the camera. But even so, that
Oh
sounds
my
great.
God, we've got some huge breaking news here.
Go on.
From Liam Clark. Abby Titmus is an actress now on an American soap.
Stop it.
She's got a proper soapy name in it.
I don't know, man. Bit fast and loose with the term. Huge.
Can we all? I think we're all a bit fast and loose with all of our terms tonight. Can we move on?
When you said
the analysis of glamour models' names.
When you said huge breaking news, I was expecting something a bit bigger and more breaking.
Right, Ronaldo's coming home.
Yeah, then Abby Titmus is an actress in an American soap opera.
Undetermined.
Is it one of those soaps that isn't really a soap? It's just someone getting their back doors banged in.
Excuse me.
Come on.
Let's move on.
With the super chat.
She's a thespian.
Jesus, there's children that watch this.
Sudarshan with the super. Stop talking about it then, innit? Moving on. It's your fault, you filth. Flan filth from you. Do you think United should be looking at a centre-back option this window? Will we actually be able to sustain a proper title challenge without one?
I don't think we'll get one, and I do think we'll be able to sustain even a title challenge without one. But the only caveat I would add to that is we need maybe an Eric Bayo and Axel to stay relatively injury-free. We can't just rely on Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire as our only two centre-backs.
Yeah. It's a hard question to answer, really, because I don't think we will. I think maybe we should.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will. And can we sustain it? Maybe we can, but when you think back to the most recent Premier League teams that have won the league, they've all done it, generally speaking, with at least one standout world-class centre-back. So there was obviously Van Dijk. Laporte had an incredible season the year before that. Then who even won the league before? The only one that didn't.
Even Company,
of course.
when
Company,
he played those 10 games towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's obviously culminated, like the icing on the cake was that worldie against Leicester. But he carried that City team when they needed to win all those games, and he played them all and they won them all.
Yeah, and before that, obviously, as much as I'm not a fan of him, John Terry was a talisman for Chelsea, who at the end of his career played every single game, didn't he, for Conte? The only one that didn't is Rob Huth and Wes Morgan. The only ones that didn't have a real standout centre-back. So
Rob Huth,
I do wonder about that.
Rahul and Mohammed says, where's Howson and McKola and Howson uncensored?
Yeah, there's a good question.
Basically, I'll tell you where that's gone. Basically,
Not gone anyway, it's
when
coming back.
me and Joel came into the office and Steve kept hearing about Premier League piss take, Steve felt threatened, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He heard that there was a new show in town.
There's a new sheriff in town.
And he got threatened. So we will get him back because I enjoyed doing Uncensored. I enjoyed sitting next to the old war veteran and, you know, hearing about how he's getting on lately and how he is in his old age.
How he is in himself.
Yeah, how is he
How
in
is it
himself?
in
It's
himself?
always good to check on your olders. Game has kicked off, by
Yes.
the way. Egbert with the super chat says, great show, lads. Why do you think Twanzebe was dropped after the first leg against PSG? And Bailey with the super chat says, do you worry we could become like Spurs under Poch, one of the best teams in the league, but can never quite get over the line in semis and finals, finishing second and third? I'll answer the first one, you answer the second one. Egbert with the Twanzebe, I think that was more to do with fitness. Also, he came into a game just after that and wasn't great as well, was he? So I think it was a little bit to do with that and Ollie taking his time. Usually I can answer the other one in regards to relating us or comparing us to Pochettino's Spurs.
Wouldn't there be a real irony to the idea that a lot of people don't want Poch because he's never won anything, and then Ole goes on to echo the exact same run? So he's at United for 5 years, and we're very close to winning a lot of things, but never win anything. That would be rather ironic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Would it not?
Mason there, proper fuming with Daniel James.
I don't need that long.
I don't think that'll happen.
No,
it
I
might
don't.
happen, but the fact that we're near stuff is good improvement so far.
And it's you know, glass half full kind of thing. Oh, he keeps getting knocked out of semi-finals. Get into semi-finals.
He's got to more semi-finals than anyone else in England.
Yeah, so it's
since
not like
joined.
he's having a complete stinker in the cup competitions. We just need to get over that line, and I think we will. I think we'll kick on.
Me too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The game's off. We had an opportunity with Daniel James. Now, Mason Greenwood's run probably could have been better, but he seemed to be fuming when Daniel James... Oh, Donny van der Beek, Donald Duck.
Oh.
That was great, that.
Took it quickly.
United pushing.
I hope Jesse has a good game today.
I do.
God, who's making that run there? 27. Tell us.
Daniel James.
Danny James here.
Oh, Daniel James.
Two decent crosses across the front of the box,
They
though.
weren't decent crosses.
No?
It's not decent crosses if it's just into space.
What?
At the
I
back
think
post.
sometimes it
I'd
can
understand if there was no one in the box and he whipped it into a good space. And I'm not criticising him because he made a good run. But the delivery
He's
wasn't.
looked lively, hadn't he, in the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And I think Mason Greenwood's response to his first cross was kind of showed that he wasn't happy with the ball. But that was a very good run there.
It was a nice run.
Scotty too hot with the crossfield ball.
Do you know what the annoying thing about this game is? If Dan James plays well tonight, everyone will be saying, Dan James has found his level. They can't win.
No, you
If
can't.
you play well, it's because you're only playing against Watford and here's your level as a championship player.
Yeah.
If you play shit, can't even do well
I know,
against Watford.
It's ridiculous. He's, you know, like we've said, I think me and you've sort of spoken about it a few times. It's at the end of the season with Dan James. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere now, is he? So
No. And it's not. It doesn't have to
I know he
be
was linked
a
with a
world class
move, but-
player or like people seem to think they've discovered that he's not been amazing for United. You know, Dan James has only been good for the first 4 weeks at United. We all know that.
Yeah.
Like it's we're trying to see if he can improve. No one thinks he's our best player.
No.
Let's be honest. Buying Twanzebe in theory could be a great partnership, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
If either of them could stay fit.
It's a good point.
That is a good ball.
Tell us.
Tell us to Lingard, and then Dan James sort of.
Danny
gets
James
blocked.
going to use all his energy up.
Do you reckon he'll be knackered in half an hour? It's like that.
You get me off. Good defending by Tellers there.
You know on FIFA when you run and you don't start running so that your white energy starts going down instead of just the first bit.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to you right there.
His
His second bar's going down now.
He's zapping it.
He's holding R2 too long.
Shields have gone.
Or L2.
Go on, Dan. Another on the ball
Here he
again on the
goes.
left hand side.
L2's pressed.
Oh!
Made a shot for
Mate.
himself there. He's done well, Dan James. 3 of them so far.
Yeah.
Squaring up his man. Got past him once, got the ball in twice, and had a shot with a third one.
Mar Dragon in the comments says simply, energy.
I mean, it was one the keeper was always going to save, but on target gets us a corner.
You had a meal deal tonight.
Madam.
He gets a lot of meal.
He likes a meal deal.
I
don't
do
you?
like a meal deal, yeah.
Is it the word deal that you really are drawn to, or is it the
think it's
meal?
the word meal.
Or is it the meal element?
It's just, you know,
Or is it the
brings back memories.
the unison
Getting a
of
deal.
the two?
Yeah, I just think it's usually £3, isn't it? Which is just nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no one
when
denying
when
that.
you're on a budget, when you've got
Yeah.
kids to feed, £3, a meal, deal. Yeah. What, you getting a drink with that? Yeah, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy not to.
Ball in the box.
Oh,
McTominay
Donny!
wins it.
Yes! Donny! Oh, Scotty!
Scott McTominay. with a header. That's the great thing about downwards
Yes!
headers. Wasn't the best header in the world,
No.
but because it's bounced up and gone in the top
I
corner.
know. That's why I
the
was a
goalie
bit
can't
like, what's
save
going
it.
on here? I thought he'd headed it wide.
I knew it was one of the blonde lads.
We needed that as well because this game could have been a real shitter after the game we just had.
Yeah.
If this dragged on and dragged on and dragged on, we've started really
It's a
brightly.
great corner, that.
Great corner.
Is that
from
Tellers with the
Tellers,
corner there?
And McTominay heads it down and it hits the inside of the post to the
He
goalie's
proper
left.
headed that down, didn't he? He almost heads it straight down.
So
Yeah, I
do you know
think
when
he
people head it
didn't
down and
catch
it goes
that
over the bar,
properly.
you're like, the impossible thing. But he literally heads it down and into the top corner. Fantastic.
Sweet.
I
Good
wish
start,
Ben Foster's
United.
GoPro was in that goal right now. You cycling GK. I'm coming for you.
Cycling
But yeah,
GK.
DM us back and we'll still get that into
Yeah,
you.
despite what we said, Ben, we would like to speak to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could have just ignored us. Completely ignored us. Would have been better, innit?
Something may have happened. He may have had every
Yeah.
intention
He-
to have a chat with
he
you
thought,
or with
"Oh,
Joe,
fuck
and then
Both of us.
Why
both
did
of
I
you.
say yes?
And then no, he said yeah. Went on your profiles, did a bit of research,
I
and
hope
thought,
not. Oh, God.
Googled you and thought, yeah, I'm not working with these two.
No chance.
Saw Premier League piss take. Hang on a minute,
Imagine.
some of these are my mates.
Yeah, but he's safe from that. He plays in the Championship.
That's a very good point. But
Oh,
he might
what
have
a
some,
pass.
Lingard
Was
on
that
the left.
Donny again? Or was that Scott? I'm just confusing them. two.
Lingard, poor ball to Mason there inside. But good play again from United. Every single thing has gone down the left-hand side so
yeah,
far
it
for
has,
United.
and you can understand why because he's getting a
Yeah.
lot of joy down there. He's looking effective so far, Dan James.
John says, love having two centre-backs with proper pace.
Not a quiet drinker, are you?
Little slurp? You want a little
Real
slurp?
slurp, go on. Oh, off-putting.
That was a big one, that one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, United have never particularly gone for a centre-back partnership where they're both quick. I can't even think of one, really, in my lifetime.
Palace and Bruce are amazingly quick.
Bruce was like lightning, Steve Bruce.
He was. Petrified.
He was
in
a
wood.
Steve Bruce, wasn't he? Hey, I've never seen a less looking like a person that looked less like a footballer in my life. than
Neither
Steve
of them
Bruce.
had knees either.
No. Like, they both, Palace looked knackered after the first minute. Yeah. He was like, he thought, oh my God, what's going on here? Steve Bruce looked like he was an odd carrier, and yet they were both mint.
Yeah, he really does look like a farmer, doesn't he, Steve Bruce?
And it's like, even his legs weren't footballers' legs.
No.
You know, like, even no matter what a footballer has, like, he didn't have him.
Here we go.
Tim Jones.
Lingard
great
into
ball,
Mason.
Greenwood's in.
Oh.
Just took it a bit wide, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Tim Jones with a super chat says McSauce showing captains how to score headers from corners.
Oh, I see what he did there. A little bit of a surreptitious dig.
Very nice. It is a bit annoying, though, that Maguire wins everything but he's shit at it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's...
JC Kinnear says your stream is 20 seconds. Bruv,
Adam,
I wish.
Don't shout. Don't get upset.
Explain to these guys.
So it takes a minute for the stream to come through, and that's where the delay comes from.
So what you're...
Our
what
Tinternet
you,
to the Tinternet.
Yeah.
To your Tinternet. It's
Wh-
three Tinternets got to go through.
so what you're watching is what's been said 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's like using a what do they call it? A telescope looking into space. The further away you see, the
Yeah.
longer ago it was. So it's
Yeah,
essentially
well.
that, yeah.
No.
GD Brown says Rio and Silvestre were quick. Silvestre was more of a fullback.
Yeah.
He did play
Yeah, he
centre
did play
half.
centre
But
back.
Rio was never United's. Rio and Silvestre was never United's
No.
partnership, was it?
Like, it's
I'm
like
sure
saying,
it's happened.
it's
Rio
like
and Brown?
It's like saying, I was about to say Wes Brown was rapid, but again,
Yeah.
they weren't really
They
a
were never a
partnership. I wish they were.
They were. They were a partnership, and then Brown got injured. Vidic got his chance and never looked back. Trust me, if
Vidic
Brown
should
never
acquire
got
this one.
injured, Vidic wouldn't have been a thing.
No.
Vidic wouldn't have been a thing.
He
Not
would
at
have-
United.
Rio and
not
Vidic wouldn't have
nowhere.
been the thing.
He
He
would
would
have
have
had-
been Rio and Wes.
He would have gone to Fulham. I think we're in for him, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
you
he would have
think
been Bread Hangerland and Nemanja Vidic. And it
I'll
would
tell you
it was
something, I'll tell you
Rio
something
and
else. Wes Brown wouldn't have buggered off when Moisey came in and said, oh, you know what? Well, I'm leaving by mutual consent.
Probably because he would have been injured.
Is it because he'd already left 4 years earlier? So you're saying it was Wes Brown's versatility, which is what killed his chances of being United's
No, I think
starting
it's
centre
injuries.
Wes
back?
Brown's
If you
injuries.
look at 2000 season, he missed, I think, or 2001 season, I think he missed the whole season
Yeah.
when he was just about getting into the
And
team.
that's just after he won Jimmy Murphy Player of the
But
Year.
also,
Yeah.
what I mean by that, obviously, is that Vidic was never going to be playing right back.
Oh,
And
sorry.
Wes
yeah,
Brown
yeah,
came
no.
in and played
I
a
mean,
lot
his
against
best
the right
season,
back.
yeah, you're right. It was 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think he played more than anyone
Yeah.
that season. But yeah, he just had injury problems.
Fucking hell, ref.
I
Did you
know.
see Matter then? He was right. The ref was right in
He was
front
about
of him.
6
and he still
inches
played it
away from the
around.
ref.
Yeah.
That was
Tellez. That's a nice cross in. Oh, almost back to Lingard there. I hope we can have a nice, comfortable win, don't you? And not see what we saw the other week, where it was like we go. Who
So
was it
Rashford
against?
can stay
We went
on
up
the
first
bench.
and then we conceded.
Maguire
beat
can
them
stay
again.
on the bench.
Villa.
Innit?
We don't want a Villa.
I'd love to see
Yeah.
Bruno and Rashford not come on.
Me too.
Yeah, and Maguire.
Yeah, and Maguire. Yeah, you're right. Just
Mad that Maguire's not
Unless he
starting.
comes on for Bailly because we're saving Bailly. Then I don't mind that.
Are you surprised that Maguire isn't starting? Because I know he's
I'm not
obviously plays every
surprised,
game,
nah.
but he played every game last year.
I am a little
In
bit.
the league,
It was in my predicted 11.
Yeah, played
That's
every-
a terrible ball by Scott McTominay, by the way.
Stinks that, mate.
Oh, he's quick as well. Who's that?
That's Saar.
Fucking flying past everyone.
Oh my god, there, bro.
Tuanzebe managed to, I wouldn't say catch up to him because he was in front of him, but he flew past about 3 players
He's
there.
not on your wavelength there, lad.
No, who was it? Number 23.
It was
for
Saar. It was Saar.
Saar.
It's
Very
quality.
quick.
Quality player.
He's going to be thinking, I need to do these laps today.
Do you remember that time when Paul Pogba,
Palestri ahead of me.
when Paul Pogba played against England for France, and he was incredible. This is the equivalent for Saar, where he's like, I need to prove that I'm Premier League quality against a team that wanted to sign me.
Yeah.
That game when Pogba played against England, you were like, oh, he's the best midfielder in the world.
We are not stealing the game lock stock. We are.
No.
We pay for BT Sport.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
What's it? Accusations flying around there.
Yes. So that our stream's only behind because it's legal.
We don't do
Cam's dad paid for it.
illegalities.
You don't have to repeat everything that gets said in the headphones.
I'm like Rob Burgundy,
Yeah,
bro.
you are.
Yeah.
If you say anything in these headphones, I'm just.
Yeah.
I don't have a video printer, but
Go fuck yourself, San
Pretend
Diego.
it's not an illegal stream. That's what Adam just said to the camera.
Don't
It
tell
actually,
them.
the thing is, it actually isn't. So
tweet
don't worry
something
about
like.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
It's funny that even when we rotate our team, everything still goes down the left, isn't it? We still don't have
That
any
is
like
weird.
right wingers.
It is weird.
I like the sound. Sorry.
Go on. No, that was it.
Joe says, I'd love a future podcast where Jay, Adam, and Steven, sorry, Joe, you're left out of this, talk about how good Wes Brown was.
I would happily do that. To be
Do you remember
fair.
how buzzing we were with Wes Brown? Like,
Oh,
I was
mate,
proper buzzing
mate,
like that.
that was mint. That was quality, wasn't it?
I love Wes Brown.
Yeah, I do. And he was all right as well, wasn't
Nah, he's safe.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, I kind of felt like we're not friends.
he? Yeah.
But I kind of
But
felt
he's
we were friends. Because I met him
sniggering
in
at-
Singapore. Remember, he was in our hotel.
Yeah.
Saw him in Singapore.
Oh.
I say our hotel, my hotel. These days, just, you know.
We went, yep.
I played that wheelchair football with him.
Yeah, where you broke
played
part
on
of
the
it
pitch
and took it
against him
far
at
too
Old
seriously
Trafford.
against a lot of people who were in a wheelchair playing a game for the Man United Foundation.
Is that not like...
And he comes in, shouting at people, banging into them.
Get back!
Yeah.
Get back!
There was kids crying.
Yeah.
Well
Some
done.
marked over there!
They were
Well,
spare
it was-
wheelchairs
it was-
you were using, weren't
No,
they?
I had to kick someone
Nah,
out
he
of it.
literally tipped him out, got in it.
Is it not sort of borderline like physical appropriation?
I was
Yeah.
like, well,
Playing wheelchair
I'm
football.
internet famous, isn't it? So
Right.
you don't
was
need
like-
this.
I've come up with a name for that
And
podcast.
worst thing
by the
is,
way.
when he scored,
Oh, go on.
he jumps out of his wheelchair, started running around.
Like Drogba like
In
that.
your face, in your
By
face.
the way, that last bit isn't true. I didn't jump out of the seat to celebrate. Wheeled around.
Good.
Sorry. Joe, I interrupted you.
I was laughing because I came up with an awful name for the podcast. But
on.
the sort of name that some company would come up with and think it's great. The podcast about Wes Brown is called Wes Company Three's a Treble. That's what it's called.
Bro,
That's so good.
don't laugh.
That's so good.
You started giggling, I was ashamed.
Wes Company, like Three's Company.
Have we got any chance?
Because that sounds
Yeah,
right.
we'll have a look.
Threes,
Yeah.
instead of saying a crowd, a treble.
We've got
It works.
Hope Samuel in the super chat says, hope we use these sorts of 11s in the Europa League.
I agree, definitely.
You're on a timeout, bro.
Yeah.
For a little while, yeah.
How long?
Oliver Smith's asking you a question, Macca. He says, what happened to the kickoff today for Arsenal Newcastle?
There wasn't one.
There you go. That's what happened to it. There weren't one. What else? Who else is saying something?
Oh, Wan Matter's so fucking good.
Greenwood.
You
And again.
broke your ban. Minute stops.
Yeah. Someone's saying, can we laugh at the Scousers having to bring on Thiago to break down Villa's under 14s? Yeah, I can.
Yo, listen, shout out Arjun, who played, I forgot his surname, but I just seen a brown Asian fella on the pitch and I got happy. So shout out Arjun Trinket. Huh?
You can read something out.
I'm all right.
Go on then,
You
I'll
wanna
give it back
speak?
to Macca.
Yeah, can I speak?
Don't want to hear
Thank
any
you.
more of these
United looking
silly
quite good, aren't they?
suggestions
Who
for
wants-
Wes Brown shows.
Someone said they wanted the podcast and I just came up with a name for it. That's all right. Two's company is the...
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. No, I get it.
Good lad.
Free kick to Watford. Only the second time I can remember him having the ball in United's half.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised to see him score, would you?
Don't. United on set pieces. It's
Child
just
star
ridiculous.
Will Hughes. Is Will Hughes the footballing equivalent of Macaulay Culkin? Didn't he play for Derby when he was 15? As they almost
Suanzebe there. Was that
scored
cleared
there.
off in line?
Yeah.
Was it offside?
I don't think so.
Well, Suanzebe seems to think he's having a word with the linesman.
It was very good by Twanzebe and then well covered up by Henderson, who could have...
Yeah, he's offside.
No,
there.
wait. Nah,
No, he's
wasn't.
not.
Sorry. Yeah, the other lad was.
He was going wide as well, but worth clearing up as well, still by Twanzebe. I think after
Dean Henderson does well, to be fair.
He does actually,
Makes
yeah.
the
Gets a good save on it.
And
then he recovered it there.
Yeah. Good goalie.
Little bit of a reminder there that these aren't a complete shambles.
And that we are a
team.
complete shambles at
Yes,
set pieces.
that's a good point.
That's the great thing about United. No matter which one of our 23 men plays, you know, we can rotate 6 men out, 4 men out, whatever. We're still shit at defending set pieces.
Yeah. Dan James in the box.
If he could shoot straight, he
It's the
would have been-
consistency United fans have been looking for, isn't it?
Teddy Blowout says with a super chat, where are you watching the game? As in what channel? BT Sport.
BT Sport.
Miles Van Eaton. I recognise Miles. Thank you for joining us again, Miles. Says Axel is class and I hope he plays himself into the first team. Long-term solution at centre-back. To be fair, all of our centre-halves, if they work, are kind of long-term solution because they're all at a good age, aren't they?
Yeah.
Bailly,
I don't think anyone's over 27, 28, are they?
Lindelof.
This is the weird thing, right?
Jones.
Do you think that if we were to go out and buy a day open McKola or whatever, is he worlds apart from what we've got?
I don't think quality-wise he's that much better. And
know
I
what I
really
mean?
do,
Like-
and of all the leagues, I don't trust signings from the Bundesliga.
Because I've not seen a
They're
lot
so
of it. I'm
hit
not
and
going to
miss.
lie.
Like what statistically, or you look at the stats of a player you're buying, and of course, scouts look at more than stats. But Henrik Mkhitaryan and Kevin De Bruyne,
Kagawa, for example.
well, Mkhitaryan and Kagawa had roughly the similar stats to Kevin De Bruyne, and obviously there's no comparison in terms of the quality of those players as they arrive in England. I do think, and you look at certain like players like Socrates as well for Arsenal looked very good for Dortmund, and then came and was pretty terrible for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think it's just got quite a bit of good miss rate compared to a lot of the other major leagues. So a
Holland's a bit like that as
21-year-old,
well.
21-year-old centre back who is a good player, but again he's 21. So
Remember Alfonso Alves came over with loads of goals. Oliver Smith says, Adam, you better give it to. I'll give it to Loz next Sunday when we beat them. Pause, everybody.
Imagine.
Mate.
Dale says, want to see Andy J, Howson and McKola do a watch-along together. Sorry, Joe. Be quality. We can do watch-alongs with 5-6 of us when
madness.
when we're maybe in tier 1 or something.
Yeah, we'll do that.
2.
We'll have a bumper watch-along for the title deciding game, the title-winning game.
Yeah.
Another name for your show, Blaine. Joe. Blaine says, what's where's Brown? Huh?
Where's Brown?
I like that.
Brown?
That's good.
Where's Brown?
Yeah.
Where's?
Put it in the maybe column.
Yeah.
It's better than his shit.
Yeah, it is.
Jules
Treble
Nixon
thing.
says, when will we get to see Hannibal?
Where's
Surely
company?
this would have been a perfect game.
I think that we've had Dave Pritt on a couple of times speaking about Hannibal and a couple of others. Ted and Mengi as well you can throw in there. And I still think there's not a long way to go, but I think I can understand why they're not in the first team yet.
Yeah.
I think they're doing the decent spells, but they're still learning the craft. I don't think there's a necessity right now.
And let's not forget, haven't we made 11 changes? Like this couldn't be more of a rotated
Like
team
10.
anyway. And this is 10. And this is still like, a good team. So a lot of these players haven't played in ages. Mata hasn't played in ages. Lingard hasn't played
And you've got to keep
in
him
like
happy,
8
keep him
months.
sort of.
He played against Leicester last game of the season before.
Matt has only played in the cups, hasn't he?
Yeah, so it's not like these players have had many games either. A lot of these players have probably played less games than Mengi and those sorts of players because they're
Bailly! Oh, if Bailly scored, bruv.
they're at least
my
playing
God.
under 23s.
Yeah.
Oh, if Bailly scores, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. I'm running home naked if Bailly scores. Brian Thompson, any chance of getting Gaz or Statman Dave on? We will have, obviously, Gaz. I'm going to speak to Gaz soon and hopefully get him on. Statman Dave, obviously, because he works for the club now. Man thinks he's too stush for us, but he's welcome whenever he wants to come on Stretford Paddock. He's always allowed here.
Right, so
I did some
handle that.
videos with him not long ago,
I was
which
fucking surprised.
felt a bit weird because you
not like you
don't
see videos
visit
of
us
someone.
no more.
Right.
Not that I hold it against anybody, like
Video friends.
We wanted you on our show, and nobody wanted you though. Just remember that.
You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
When we found you.
When I stopped. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Joe McGrath says, "Is this the Joe McGrath?"
Nah.
Hopefully this is a better Joe McGrath. Says, does the fact that we are poor at defending set... I'm sure if it was the real Joe McGrath, he's probably spending his €5 on chicken wings. So, yeah, probably not that, Joe. He says, does the fact that we are poor at defending set pieces point to it being a coaching issue and not a player issue, or both? Love to you all, by the way.
McKola,
Beans
answer that one.
McSwilly says, 3 great blokes, love the channel. We love you too, Beans. Finally, Joe gets a mention. We'll answer that question about the defending. Does anyone think it's... personnel, tactics. Oh, what a pass!
That's a great pass. Sorry, before we move to that,
Go
Tellers
on.
with a cross. It
does
must be
seem
the
to be an
defending, I
issue.
suppose. It must be the coaching. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I don't get why. Because certain teams go through phases and patches of being bad at set pieces, and we seem to sort of book our ideas.
It's usually when they've got different managers with different philosophies.
Yeah, but we've got progressively worse as our time under Ole has gone on. Oh, actually, I don't think that's quite true, but we're back to not being good at them again. So I don't really know. Maybe it is the
he
coaching.
touched the ball, but I just missed it. Andre Grader, sorry.
Remember when we were linked with him at the end of last season?
We were?
We got Igalo, yeah. We were linked
joking.
We were linked with every single striker.
He scores like 2 goals in 37 games or something. Famous
Jamie
last
said,
words.
Carl Anker, get him on. Yeah, yo. Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Carl, holler me.
We had Carl on.
Yeah,
a few
we've had him
months
on.
ago.
We've
It was
had him
good.
on, mate.
We'd
Don't you worry
definitely
about
like
that.
to get him back
no
on.
one wanted me to come on when he was on.
No. He didn't. He specifically said he'll come on if you're not.
It's not like I don't.
That was part of his stipulation.
I should probably watch videos that I'm not in. Shane says, love to watch along, lads.
ego.
As sad as it sounds, it makes it feel like I'm watching a game with a few
not
of
sad.
the lads.
Not sad at all. That's what we want.
That's really, that's
You know.
what we try to do.
Yeah, it's not sad, to be honest.
Why have you gone for that and not the Pepsi Max Cherry?
Both, mate.
Oh, sorry. Poured them in one.
Ta-da! Oliver Smith says, McKola, what's your favourite ever fan cam and kickoff? My
great
favourite
question.
kickoff
The
is when we
first part
beat
of that question
City
was
3-2. Get that one out of the way because that's an easier one to do. My favourite ever fan cam would be, you got Ray Bobbins, who there's an American Manchester United fan speaking. Ray comes in and says, what you on about? This, that, or the other. He's Everton manager. He's not a Man United manager. But I just thought everything about what he said and how he said it was perfect. Also, blood, sweat, tears, the Andy Tate one. But my favourite ever fan cam is one that we did for England game, Salford Quays, outside the Lion Bar, with a guy called Warren. And he said, it got like 15k views, so it didn't even get that many views. And he said, put a film on Titanic's better than this, or something like that. But his delivery was amazing, so that's probably my favourite.
Do you know what I like about them fan cams?
Yeah.
And I know I'm guilty of it myself, but the memorable, they made the point and it was very clean.
Yeah.
No swearing.
No swearing.
It was like having a bit of a rant, but without.
One day,
profanity.
Andy Tate started swearing, and we didn't put it out because it wasn't him.
It's like, I know what you mean. Old school Andy Tate never swore, did he?
Because his dad was with him all the time.
I think
His dad kept him in check.
you see.
Which I like. Now Andy just says what he
Drops
likes.
C-bombs and everything. like another Stephen Howson.
Sam Potter says, did you see Bailey's comment or Bailey's comment? I'm assuming Bailey. On La Liga's Insta. I haven't seen it. Have any of you guys seen it? If not, can you comment it in the comments? You don't have to do another super chat, but just let us know what it is. So we can do that. It's still 1-0 to Manchester United, 23 minutes, 43 seconds on the clock. Yomi says, love this channel. Obviously, it's been about, how long has it been now? Since we took over? 6 months?
July, wasn't it? So 6 months, pretty much.
7 months. Yeah, it's been a good 6-7 months, man. I've enjoyed it. What have you lot made of it?
Loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. Ace, innit?
We've had some mental ones, and
I've loved the response.
There's been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of emotions. There's been a lot of highs, lows.
Mm.
People throwing things at each other.
Oh yeah, that's been good, hasn't it?
A lot of people calling each other cunts and things like that.
Yep.
Sal says there's a countrywide blackout in Pakistan. Have to watch this on my phone. So shout out
What,
to
like
all
electric-
the Pakistani Reds. Yes, I
electricity's
imagine if your electricity's gone, your Wi-Fi's gone, so you'd have to use like 4G, 3G,
5G
if you've got
these
it.
days.
Um,
Jesus.
Sorry.
The mention of 5G and Jay starts rioting.
Choked on me sweet, then.
That's pretty.
you definitely you're choking on a sweet, yeah. You're not got a coughing fit. 'Cause you know what they say about people with coughing fits.
Don't.
United have been well on top in this game, haven't they?
Yeah.
Are you worried about this, or are you sort of put it to the back of your mind?
Feels
almost
like,
now?
This feels like United of old.
Where you just sort of...
You play against teams that are in the division below you or whatever, like under Fergie, where you change it around. You're still the dominant team. You're comfortable. You get an early-ish goal. There's no dramas.
Now,
what are you laughing at?
It's about finalising that, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we've still got, 65 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the next goal is pretty important. Obviously, United looking good so far.
Sam Potter has told us what was posted on Instagram. So La Liga posted a shadowed image of Arturo Vidal. Can you imagine with the silhouette of his hair and everything, and captioned it, "Guess who?" Eric Bailly commented, "Pogba."
Incorrect.
Eric Bailly is like...
I love Eric Bailly.
Someone who he's trained with and probably seen 6 times a week for 4 or 5 years. Don't recognise his silhouette.
But Eric Bailly's got.
Is it obviously Vidal though? Because I've not seen that post.
He speaks also. Eric Bailly speaks loads of different languages, so he's one of the few that can. There'll be loads of little groups in the change room. He can just float around and that. And
do you remember him with Zlatan?
Yeah,
he slapped him. That was meant.
When Jose lost Zlatan, he lost the dressing room.
Yeah, no, he did.
Marcus, welcome to the academy. Welcome to Stretford Paddock memberships. Obviously, we gave away a PlayStation 5 in the game against Manchester City on the 12 days of Paddock. We will have more giveaways coming up. And we've also got exclusive content for members as well. So the giveaways are just a bonus. The giveaways are a thank you to you guys for being our members. You will always get your money's worth in terms of content. Oliver Smith says, my favourite is the City game for the bit about Smalling and the undercover story. Have I told you a lot about the undercover story?
No, what's the undercover story?
And Jules Nixon says, who would you lads support if there was no Manchester United? I support Torquay United. #Yellow Army.
I'd support probably Earlham Town. Something like that.
Would you?
I've moved to Eccles, but they're not that far away. Candy Z Juniors, that's my last thing.
He's not dead, he's living in Eccles. Right, East is East fans. What about you?
I don't know. It would be hard, I think, to support a team quite as low down as that because you lose like the social media thing. None of your mates would be fans of them. You lose all the ability to chat and enjoy a conversation, read about them in the paper. Like, I don't know.
Just because I hate pretty much every team.
I mean, I guess
struggle.
Just because
pick one.
Just because being from Worksop, maybe Sheffield United.
Inoffensive enough, aren't
Yeah.
they? No, I don't hate them, to be fair.
No.
It's not a bad one.
Yeah, there's no real beef with United.
No. It's even, you remember like teams
Although
like Bolton?
Yeah.
Who hate us?
Yeah.
Sheffield United don't like us, actually.
Why do you hate us?
Oh, wanky.
Yeah.
I can remember chanting that a lot.
Like,
I think some Sheffield United fans don't like Man United because we
Man United.
lost to West Ham, didn't we, on the last game of the season, which
Neil
put Sheffield
Warnock.
United down.
Neil Warnock rang Fergie.
But then Tevez and Mascherano was playing for him so illegally. And they were like,
when Sean B went to Parliament.
Yeah.
I used to
remember
love last games of the season when we didn't care because we were already champions.
Oh, mate.
We used to play some.
Do you remember in
dickhead
like
teams.
2000 when we lost like 3 games on the trot at home because we'd already won the league and Fergie just put like children on every week?
Bro,
Didn't
I miss
care.
those days.
We won the
Welcome to
league in
Thomas
like April. It was mint.
Dickinson as well to the membership on Stretford Paddock. Now that story about the undercover story, so
Go on.
it's kind of an answer. So to answer that other question, who would I support if there was no Manchester United? Like, I support Manchester. I'm from Birmingham. I support Manchester United because my dad and my uncle took me.
SAR's in here.
Come round and he's
No,
cleared that. He's kept it in though. And
Kept it live, but the lad.
Brandon Williams walking out.
He
the
looks
box with it.
useful, that Ismail Assar.
He has looked very good.
Yeah, he's got a lot of space up there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise he was that quick.
Think of him down our right hand side, Joe.
The speed.
Precision.
You done?
Skill.
Done making that noise?
What are you looking at me for? He's the one who's
You
sucking a
just
sweet
made
and
that-
spitting
I'm not spitting.
and speaking.
Oh, right, it's spitting about
No,
to say,
no,
not
no.
spat since the 80s.
When you spat bars.
Yeah.
And stay down.
Origin Gaming, thank you for the super chat. It's not got a message, but it is a super chat, so thank you. Yeah.
You look
What
at
was
her
that
again.
What's random shit?
Lads,
That makes
I
you laugh.
don't know what's going on anymore. And I don't know
Go
what
on.
these two do. I
Talk
don't know what
about
I'm
this
talking
undercover
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
Tell us a story about the undercover agent.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I wasn't talking about that, though, was I? But all right, we'll talk about it.
No, you were talking about what team you support if it
Oh,
were
yeah,
Man
yeah, yeah.
United.
Right.
Your dad and your uncle support United.
I played for and coached for, like, not played for Aston Villa, but like their caddy, like, you know, going through when you're a kid, schoolboy
that's a
kid.
decent level.
Trained with them, and then I coached for them. And one of my uncles supports them. And when I used to go to my granddad's house and play football, you could hear Villa Park when there were
Right,
games.
okay.
So possibly.
So obviously I support Wolves.
But you're supposed to support the team that your dad takes you to watch.
You are.
Yeah.
Tell you what, my son, okay, what he does with his life, he's supporting United. And
Yeah.
my daughter's already there. She's been at United.
Yeah.
But my lad and my younger daughter.
Yeah, you need to support what team your dad
You know what
goes
I mean?
to.
I'm not having any of this.
Because imagine I supported my local team and I can't go to games with my
Yeah.
dad. That's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll do things like I'd punish my son. Like, not only you not coming to the game, you're not having your PlayStation or sleeping
Or
in
food.
the house
Yeah.
or food.
Will Earl says we need a new centre back. If you could bring somebody in tomorrow for the Liverpool fixture ahead of the run coming, who would it be?
Virgil van Dijk.
Ben White still live with us?
Yeah, Van Dijk.
Just put him on the bench.
I put Mo Salah at centre back for
Yeah.
United just to fuck him off. Honestly, though, like most of the great centre backs in the world are getting on a bit now, aren't
And
they? The big boys, the heavy hitters.
right.
You know,
Hey
I mean,
up,
obviously
hey up,
Van
hey
Dijk.
up.
Van Dijk is
No, cleared
tremendously injured. Who knows when he'll be back? But you know, Ramos, PK, Watford with a shot
here.
here. Scrambling.
Twanzebe off the line.
Out
Is
for
it
a
handball?
corner.
I think that's our mate Side again is appealing for something there.
They're appealing for handball.
Has he got a gum shield in that lad?
Yeah, few players do that now.
Fair enough.
Gabriel Jesus
not
did
knocking it. Keeps you
Was it?
safe. He had,
Nah, he hit his knee.
The one
His
that-
arm went out, but it hit his knee. He moved his arm out of the way.
It's
That's not
Twanzebe they're
handball.
appealing for. Oh no, it's Bailly on the way back, but his arm is like
You can't give it
his arm
against
is
Bailly.
locked to
Yeah,
his
you
side
can't.
there. He's giving it the old pause though. The ref.
No,
Yeah, get on with the corner. To be honest with you, a corner's probably as good as a penalty against United nowadays, anyway.
Yep. Go on, Adam.
Yeah, so Origin
Goes
says,
over
what
it
did you guys do before working on YouTube? So I'll answer that question about undercover, which kind of answers this. I worked for my dad, and I was also just out of uni, so I was doing random little different things with a law degree. And I used to do stuff like commentate on games for like, I think they were illegal Chinese bookmakers. So
Which is loads of, by the way. I watched a documentary on that.
You put your headset on.
Madness.
And I'd get paid like, depending on how much your match ticket was, I'd get paid like 50.
Wait, you're doing it from the ground?
50 to 75 quid. So you put a hands-free kit in. I'd take a phone which wasn't mine, and then that would be tuned up into my ear. And then for the whole game, so first half, second half, you'd be relaying to this call center in China, like home team safe, home team are attacking.
Oh my God.
Home team shot.
If I sat next to you at
know
Old
what?
Trafford and
I
you
feel
doing
for your
that.
dad
No,
now.
I would never do it at Old Trafford because
Alright.
I'm a
Oh,
fan.
they paid for you to go to games.
So I'd go to like West Brom,
Alright.
Newcastle
Oh,
in the
that's
cup,
alright then.
Aston Villa under 23s.
Still weird
Like
though.
all the games that were local to me, I'd go to them games, Warsaw games, all this kind of stuff, and get paid for it. And I was just obviously a student, so you take your match ticket out of it, 20 quid, and then you'd have like 50 quid, and that's what I'd.
Hey up,
So you'd be
hey
there
up.
like, yeah, home team danger, attack, goal. And sometimes there'd be like people in the call centers because they'd be friends talking to each other, and they'd be asking me to repeat myself, and I'd be there arguing with this fella that can't understand me. I can't understand him, and we'd just be arguing. I'd be like, bruv, I'm gonna get caught if you two keep fucking around here. Obviously can't understand me, but yeah, I did things like
That's
that.
a pretty mad job, that.
That is mad.
Was it not like, did you not feel like...
I remember
dead
someone
embarrassed?
just saying to me, "Oh, you want to make some money?" And I was like, "Bro, if you ask
Just
me
that
if I want to
uni
make
now.
some money, I'm just gonna say yes,"
Mm.
because I was a student. And then before I worked here, I was working for my dad in the property company, and then I saw something about full-time devils, so I got involved, and then that was it. Rest was history. What about you, Jay?
I was, as you know, mate, as a reporter. Late student, mature student, went to uni when I was 27. Did journalism, and then was working in Manchester as a roving reporter. So did a bit of football, got to go to the press conferences, like Fergie and Van Gaal.
Mourinho.
And also the City lot as well.
Can you tell them the Mourinho bold story, please?
Yeah. Once when I was at a press conference, Mourinho just had his hair cut. And it was James Cooper, I think, actually, funnily enough. He's like, oh, you just had your hair cut. And Watford just have a shot in my mind. And he went, Mourinho goes, yeah, don't worry, it'll grow back soon, unlike some of you lot. And then he pointed at me. But I didn't know because I was making notes, so I had my head down. So everyone was laughing. And then at the end of the press conference, I was still taking notes and I just seen this shadow over me.
You just didn't look up for the whole press conference?
Just furiously scribbling notes. Looked up and he was stood above me. And he was like, are you jealous?
With his dick out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you jealous?
Yeah. I'm not showing the video.
No.
I'll show you the video.
You should have said, what, because you're getting paid 12 million quid a year. That's why I'm jealous.
For fucking up my football club.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hated doing the United presses because I was a fan. Like, if I went to City and pissed off Pep, I didn't care. You know, I asked him a question, he got funny with me. I wasn't bothered. And he just made me follow up.
Buzz off.
Yeah. I'd ask another one, the same question again.
But worse.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
Yeah. So, let's talk about human rights. But like with United, I remember once I asked Jose a question at the Europa League one about your mate Martial. And he was fine, he answered it. I was like, just give me a normal answer, no drama. And the lad next to me asked a follow-up question about Martial. And he went berserk. Like, how many questions about Martial? Just like laid into him. And I remember thinking if that was me, I'd probably burst into tears.
What about you, Joe?
Worked in a coffee shop.
He was a raving reporter.
He's a raving reporter. Yeah, I worked in a coffee shop and went to uni in that.
Went to uni in that. What did you study at uni, Joe?
Television and radio production.
So you're like proper, aren't you?
Yeah.
Unlike me and him, you know what you're doing.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got no training in this, and that's why I'm good at it. Miles Van Eaton says Axel has been better than Pepsi Max Cherry. Comments, Jay?
That's a bold comment there, but he has been good. So yeah, he's up there with Pepsi Max Cherry.
Watford having a bit of possession
Fair
and
comment.
doing a bit here, aren't they? As they win a header from a corner there that goes wide. It's not United have only had 2 shots on target. I know
the comments are getting a bit nervy now.
Yeah, but we're not playing amazingly well.
I think you might call it when you said Dan James was going to run out of steam soon because he was our outlet. Wasn't
he ran out of steam after 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was all going through him and they couldn't cope with him, and now he looks like he's goosed a bit.
The Red Knight says evening from Washington DC.
I love that.
It's been going off down there recently, hasn't it?
Wow, what's happened?
I don't know. What is your favourite ever United FA Cup match? I'm sure Red Knight don't want to know either. Let's talk about his question.
That's a good one, that. Do you know what? I think it'd probably be my first final, the 94 one. Eric with the 2 penalties.
That's my first final.
Was it? Yes, brother. Loved it. Absolutely. Yeah. Even that. I might.
Pissing down with rain.
Yeah. Like, buzzing on that. Like, obviously, I've been to a final. I've been to the League Cup final, but we lost to Villa. And then I went to the FA Cup final, we won. And it was just mint. Loved it.
Cantona with the 2 pens.
Is that yours?
What's your favourite ever?
Well, I don't know, because the only one I've been to is the one the other year.
Are you counting
the West Ham
finals?
one.
You don't have to have been to it, and it can be any game. Like, beating the Scousers at Old Trafford in the 99 game is up there.
That started after...
I don't have full memory of that, to be honest, because I was
Owen scored
6.
after 3 minutes.
You were 6? Jesus.
I always
No, I'd have
really
been 5.
remember that. Owen scored after 3 minutes.
He did that, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Him and Jamie Carragher, I think it was. Fuck off. Do you know what? I don't care how many goals he scored for United or that derby goal. I still can't stand
It's an early kick-off that as well, wasn't it?
Weirdly, though, you think, obviously in the 90s we won a few. We didn't really win many FA Cups for a while there,
No,
did
we had
Was
that
it
horrible
the
run.
Millwall, what was it, 2004? And then we didn't win it for like
spot on, mate.
nearly 10
12,
years.
12 years.
12 years. So, you know, it's weird. It probably will be the West Ham game. Going to the game and seeing the late win and all that with
Which one?
Lingard. That one.
Late winner.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
Oh, Crystal Palace, not West Ham. Because I'm thinking of Pardew. Yeah,
Yeah.
Palace. Sorry, Palace.
Yeah. 10 men and that cute, got us. Because when you got a final against Crystal Palace, it's like, well, we'll beat them.
Yeah.
You could almost... But then when you went down to 10 men and
Yeah.
there was we were behind initially, weren't we? And then Jason Puncheon scored.
That
Mata
finish
scored.
from Jesse just
Yeah.
hits it just instinctively and it just rockets in the top corner.
I was in the
Brilliant.
press for that. And obviously at Wembley FA Cup final,
Yeah.
it's proper posh. You get like a proper meal. You're like all Henry Winter and all them. Like,
Beans on
Henry
toast and
Winter's
that.
proper sound, but you've got like all the... You'll recognise him. I see him off telly. First goal, I was pretty like... Remembering, I'm a journalist and all this. when Jesse's got, mate, tables were getting thrown over. You got it.
Frisbee in your laptop down the press box. Fucking have that.
Mate.
Dance up. Alan!
I'd have to go. My
Doing his
one
little
would have
dance
to
back
be.
at him and that.
My one would have to be. Without going to a final, like if I was going to say a final,
you
the
don't have to be a
94 one
final,
would be a
does it?
final. Would be 96 final. The 99 final was on my 10th birthday, so that I always have fond memories of that. But Roy Keane going off injured really vexes me because his season was done then, and that's sad. I'd have to go 2-0 down at Villa Park. Ruud van Nistelrooy come back on the pitch. Because I was obviously from Birmingham, my dad knew someone that worked for the Villa Park ticket office.
Right.
So before they'd send their away allocation to United, they'd always give us 2 tickets out of it in the away end.
That's sick.
So any game at Villa Park, like Scholes' volley, I was there. Like all these kind of games, like I was in the away end for them because of that. Watford semi-final in the FA Cup, I was there. So yeah, it would have to be that one with Ruud van Nistelrooy scoring 2, Schmeichel in goal.
It's funny you say that, Maka, because I know we both do. We know a lot of lads who go home and away and have been going home away for years, but they talk about that game all the time as being a game where it was like amazing, when obviously on the pitch and all that. Yeah,
I wasn't allowed on the pitch.
Was you not? You soon made up for that, though, didn't you, mate?
Yeah. Horizon says, Adam Ladd, Amsterdam Council considering banning foreign people from coffee shops. Just DM me next time. They do this every year to try and panic people like me, but it never comes through. They rely on people like me.
Tourism.
Yeah, they rely on that. Pranav says, great show, lads. What's your favourite hat-trick scored by a United player?
That's a good one. I mean, Berbatov.
And while you think of that, Oliver Smith.
You've nailed it, mate. Yeah, 100%. Berbatov against Scousers. 100%.
If you're not going to say that, to be different, I'll go Rooney on his debut because...
Good one.
Rooney on his debut, again, a game I was there for. As a kid, like it was. I remember my mom doesn't care about football, and I remember saying, "Mom, Rooney scored a hat trick."
Yeah.
Like it was like
you had to tell people.
Why?
That's good because of what it meant and what it led on to.
Yeah.
Another one was Van Persie against Southampton. Was it a hat trick he got?
No, he got 2.
Was it 2?
Villa was the hat trick.
Villa was the hat trick.
Do you know what though? The reason I love that, I'm with you on the Berbatov one, the Scousers, is because when it went to 2-2, it felt like a loss.
Yeah, because it was 2-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I felt sick, mate. I was like, this is horrible. I was fuming, and then when he scored that third one, mate, he was going off.
Oliver Smith with the FA Cup one, and he went United last minute winner versus Everton in a semi. Banal.
Your boy,
I'd go post Fergie. That is
against Everton.
Yeah.
Post Fergie, that is probably the best single moment.
We had this debate during the summer, and I said, I picked,
oh yes, that would have been a fucking great goal.
Great interplay there,
Donny and Jesse.
And it was Mata with the shot at the end as well. Just didn't lift it. No, straight at the goalie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more or less straight at him.
Similar to the chance that Andy Carroll had against Arsenal with about a minute to go. Mason to Van der Beek, who does a brilliant back heel through to Mata, and he's 1-on-1 with the goalie. And he just side foots it straight into him.
Yeah, on his left, I'd have expected him to score.
Good finisher.
We answered all those questions, hat tricks.
Who did you say? You said Rooney. You said, did you go with...
There's Van Persie Villa as well, innit?
There you go.
Dean Henderson straight out there to Ismail.
In my life, I've never seen David Hay do that.
I have.
What, like that?
I can see that with number 1 De Gea on the back. I've seen that. Egbert.
Okay.
What were your favourite Champions League games that you have been to with a super chat?
7-1 Roma. Easily. The best game.
And you know what was good about that? Were you on the forecourt and it kicked off?
No.
You pussy. You should have been there.
It's
mint. Horse nearly headbutted me and everything. It was mad. Roma fans from... Because remember, the week before, he fucking kicked off early in Rome.
Yeah, it did.
And then there was trouble at Old Trafford on the forecourt. That was a huge game. Jay?
Favourite Champions League game? Do you know what? Any of the ones against Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? We had. I know the semi-final one with Scholes, but
so Scholesy.
Yeah, even
you're going back to Robbo's days.
Well, there was one I remember we drew 3 and everyone was deflated, but I was only a kid and I loved it.
Beckham free kick.
Yeah,
we wore the away kit at home. Why?
Yeah, and everyone was like, but I came out the ground. I was like, I don't know. I just felt buzzing because I thought like, and I'm not like this anymore. But I was like, it was a great game of football. We'd scored some great goals, and even though it was a little bit deflating, I didn't feel that way. I felt like we had a chance of winning it. Like,
And we competed with a big team.
That's
so
what I
it
mean.
was like-
So it always stays in my memory that as like being a game that I look back on with fondness. But I mean, the best moment I've had in the Champions League game was probably Evra's goal in Munich when I was there in Munich. But
nice.
the game was rubbish.
Yeah.
We had 20 seconds and then that was it.
Oh, yeah, I saw you there as well.
Yeah, I do remember.
That was when me and Jay were just new
Well
friends.
done,
We
Dean
were new
Henderson,
friends. Not like we are now. Bezzies.
Do you know when you talk about, as I think Baye's down flat out there?
Well,
Hopefully he's all right.
Hopefully he's like a head injury, so he's not like a groin. You get what I mean? Hopefully he's like just hurt his head.
Yeah.
Not badly.
Not like,
But do you know when you talk about goalkeepers come out and clear everything out? That's exactly what Dean Henderson did there.
He's got need in his face.
That's not the sort
That's not the sort of injury I
No.
wanted him to have.
Oh,
it's a
the
sore
back
one.
of the net. It's like back of the head there, isn't
And
it?
Dean
Obviously,
Henderson's
the
wearing
focus
tights.
is about Eric Bayer. But Dean Henderson, you don't see that from there, do you?
No. And again, it's not that.
I mean, we don't want De
We're
Gea
not trying to
knee
find
Eric Bailly in his
any
face.
reason why De Gea's
All
not
right,
very good.
that's a fair point. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, it's not like we're trying to find
No,
any
no,
reason
I'm not.
to suggest De Gea's not good.
No, I'm
but
not doing
De Gea's
that
always
thing.
had weaknesses, and you know we see Henderson.
All right.
Even Romero doesn't do that.
Right, we've got 30 seconds left to this half
Go on.
finish, so let's
Are
finish
the-
these
are the-
super chats. Did you answer your favourite Champions League game?
Yeah, Roma 7-1. Old Trafford.
I'd say
One of the
one that
Barca's
isn't them.
big.
The 3-3 was big. That one was big. Also, AC Milan 3-2 Rooney in the last minute was also up there.
Do you know what?
Scholes is
Inter 99.
Oh, 2-0.
Yes.
Beckham
Sorry.
sets up both.
Yes.
Yes.
Dwight York.
Diego Simeone, you fucking twat.
Yeah, I think I might change my mind about
Tim
that,
Jones has got one just for Jay. He says, who is your favourite Manchester-based sports journalist?
I'm quite fond of Manchester-based. I think Laurie Whitwell's doing a good job in the Athletic. I like what he's doing. He's got a lot of integrity and he's a good journalist. Manchester-based. I don't know.
Just
not
list,
many
just list
anymore,
all
is
the
there?
athletic ones.
Yeah,
Carl
because
Anker
but like Mitten's not Manchester based. I'm a big fan of Andy Mitten.
Yeah.
I like Daniel Taylor, but again, I don't know if he's Manchester based nowadays. I don't know if he is. But there's I know like we slag off the MEN and all that, but there is a lot of good journalists out there.
Yeah.
You just got to know who they are.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Bay's still down. by
Yeah,
the way.
he is.
If we follow through and sell in surplus, should we buy players to build the squad or just push players to push current starters to the bench, says S. Mackies. How do you think we should rebuild the squad?
I think we need some first team players that improve the first team immediately.
And
A
then
right wing,
subsequently
yeah.
improve
Right
the
wing.
bench.
Go on.
Right wing, defensive midfielder, centre back, right back, and then striker after that.
You've nailed it.
I would say.
Saka Maka.
Yeah.
Depending
I
on how
agree.
Martial finishes the season, striker might go further up on that list. But for now, I'm not too worried. But who knows?
Samuel says Falcao at Villa Park with an unhappy face. I remember that goal. That was a great goal. Ronan says you can sign any free players but can only swap them in for a player in the same position with the same first initial. That is a header.
Right, so you would say the same first initial.
Yeah, so if you took out Bailly, you could only get in Boateng. Or like,
Yeah.
Ben White. Eric's up, by the way. He looks like he's had a... I'm glad it's not like a muscle injury or an ankle injury. I hope he's not concussed because then that would mean he has to stay out for a certain amount of time, which would be a worry. But he's back on his feet, which is positive. Harry Maguire did seem to get up and, start to get ready. But not sure that we will see this one change. Sarr looking dangerous, buy him and loan them James. James looked dangerous as well. To be fair.
I mean, I we keep going about it, but I wanted us to get Sarr when it was obvious against Sancho. I think he's a useful player. I don't necessarily think you'd have to loan out James to do that. Oliver
Smith says, my favourite Champions League hat-trick is United versus Olympiacos Van Persie hat-trick. Sorry, I said hat-trick twice. Connor Smith says, Telesh's final product is better than Shaw's, much better than Shaw's, says Connor. Bailly looks like he's getting ready to go back onto the pitch, and we've got through all of those super chats.
Joe, you look a bit perturbed.
Is it worth bringing him back on? What's the point?
What's the
like?
point?
Is a player that's had injury problems in the past?
No, but it's not.
I know it's not a groin or
hang on a minute.
muscle
Hang on a
problem.
minute. This looks
He's offside.
dangerous. Is it?
I'm sure
Ball
he was
across.
offside.
McTominay covering well there for a Bailly who's off the pitch still. But why? If he's got a potential head injury and it's touch and go, obviously I don't know what he's like. McTominay again, who's played centre back a lot. Let's not forget.
Played there for Scotland.
Yeah, he plays there quite regularly. If it's
That was
even
one of them shots where I
remotely
couldn't tell where it was going.
touch and go, he seems we're not sure. Take him off. Don't risk it. Personally, Put McTominay in there and bring someone else on in midfield.
All you need to do is see this through to half time and look him over at half time.
Yeah, or do that. But yeah,
Oh, it's a corner. I didn't realise.
Isn't that hit off a Watford player though?
Oh, right.
It is a corner, but I thought it hit off the Watford player.
Scott McTominay looks 14 with his new haircut.
Maguire looks like he's going to come on. He is coming on.
No rest for him then.
For Eric Bailly. Yeah, no rest for Maguire.
Eric's down there standing.
Yeah, he's still stood there, but I think he's coming off.
I think they're doing what you were saying.
Probably
precautions.
Yeah.
Precautionary.
You know, it's not. It's more unfortunate for. Obviously, it's unfortunate for Bailly. You don't want him to be out, but in terms of the risk of him hitting his head again, because you know it's the first collision's bad enough, but when you're slightly concussed or you get hit a second time, that's when the real damage can happen. So
was it
no
Stamford Bridge with Vidic? Do you remember? He didn't know where he was and he wanted to carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like...
Half time, by the way.
Yeah, half time United 1, Watford 0. Harry Maguire's been great so far, hasn't he? What was it, 2 or 3 seconds he's played?
Man of the match.
Fantastic performance.
Captain's performance.
Well, you say captain's performance. McTominay, who is the captain tonight,
yes,
or was the captain until Maguire came on, scored the goal for United, then filled in for Eric Bailly at the back there for the last couple of minutes. How would you sum up United's performance?
Professional. Yeah, like lots of changes. We've looked the more dominant side. Watford are a good team. We know that Ismail Assar can be a handful, and he's shown that. But we've got an early goal, and we've looked by and large in control of the game. I think they've had a couple of... They had one decent chance, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then another half chance. So it's been a sort of like a professional performance. Not too excited, but I don't think there's much to moan about with that. I think second half, get a goal, so we're not back to the wall for 10 minutes, and then just sort of...
Because the last thing you want is that slow drift towards we're shitting ourselves.
Yeah,
and you can see you can't quite see it happening yet, but 60th minute goes by, it's 1-0, 70th, 80th, and then all of a sudden it's like...
Even against Championship teams, I won't trust them to keep clean sheet, United.
Watford have been a Premier League team very recently and for a substantial amount of time in recent years. They're as good as some Premier League teams.
You mentioned there we were linked with Andre Gray. Been linked with Sarr.
About 2 hours on deadline day.
But we've been linked with Sarr, we've been linked with Gray. So these are players that have obviously got something about him, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Andre Gray, if I'm being brutally honest.
No, neither am I.
But they're not like a bunch of players that you think, oh, who the hell are these?
No, we're not playing against a conference team.
No.
This is a championship team.
It's a Premier League team.
Well, exactly. So
it's a Premier League team, isn't it? Really, they've just gone down. They'll be expected to go straight back up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I wouldn't be anything other than nervous with 10 minutes to go, because we've seen that they can create chances
and you know
half chances mostly, but still.
Liam says great. We were great for 15 minutes, but the passing and moving has fallen apart.
Yeah.
It's a fair comment, that, to be honest with you. We did look in control of the game, and I think there has been a little bit of some sloppiness, I think would be the term. But again, nothing to get too sort of hung up about. Just hope that we can get an update on Eric Bailly. He's all right. It looks all right.
At least he was standing up.
Yeah.
And he was like, it looked like he was saying, let me go back on. And they were maybe saying, well, we got a big game next week. Let's just get you off.
Do you think he'll play in either or both of the Burnley and Liverpool matches next week?
I'd assume he played today because we were going to play him against Liverpool. Maybe.
I hope you're right.
So we don't play him against Burnley, play him against Liverpool.
Yeah. I'd rather see him start against Liverpool, to be honest with you. Anyway, I think we're going to go over to Stephen Howson and that boy Ronaldo Brown for all the half-time analysis.
Hit that like button.
Hey, you enjoyed that first half, didn't you?
How did you enjoy it?
Not as much as I. Joe, what? As I was sitting there looking at you, I was thinking, no one's enjoying this half. Why are you sitting there
looking at me, looking at you, looking at me?
Because I couldn't see the fucking game, lad. That's why.
We've had an absolute nightmare up there, innit?
Yep.
How much of the game have you seen?
More than enough to give detailed expert analysis. That's all you lot need to know. For me, Donny van der Beek is silky. Do you think he's going to see the game out, or is he going to get the usual hook after an hour?
I think we need to start getting a thread together of things more likely to happen than Donny van der Beek getting 90 minutes. We can go you can go as extreme and as extraordinary as you want.
Donald Trump get his Twitter account back.
Well then. No, he's been good though. He's been silky, he's been smooth.
You lads let us know in the comments. What do you think? Donny van der Beek, does he look sharp? Does he look decent? What's your thoughts? For me, I don't think Mason's in this game enough.
No, I don't think he has been. I've not seen much of him, to be honest. Have you?
Nope. I think Brandon probably needs to... I think attacking-wise, on the ball, I think Brandon's been a bit anonymous. I think Dan James has been a bit anonymous. I think there's too many. Do you know what it might be? Too many rusty
Dan James,
performances.
from what I've seen, has been very wasteful. His ball retention's been awful. He's not been dangerous whatsoever. I think Greenwood can be better with his positioning at times. I think he's drifted off to wide areas a bit too often.
Is that a symptom of playing so much in wide areas?
I thought he was going to say COVID.
Is that a symptom of playing so much in wide areas that when you do ask a guy to play as a 9, but maybe that's something that they are going to work on in training as they get time. Because I'll be real, there's probably nothing going on in training at the moment apart from recovery and tactics. There's no one working on anything at the minute. There's a game every half an hour by the looks of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. That is true. It's been a very, very clustered. But we did expect it though going into the season. It is a condensed season, but it's been mad. People are saying Donny's been decent. I think Donny looks to be the main shining light of that game so far.
Why does people think any comment that you have has to be an agenda? Someone's like, the Dan James agenda on this channel's a joke. Are you seeing something different?
It's because...
Cal, just make them a bit smaller because I can't see them. They're too fast for us.
I can't see them. The comments are going a bit too fast.
No, that's just done nothing. Thank you.
Someone's...
Yeah, zoom out.
Garchomp, is that how you say it? 07 says Mason ain't a striker. His physicality isn't there yet.
Oh no, he's still a teenager. He's still a teenager playing against a championship defence. Obviously, it's difficult. A couple of people saying Dan James wasteful. Igalo, maybe that. What do you think, Igalo?
Igalo for the hold-up for that he brings. He brings the physicality, but
it's a rare
and the fact that he's played for Watford.
Yeah, I thought
he was
always
the omen of playing against someone that you played for.
Yeah, I reckon you bring Igalo on, but I'd be very surprised if he brings him on at half time. It's more of on a 60th minute sort of game, innit, to bring him on.
Yeah. How do you think it's going to end though? What are your predictions for the second half?
I think United
if we do get to actually see a bit of the game.
Obviously, we scored from a set piece, which is nice for us to see. What I wouldn't mind seeing is a little bit more confidence from United, and I understand it's a rotated side, but just a little bit more confidence. You're playing against a side that's well below you. You're playing with, okay, it is rotated, but there's still some players in there. There's still some talent. There's still some ability. Even Juan Mata, there's ability there. I won't mind seeing us play like that a little bit more. Get a second. Maybe that's what we need to relax a little bit. The big talking point, I think, from the first half is Eric Bailly. Because if we don't have Eric Bailly for Liverpool, I'm going to be honest, I'm worried.
It's every time he goes down, it's a massive shock to the system, man. It's like you almost expect it to be worse than it is when it's Eric Bailly. With a normal concussion, you're not sure pretty much how long someone will be out for, but with him, he just seems like you never know how long it might be. And it's just, you got to feel for him. You can't get a run of games together. I don't know if he's made of glass or he's just unlucky. Yeah. But with how he's been performing lately, he's been solid, he's been strong. He's looked like one of our better. He looks like one of our. When he's on song and he's on form, he's probably our best centre half.
Darren in the comments there saying Haaland at 19, miles ahead as a striker. It's almost like some people mature at different
What do we
ages.
see about Haaland's statistics that we looked at?
He's a freak.
Absolute freak.
He's a freak.
Can't compare him to him.
He's a physical freak and he's a freak. Do you see Lewandowski this weekend got to 20 goals in 14 games? His expected goals is only about 13 as well, which is bananas because 2 seasons ago, the 2019 season...
It depends how much of a fan of you of XG.
Well, XG can tell you the quality, no, not quality, but the probability of a chance. The fact that he's got 20.
Because what I don't like about XG is how you've explained it to me is the XG will be the same chance for no matter the player.
Yeah. But you've also got to think, how often does De Gea go with a keeper one-on-one? The people who have the most shots are strikers. So it's still weighted to strikers.
I don't know. I still think it's flawed. But it is very flawed.
But players who outperform their XG are therefore good players, and players that are underperforming their XG are underperforming.
But then you're basing that off something that's flawed.
Not necessarily, no, because you can't take. There's not one stat you can take on its own. But for a striker and for an elite striker, when you're supposed to have scored 13 in 14 games, but you've scored 20. There's no negative.
It's like
to be had there. You go.
It's like
Jesus,
comparing strikers off conversion rate, off shots attempted that go in. But if someone's is that the argument for XG? Because if someone's taken the majority of their shots from areas where players predominantly don't score,
Mason's a great
it's going to
example.
affect your conversion rate.
Mason had he scored some 3 and 4% chances and 6% chances. Massively outperformed his XG early doors because he shoots from weird areas and he shoots from weird angles. That's what Mason Greenwood's all about. A couple of seasons ago, 2019, Lewandowski got 22 goals, but he had an XG of like 35. He massively underperformed his XG. So you can't, I don't like when people use it as a predictor. You can use it as a reflective to look at what happened. I don't think you can use it as a predictor, and I certainly don't think you can use it for expected points, because that's really getting into some sort of mad sort of predictions. But Lewandowski, a couple of seasons ago, massively underperformed his XG. Lewandowski, best striker in the world. Can't remember why we're talking about Lewandowski. Oh, it was Haaland, wasn't it? Haaland's outperforming his XG at the moment. You know, the physicality is a massive part of it. Thought you'd be the first to pick up on Lingard encampment behind James. He isn't helping stretch the play. No, I mean, I'm not sure where he thinks he's playing. If he's on the right, he ain't playing there. Sorry, I wasn't reading them comments that you just decided to fuck us off. All right, well, maybe I was reading something else. Doesn't really work for individual chances.
No,
I disagree on that. I think it does. Donny won't get hooked because of Eric going off, otherwise he probably subbed on the hour. Axel, Donny, James all have to be on it today. Have all be on it today. I don't understand what that means. Mason looks frustrated. You know, it's also just who we're playing against a little bit to an extent, isn't it? Yeah, do you know what? A couple of people mentioned it. I think McTominay's having a decent performance out there as captain.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, from what
we've seen, he's been solid. He looks like it fits him well, doesn't it, the armband? It does suit him a little bit. Not everyone it suits, but I think McTominay, he's got a skipper look to him. And that's not because people call him a passion merchant, which I don't think is a bad thing. People use that as a bit of a negative.
They do.
A negative description.
They're trying to say you've got no technical ability. Craig says, feel like Ollie made the right change, putting Maguire on rather than bringing McSauce to centre-back. He's looking good going forward. Yeah. Maybe didn't want to time down with more defensive duties. I think he's having a decent enough game. Dean Henderson been brilliant. Keeps a clean sheet. That's all he's there to do. And that's the one in it. People say Matter. I don't know. No context, just saying Matter. Who's going to be the front three versus the Scousers? Well, we've got to deal with Burnley before we even get close to that. So let's deal with Burnley first. Rico, after being linked to start,
can't be looking past Burnley.
What have you thought of him so far tonight? I think he'd have been a decent signing. Would he have been more or less than...
Yeah, Sarr's probably been their most dangerous.
Than Traore. That's the question, isn't it? Because if he was cheaper, then maybe he would have been a better option. If he wasn't, then maybe not. Why are you showing me comments I've already read out? See what it was. Why would Eric have not played against City and give him tonight off? I don't understand what that means. We're not using the right side because no one is a natural right winger in this team. It's not about necessarily being a natural right winger. It's about going holding the position that you've had on there.
Sick of people asking me if I'm high.
Well, stop sitting there looking high.
Should I debunk that straight away?
You can if you want.
I've never been high in my life.
Ronaldo don't do drugs. This is all him.
Especially when you've...
How mad's that?
No, it's not mad. Especially when you're commenting on a game you haven't really seen.
It's not necessarily that. Some of your behaviour definitely gives off a vibe. It's one of those.
I'm not gonna connotate why people might think that is, but that's go for another day. I'm not going to speculate at all.
It's because of some of the absolute wild shit you come out with. You are the biggest stoner that doesn't get stoned that I've ever come across.
And they won't even have seen most of that, would they?
No, because it's in here. You're just talking absolute wibble. Abhijit says, VDB looking sharp. How would you include him in the usual starting 11? I think people have to almost forget starting 11, the same 11 week in, week out. It's not a normal thing. Yeah. I wouldn't say a journeyman striker gets closer to the average. Good strikers are
but I said it to you, for example, Lindelof going on 1v1 in the exact same area that Rashford is, it's got the same XG, right?
Yeah, but you've also got to say, what's the probability of Lindelof being there? Is it 1 out of 100? Then if it is, then it doesn't skew the maths, because it's a rarity in itself. Is Baye injured? Well, we subbed him. So, I mean, obviously, if the commentary team has had any sort of analysis on that or any sort of insight on that, we've not heard it because we've been talking to you lot and we haven't got any audio in here to be able to tell you what went down or didn't go down. So, no, it's one of them, innit?
It's
right.
one of them, but
it looks like the teams are coming out. We're going to go and try and watch more of the second half than we did of the first half. But back to them lot.
Right, we're back. We are back for the second half. First half, United pretty good. Like you said, Jay, professional would be the word, wouldn't it?
I know it's not the most exciting thing to say about a performance, professional performance, but I just don't want any dramas from this game, and I still don't want any drama. Just get the job done, go through to the next round, beat a team you should be beating at Old Trafford, and move on.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
But let's be honest, it's the third round of the FA Cup. We're playing against a bit of a banana skin of a team, not just because they're wearing a yellow kit, but also because they're, like you said, Adam, they're basically a Premier League team.
Aren't they wearing a white kit today?
Well, Watford wear a yellow kit, don't they?
You know what the scary thing is about that? When he said bananas yellow, I didn't even clock that.
Bananas are white, by the way.
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
I don't
Did you
even
that? Did you that?
They can be green, but I don't buy them green.
It's weird, isn't it? That
At my time in life, it's just overly ambitious.
The colour of a banana, as you think of, is overwhelmingly yellow, but the fruit itself is white. If someone said...
That's because you don't buy a skinless banana, you don't.
No, but still, though, interesting. Very
It is
interesting.
interesting. Write that down.
Very good. Well, it's coconut. What colour do you think? White. You don't think brown? Interesting. Very
That's
interesting.
because you can get green and brown coconuts.
Yeah, you can get different colour bananas.
I
Brown,
got
yellow,
a
green,
lovely
all
bunch
sorts.
of coconuts.
Jesse, edge of the box.
There they are, standing in the road.
We need to get this into the next goal, don't we? For this game to go from being professional to comfortable, we need to get the next goal.
We do. You're right, because like you say, we don't want any dramas. What is it? Extra time in it as well?
Extra time and penalties.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want that, do we?
No. We saw Burnley go to extra time against MK Dons before. Just about scruff through.
Do you know what I was reading before?
Pertinent, to obviously we play Burnley in midweek. I kind of wanted them to lose because just to knock a bit of the stuffing out of them. Playing the extra 30 minutes, losing to a League One team, they didn't. They managed to come through. Do you think that'll change much of their chances against United, that little boost of winning, or do you think the fact that they actually got taken pretty far against MK Dons?
Someone just commented saying bananas can also be blue.
Blue bananas?
That's lies, right?
Maybe if you like stop
blue?
the circulation going
I've
to
never seen a blue banana.
Use like carry on?
I don't know. I wouldn't like to say.
Let me get down this.
It's news to me if there are.
Hole.
Blue nanas.
Looking at that.
No, I've never
Find out.
Accidentally googled blue waffle.
Did you? Blueberries on waffles is really nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had that.
Oh, there are blue bananas.
Wow.
Oh, shot for Watford. Edge of the box. Well over. Let's have a look then. If you cut to Adam's camera there, just show that.
Adam, share that.
Turn your brightness down. So we play. Brightness down. Look at that.
Blue.
Has that not got a filter on it? That's mad.
That's crazy.
Weird, isn't it?
I wonder if the flesh, the meat, if you will, is also blue, or do you think that's
Peeled
still white?
blue Java banana.
Blue Java.
Wowzers.
Peeled blue Java.
Looks like sweets, doesn't it? There aren't many things in nature that are blue, by the way. They're very interesting.
Blue
We've talked about
balls.
this. We've talked about this on the Watchalong before.
Have we?
How a lot of cultures didn't have a word for blue until very recently because there's so
Really?
few things that are blue. Yeah.
That's mad.
Like water isn't really blue, is it? Because when you have
a
a little bit of
water is,
water
but
in your
yeah.
hand, it's clear.
Yeah.
Only large bodies of water are blue.
So why does the colour change?
What?
Very good
Because it gets
question, that.
amplified by
What?
It's like having a drop of Coca-Cola. It's sort of like murky in it, and when you have a glass of it, brune.
I'm always impressed by the way we can have stoner conversations without being stoned.
With just one stoner.
Yeah, yeah. It's enough for all three of us, though.
United passing the ball about nicely.
Do you know what I saw?
That final
earlier
pass hasn't
today?
really been there, has it?
Sorry, can I
Go on.
just tell you this story? Well, it's not much story. It's more just a
Tell us your big story.
anecdote.
This is a special feature we've been building up to. Obviously, it's the 48th minute now, the 49th minute.
Yeah.
And Jay's said to me, texted me, said, right,
Andy James has hit a shot
I've
at
got a
the
big
keeper.
story.
Yeah.
Can we do a feature called Jay's Big Story? So this is Jay's Big Story.
I saw a tweet from Alan Tong earlier from the programme from today, the match programme, and it spoke about players making a debut against Port Vale in the League Cup.
Like Paul Scholes.
Yes, good lad, knowledge, never let me down. And what fascinated me about it was, we won. He'd rested a few players, Fergie. After the game on Monday, the local MP for the Port Vale area, which is like the Stoke area, I think, raised the question in Parliament about it, saying how it was against trading standards because fans had bought a ticket to watch Andre Kanchelskis and Eric Cantona and ended up watching David Beckham and Paul Scholes, whoever they are. And
Jay's Big Story.
Yeah, so I found that
That's a
fascinating.
good story.
Yeah, I found it
But
fascinating.
There used to be a lot more of that, didn't there?
Yeah,
Where it was
like-
like, you used to get punished for not playing your best
Yeah,
team and stuff.
like raising it in Parliament, like in the House of
How
Commons,
incredible.
like something needs to be done.
They won.
I don't think the Prime Minister at the time. I don't know who it was.
I've
probably
just
John Major.
googled a mad match. So this is a match that my dad took me to.
Go on.
In 1999, Worthington Cup. We lost 3-0 against Villa at Villa Park.
The Worthington Cup, for people who don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, is the League Cup.
The League Cup.
Mark Bosnich was in goal, and this was the team.
Go on. I love this.
I came from school to watch this shit. Mark Bosnich in goal.
Good player.
John
Hey.
Curtis.
Hey.
Cruyff.
Hey.
Cruyff.
Solskjaer.
Hey.
Clegg.
Mickey Clegg.
Higginbottom.
Hey.
Ronnie Woolwork.
Yeah.
Jonathan Greening.
Yeah.
John O'Shea, who made his debut.
Really?
Luke Chadwick.
John O'Shea made his debut in
and
99.
Twiss.
Michael Twiss.
Michael Twiss.
Wow.
I've never heard that name.
Do you know how I know
You've
Michael
never heard
Twiss?
Twiss?
No.
My-
You know,
I know all the
do
rest
you know
of
who
them.
Chris Casper is?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
He always impressed me when he said Michael Twiss because the only reason I remember Michael Twiss was he was mates with my mate's brother.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember him once he was in the Man United magazine. I remember when I was at my mate's house, Woods's house. He went, he plays for United. His name's Michael Twiss. And then once in the United magazine, he was in there. So I've always remembered him.
The
I
goal
remember
scorers were
remember
Julian Jolchim, Ian Taylor, and Steve Stone.
Ian Taylor was underrated, mate.
Mm-hmm.
He was quality, Ian Taylor. I mean, that's Fergie just faxing in a team, innit?
Did we win?
That's we
We
got beat
lost
3-0.
3-0.
3-0. Jill, the goal
Said that.
the
I
goal
also
scorers were
almost-
Julian
Yeah.
Jolchim, Ian Taylor.
I'm actually sorry.
and someone
Sorry
else
for
who
being
I've forgotten.
distracted. I'm actually watching the match
I
that's happening
also-
now.
Get a grip of your life,
Stupid me,
eh?
We also lost in the Coca-Cola Cup in 95-96.
For those who don't know, the Coca-Cola Cup
Is the League Cup.
Yep.
Also known as the Rumbelows.
And we lost
anyone who's over
3-0
40.
against York City.
This
and
is the
I
one.
felt like the world had ended, bro.
What year, sorry?
How old are you? How old are
95?
you?
6-7.
It's weird because like, I was saying this the other day. I think I spoke to you after the game. Do you remember when we played Derby and we got beat off penalties?
And your
My daughter was crying.
How old is she?
About 8 at the time.
And I was going, Jay, get her on fucking
Like it was like, tell us, doing a peaky pundit. Come on, let it all out, Lils. Come on. You're probably never going to see him win again. Come on, keep crying.
pinching
Yeah,
her.
pinching her. But yeah, because I was like, I'd almost forgotten about the game. I was like, what's up with it? Oh yeah, we lost.
Kulian recording says he played against Twiss once for
Really?
Chorley.
Oh
Nice.
mate, that's quality.
And Ian Crompton in
Chorley
the
today,
comments
by the
says,
way.
Love the mention for Alan Tong. He was one of my tutors at Nichols College.
Good
in
lad, Alan
Ardwick.
Tong, great guy.
Yeah, shout out Chorley FM. I mean Chorley FC.
About to say, coming in your ears.
Coming in your ears, coming in the cup. They're coming everywhere into the fourth
Dan
round.
James he's been a handful, hasn't he, Dan James? Sorry to be
Yeah.
boring and get back to the game, but he's had a decent.
You know, I find
game.
a handful is often a phrase you use when someone's been crap,
All right,
but
then.
they've worked hard.
Okay.
I feel like if someone said to
I
me
repeat,
after a
he's
game,
been a
He's
handful.
been a handful,
you,
yeah.
you were a handful today, I'd be like,
I don't think it's crap.
so you're struggling to find anything
No.
I've actually been good at.
If I played against you and he's been an handful, I think I've had a rough afternoon of it. Like it's not been.
Which players would you describe as throughout their career a handful?
Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney,
Yeah,
Duncan Ferguson.
100%.
Well, what a handful! Maybe two hands full.
I was looking.
Maybe
like,
two hands
yeah.
full. Duncan Ferguson.
Maybe a fist in your face full.
Exactly.
You-
Hassan Karma, the super chat says, Hope Bay's back for LFC. He improves us so much. Yeah.
I
Who
agree.
would you think was a handful?
So I said Deeney. You said Ferguson. We're going down this sort of route, aren't we? The physical route. Who'd
I'm
you
thinking
say?
people who really backed into their
Yeah.
defender.
Like
Yeah,
someone like I'm trying to think.
come on.
You know what? I don't know if it's just a hat trick and he's not physically a handful, but he's not very good and he's a dirt cow. I always felt he was a nuisance. A nuisance is
That's
another
different.
word.
That's
a nuisance.
That's a handful, but you're not physically quite
Yeah,
strong.
yeah.
A nuisance is
Usually
someone.
quite
So Daniel
skillful
James
and
is a
kick.
nuisance.
Daniel James is a nuisance.
Yes. So that's the difference between a Troy Deeney and a Daniel James.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
someone like Deeney's a handful.
Okay,
someone like
okay,
James
got
is a
that.
nuisance.
Diego Costa, handful.
Handful.
Yeah, real handful.
This should be a segment.
See, someone's brought
handful
Roy
of
Keane
nuisance.
into it.
nuisance.
See, Roy Keane, you
No.
can describe his quality. So
Yeah.
he'd never
Yeah.
fall in. Like,
He's-
handful is for people like Fellaini.
Yeah.
What a handful.
Yeah.
Handful, because that's the thing. Handful is like, bloody hell, I've got my hands full here. A nuisance is like,
That's
a
what I
wasp.
mean.
Like,
That's what I mean.
nuisance, get out of the way.
I would you rather play against the nuisance or a handful?
Craig
Personally,
Bellamy,
yeah.
someone said.
What a nuisance. What a nuisance. What a nuisance, Craig.
I don't know,
watched that game when
I
we
think
beat
I
them
think
4-3
he falls
the
into
other day.
both.
He might be. He's one of the few that straddles the line
He's
of handful
quick
and
as well,
nuisance.
and he's quite physical.
Yeah.
I watched the game where we beat them 4-3.
Right.
Gone.
Out of what?
I think it's gone.
Right.
Back up.
We're back.
Back up. Sorry if you lost us for a second there. The excitement of that Craig Bellamy story broke the internet.
Craig Bellamy basically threatening one of your mates. Offering him out, as they
Offering
say.
him out. Well, they deserved it. You're gonna give. I'm not going to give him football shit when you see him in the.
Not in the streets. Weird.
Yeah.
It's like
at the game. Yeah, of course.
it's why I find, you know, like when people get angry, like they start atting Manchester United.
Yeah.
He was shit today. At him. Like, first of all, why are you atting him? But second of all, like, I don't get personal with you because if you see your own, if I see Dan James,
Oh, that's a dangerous cross.
or I
He
see
did well
someone
to
like
get his
that,
header off there, the lad.
they're living my dream, bro.
Yeah.
I want them to win.
Yeah.
I want them to be successful. I want them to succeed. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
It is. I'm not into that trolling your own players and all. And also, like when the club do an announcement and everyone's like, "Oh, you know, it's the anniversary of something." Oh, when we're betting Sancho. Come on.
Sorry to tread old ground, but maybe the ultimate crosser of handful and nuisance, Luis Suarez. He'll get
but he was
stuck
quality
right
as
in.
well.
He will, but
Yeah.
he's almost the exception that proves the
Yeah.
rule. He was quality, but my word, what a handful and what a nuisance.
Someone said Joe Jordan. I can only remember him when he managed assistant managed Portsmouth, and they played Milan or something.
No, Spurs, wasn't it? Yeah, and Gattuso.
Yeah, it was.
went for him.
They were like almost fought each other.
Joe Jordan's a nutter, bro.
Yeah.
He was like 60.
He used to play for United.
Gattuso was
No,
30.
played for
safe,
United,
innit?
didn't he?
Yeah, he came
Bro.
from. I think he came from Leeds.
He's on stuff, you know, Joe Jordan.
like,
Bro,
but like,
Joe
allegedly.
Jordan was on stuff. Nah, not on stuff as in stuff. I'm on about on it. He's
Right.
wanting to
Okay,
punch
okay,
you up
fair
right
enough.
now.
you know,
this
like
year.
in the late '70s, like all football was just rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
You
knock your
stood-
teeth out.
Yeah,
you cunt.
like
That-
elbowing in the face was
Leeds.
just like allowed.
Leeds
Like,
era.
yeah. He played for that team and then came to United, and he stood out in that era as being someone who's particularly rough.
Particularly
Like, have you
Like
seen the
bastard,
law,
yeah.
man?
Yeah,
Have you used that Arsenal player? Ugly looking fella.
you got to narrow it
And
down.
he
for
moved
me.
to United after a bit. Ian Ayres, no.
It's not Stuart Houston, is it? He went.
But
to,
he had a scrap with Dennis Law in
It might be
one
Ian
game.
Yeah.
And then he come to United after
Yeah,
like a season when we were
I
shit.
know- oh, I can't remember.
But he's a
I know,
proper
yeah.
wrong-un looking.
Yeah.
Like, but you could tell
Yeah.
him like he's a wanker.
Yeah.
You know, on the pitch, like he's a wanker. S. Mackey says first United player of the Premier era that you'd stick into a Premier League Hall of Fame.
First United player of the Premier League
Ryan Robson.
era.
It won't be,
You
it
don't
won't be
go
in a
into
Premier League Hall of Fame,
no.
but in terms of Hall of Fame,
It's a good shout, Robbo, but first United player of the Premier League era.
maybe Cantona, but it's too easy, really, isn't it? But
But it would
who
be.
was there in '92 though? Bruce, was he there?
Yeah.
Maybe Steve Bruce, because he was there before.
Or does
Cantona.
it go to the manager?
Maybe, but you don't. Yeah.
That 92 team, 92 to
Giggs.
94, that team was one of my
Giggs.
favourites. 93-94 season. Yeah, Giggs is an obvious one. It's
Is it
difficult
Giggs?
because, like...
Was Irwin there then?
Yeah, Irwin.
He'd be up there.
You remember
No,
the song?
but
Remember the
bruv-
Go Through the Status Quo song?
Irwin isn't like this is the question. The first Manchester United player to go to
Cantona
the Premier
then.
League Hall of Fame.
Cantona.
So you can't go. I love Dennis Irwin.
Oh, I thought you
Dennis-
meant. Sorry, I
Sorry,
thought
yeah,
you meant
yeah, I was-
the player who played for United first.
Oh, sorry,
that will
no, no,
end
no,
up
no.
there. Oh, first
So
United
the
player, Giggs,
first.
definitely Giggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cantona's a shout though as well.
Cantona's a shout, but I mean, I think the first three players that will go in, whether they should or not, is Giggs, Henry, Cantona. I think they will probably be the
Cantona.
No, I don't
Cantona's
think
criminally overlooked
I
by
don't think Canada
Cockneys.
will. I think Shearer will go in because of the
Fuck them
goals.
pussies. You know them like
Yeah, you
they
know
try and
that.
put
I
Ian
don't
Wright
agree with
above
that.
Andy
Obviously,
Cole.
I don't.
Like all these men above
mate,
Cantona, bro.
Did you see that? Did
Certain
you see
man
that?
that wouldn't even jump on a plane above Cantona, bro. Are
Shut
you
up.
mad?
That was disgraceful that when I saw that when they having that debate and it was Andy Cole in the top 10 until Ian Wright dropped out.
Dickheads, bro.
Top 10
And
strikers, by the way.
Not
just top 10 players.
Ian Wright. Ian Wright's amazing and I love him. And I used to spend like 8 o'clock on a Monday morning speaking to him on his podcast, which was surreal. But like, because everybody loves him, he's not ahead of Andy Cole, bro. Andy Cole's doing it in Europe against the best defenses in the fucking world, bro.
Andy Cole was scoring 40 goals a season at the same age Ian Wright was still working on a building site or whatever. So let's not get it twisted. Ian Wright was a great player. He was, but he wasn't as good as Andy Cole.
Ben Tatton with the super chat says Peter Crouch, handful, nuisance, or neither, or both.
Just about a handful, but not. Again, he's almost the other way, isn't he? Where he's physically massive, but he's not that imposing.
No,
you compare him to someone who's Drogba, who is a real handful. There's no.
Do you think a handful, like with Drogba, do you think if you're at a certain level that you're very good, like you're better than a handful?
Yeah, probably.
Like Drogba's that good.
Yeah,
I'd put him past a handful. For me, a handful is a limited player.
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
a handful is Adi Akinbaye.
Yeah, someone like that who's not.
A handful is someone who's going to be stepping on your toes at corners, elbowing you whenever they can, pinching you when they're grabbing you. You know, all that sort of stuff.
For fans of a certain era, like Mick Hartford, who we nearly signed when I was a kid, was like that type of player. He was a big bruiser. I'm sorry to do it.
All right,
a big bruiser.
Mick Hartford.
Mick Hartford, you can set your watch to him.
Owen says, I think that's Owen, isn't it? E-O-G-A-H-M.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Irish, should know that. Jay, plug the podcast more. It's top notch again. I think he means Scotty and Marty.
Yeah, Scotty and Marty. We did a late night one last night.
I watched it.
Good lad.
Not all of it, but I watched some of it.
It's all right.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, not all of it.
Yeah.
And I copied on it. I commented on it.
Did you?
Yeah,
good lad.
I'm like that.
It's nice.
I played the game.
Maguire defending nicely there.
Yeah, man. Scotty and Marty, we talk about all things like news and politics and just not usually football stuff because, you know, it's nice
so
to
if you
talk
go
about
over
other
to
things.
Scotty and Matty, don't shout at Jay for not talking about football.
Yeah.
Usman says, overall thoughts on Ollie's project. Personally think he's doing great under this board. One of the most likeable squads since Fergie. Love the channel, boys.
I love that comment.
You.
I agree with everything
I
he
love the
said.
comment, and I think it's an underrated element of football. Like, you can boil it down to trophies if you want, but let's stir in a bit of what it's actually like watching Manchester United. It's enjoyable to watch us. You expect us to score goals. We're exciting to watch. We have good, likeable players. The experience of being a Manchester United fan is so much better than it's been in years. He's doing really well.
You think about that. Sorry, no, go on, Mako.
I was going to say, I still think there's a little bit of that lingering hatred and annoyance that everyone has, so that it creeps back after a bad result with noise or a bad performance. People are just looking for something to say why we've been shit for 7 years when it's maybe not that.
I agree with that. But I think, going back to what Joe was touching on, you know, some of my sort of fondest memories or best memories post-Fergie have been in the last sort of 18 months.
Oh, watch the goal, man.
Lucky.
Is that James?
Dan James running through the middle and the goal came out cleared it well.
This would have been a good game to play Marshall in, you know. We would have held the ball up at the top end a little bit more. Because if you look at James, Lingard, Greenwood, none of them really
doesn't stick to any of them, does it?
They can't hold the ball up, do you know what I mean?
And
So
I
it's
think I
coming
would have
back.
played Marshall as well. Chance to get a goal. I don't think he doesn't seem like he's overly tired to me either. He's had
missed a lot of
quite a
football
lot
at
of
the
games
start.
off with fitness and suspension. So yeah, I'd have played him.
Sir K. Jono says, what's the best individual performance from a player against United at a game you've been to? I'll go first, R9.
I know what you're going to say.
You've been to that one?
Do you know
R9
what? It's hard to argue with that one. It was.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. I was in Malia, funnily enough. I watched it.
Go on, lads.
I
watched it behind
on the
18
telly.
pints.
Yeah,
That's what you watched it
gutted. I wasn't applauding when he went off.
Well, you were, but you were applauding someone else, weren't you?
Yeah,
go on, lads.
Come on, Barcelona, well done. That is an amazing performance. I don't know.
It's hard to think because unless it is one of those real standout performances like where he got a standing ovation,
Brad Friedel.
you don't really think of like
Ewood Park.
Maybe a goal.
You know what? There's been some amazing goalkeeping performances against us. Brad Friedel had an absolute world.
Tom Heaton.
Tom Heaton. I mean, that sounds daft, but service like save after
Yeah.
save after save, where you're just getting absolutely frustrated. But you're right on R9. You could maybe look at that Barcelona team in the noise. Maybe like Xavi and Iniesta tore us a new one, didn't they? A couple of times. But no, I'm with you. I know what. I'll just keep copying people, but the R9 one is the obvious one.
Okay,
And
goal then. Best goal you've seen against us at Old Trafford.
What, in the ground?
Yeah, Dean Ashton I'd go for West Ham.
Oh, the overhead kick.
The overhead kick.
Oh, what a goal that was.
Benteke.
Great goal.
For the Scousers on
wasn't
Martial's
that when
debut.
Martial scored?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what as well?
Oh, I tell you what. Go on, sorry, go on.
I always blamed Tomo for that, my mate, because he was giving Benteke a load of grief. And he was like, and maybe I shouldn't say this because it might be taken the wrong way, but he's just like, you're just a shit MLS guy. And then a minute later, Benteke did that. And I was like, you've done that because you've been giving him grief to show you how good he is.
Emil Heskey, by the way, underrated player.
Yeah, very really underrated.
Honestly,
I don't know.
Disrespected as well.
I don't know.
Really disrespected.
Do you think he is? I mean, yeah, all right.
I'm not.
Do you know what? Because I'll give you that. Because you know what annoys me? This is this new trait, right? I've seen it today. Like I seen a picture once of Ruud van Nistelrooy collecting his Player of the Year trophy, and someone put criminally underrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he's not though, is he? Like he's literally getting the
Heskey
award for being the best player in the world.
If you remember Heskey at Leicester,
yeah, right, okay.
and then how highly rated he was then. Remember this Heskey. That Heskey was a guy, bro.
He was a lot of money that game.
Yeah, he was very good, and then he kind of his role changed. Like, bro, Firmino now. He's doing the Heskey role.
You got to understand. Though,
lies or lies? It's not lies.
Once a player goes to Liverpool, I cease to be objective about them whatsoever and just hate them.
Here we go.
Well, Heskey's one of those players that was a good player, a decent player, who was made out to be shit.
Yeah.
He like and again
because of his numbers.
Yeah, and people used to call him a donkey, and he was like slagged off so much. When he was a decent player, he was made out to be like the worst player that's ever played for England.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Keenowable with a super chat says Arjun Reiki from the under-18s and the Aston Villa boys were great yesterday. Think that they hadn't played together for almost 2 months. Hoping United take advantage of Liverpool's poor confidence. Shout out Arjun Reiki.
They've won very few games recently.
Sorry?
Liverpool have won very few games recently. I think it's three wins in their last 7 games.
How could I forget that one? Because I was at the game. Kaka at Old Trafford.
Oh, do you know what though, right?
He made Hines and Evra run into each other, bro.
Jay. Yeah. We won that game. Say it, because I've always wanted to say this.
Because yes, he played well, but we were a makeshift team.
Yeah.
Like we were missing. Was it Rio and Vidic both out? I think. Yeah. And it was like
Evra and Hines played. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kaka played well, obviously, but you have to take into account the fact that we had 2 of the greatest defenders in the history of football missing from that game. Do you know what I mean?
And that goal he scored was down to the mistake.
Yeah.
They ran into each other and gave him
made them.
Yeah, your dreams come true, Maka. Well, your dream. Sorry, that's a bit of
my dream was to see Rashford get arrested.
you wish. I should have said not your dream.
Your other dream.
You've always dreamt of seeing Anthony Martial play against Watford.
Yeah, I mean, he scored the greatest goal I've ever seen at Old Trafford against
Watford. Those are my favourite fan cams. With you refusing to listen to what anyone's got to say and just saying, "What about Martial's goal?"
People that sit next to me, I stood on my chair like this.
I love that. Though.
I couldn't believe the goal.
What's the point in watching football? You know when he sort of like turned and
changed his shape and then dinked the keeper. That
last season,
best goal I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've seen
Maka on the fan cam.
I thought that was after lockdown. That one.
No, we were there.
He was in a crowd full of me.
Every time he did a fan cam afterwards, he started asking him a question and just interrupted him.
Man, I saw the goal of the season and they'd go, we weren't that good today. I was like, bruv, you see the goal. Oliver Smith says there was a player for Chorley FC called Keel O'Brien who went to Bury but got injured. He would have been better than Harry Maguire, apparently. Go on.
That goal, I would say, I think it really is a great goal because it's so unique. Like, no offense to Heung-min Son, who won Puskas Goal of the Year, great goal. How many times have you seen a player run with the ball the whole length of the pitch and put it in? Like, I've never seen anyone do that. And the same with one that always stands out is Van Persie, the header against Spain. If you saw a silhouette of that goal with no players on the pitch, you just saw his body, you know it's that goal. And it's an incredible goal you've never seen anyone else do. Same with that Martial one.
I love that.
I'm not saying it's better, but sometimes you think, I've never seen anyone do that before. Stands the ball up and then just dinks it in and sends the goal the wrong way.
And it was the control and the skill. James is going off for what looks like Rashford. And Martial's coming on for somebody.
Decent shift from Grant James, are we saying?
Yeah, decent
shift. Was he a handful?
Yeah, he's a nuisance.
No, he's a nuisance.
So it looks like Rashford's got a wide, and I imagine, Greenwood's coming off. He doesn't look too happy. But I thought it was a bright spark, a little bit. Greenwood was there today. When Fergie retired, who did you want to take over?
Ooh, great question.
There's a video evidence of this, so I'll admit it. I would. Who I thought we could get, I would Klopp.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, bloody hell, that's a bit early.
Well, no, at the time he was like Dortmund.
Just won it with
Dortmund had won back-to-back titles not long ago. Jose, I think, confirmed he got it to Chelsea, hadn't he? Or was it Chelsea? I can't remember. Pep had confirmed he was going to Bayern Munich, so those were off the table. So I think you were on the video as well. I think we were talking.
Yeah.
And I just said that you should go for Jurgen Klopp. I'm glad we didn't get him though, because he's overrated and it's been proven right.
Mine, like, before it was announced, it would have been Pep.
Yeah.
And there was all rumours and talks after he left Barcelona, and there were never any concrete knowledge, but obviously people sort of knew that Fergie didn't have 10 years left.
Yeah.
So I would have had Pep, but honestly, once he'd retired, I did not even think of who was replacing him until they said Moyes, and then that was done. I was too shocked and sort of, not like I couldn't get my head together, but it really was such a big moment that I didn't even consider his replacement. And then next thing I knew, Moyes was the manager, and that was it. But I really didn't even think about it.
I never really, I kind of wanted Pep, I think was my first choice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of didn't have an opinion. And then once Fergie tells you, right, Moyes is your manager,
Exactly.
stand by your manager.
Exactly.
You start falling in love with the dream and you start thinking, well, Fergie's told us, so this must be the right thing to do.
Even like that, without Macca, Moyes wasn't even in my top 5. I'm not going to lie to you. Then you convince yourself.
But it made
you convince
sense,
yourself a
didn't it?
6-year deal is a good idea.
Made sense.
You convince yourself getting rid of Rennie Merlinstein and all the coaching staff for Jimmy Lumsden and Steve Round makes sense. I was like, well, he wants his own men in. And then, it's just a mess.
Yeah, we also...
Maguire, good header.
We were also in a position where, as fans, we'd been spoilt for 20 plus years. And we've seen clubs like Chelsea and this, that, and we've been like, well, we don't want to be like them. So then as fans, you're going into a season where you're thinking, I'm not going to criticise the manager. I'm not going to call for a manager's head. I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram. We need to, so you go into it thinking, we have to be different to everybody else.
I'm with you.
And that's why I thought the atmosphere in the stadium for that whole season was just immense. Like one of the best atmospheres I've ever enjoyed. I say enjoyed was one of the proudest moments I've been a United fan was 3-0 against.
I'm glad you
lost
said
against
that.
Liverpool.
I remember that 20 times rang out. Constantly, mate.
I didn't see the third goal.
No, mate.
I seen the scoreboard change and went, huh?
Do you know what?
The scoreboard, bruv. What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you know who deserves credit for that as well?
By the way, sorry for people who don't remember, when we lost 3-0.
Lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Gerrard missing a
Under Moyes.
penalty was celebrated like a goal, even though we were already 3-0 down. And I remember Raphael flying into a challenge, absolutely got everyone on the feet, mate. He was such a, come on, let's just go
Someone
for it.
said they wanted Keano as manager at that point.
Imagine.
Had a death wish.
Yeah. But no, you do, don't you? Trust like Fergie and you think, the squad's good enough and all the rest of it. And it just was one of them.
Here's Aidan with a historical reference to what we're talking about today. We've been joking around saying which players are handfuls, which players are nuisance. And this is it was not kind of true. It is true. It's a super chat from Aidan. He says, I think older commentators called physical black men a handful because they borderline refused to praise them. Not calling racism, but Ron Atkinson. Not calling racism, but here's a racist.
Maybe.
No, well, we've still had elements of that. And I
Racist,
remember,
right.
you'll remember this, Macca. Paul Rancast a couple of years ago. Remember when we were 4-0 FC?
Yeah.
We scored a lot of goals. Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Lukaku. And I think it was Gary Lineker, funny enough, Paul Rancast. Paul called out and he's like, look at the pace, the power, the athleticism. He's like, what about skill? What about vision of the past?
Yeah,
what about
Paul Pogba's one of the best dribblers I've ever seen.
Why do we keep saying these things about these players? And like at the time, people were like, what are you on about? But then there was a bit more of that, and people were like, do you know what? It's a point because if Kevin De Bruyne scores that exact same goal, you don't go about his pace, his power. And I'm not saying Marcus Rashford's very fast. I'm not saying he's not. Do you know what I mean? He's only skillful. No, but it seemed to be this thing where it was always based down to physicality, and it was something. So God knows what it was like.
It's basically like minorities in that instance are very rarely credited with maturity or skill or finesse.
Yes.
Or like
you made a point now, like
technical ability.
I know, like MLS is just big. He's just big, and he's not just big. Because everyone was just big and played football for England for 50 caps.
Yeah,
Ali Akinbaye would have played.
Yeah,
for England.
he's obviously good at football.
Played Axel.
Watford just putting the pressure on a little bit, but no real chances yet. But yeah, it's an easy. I think as well, it's something that you kind of have to pay attention to how you speak about things.
Even myself, I'll admit, I was like, do I do that? Am I guilty of that sometimes? Just going, look at the power and the pace and not thinking, hang on. Do you know what I mean? And I was really impressed when Paul said that, and then there was more and more conversations around it. Because I think Gary Lineker even replied and was like, what you want about? Sort of thing.
Yeah. I remember there was a period of time.
Sorry, go on.
I used to always, you know me, I'm like very politically aware. I'm very, like, aware of like social injustice and all that kind of thing. And I'd be one of those pricks. Like, you call me a prick. I feel like I'm a prick at times, but I'd do it in prickish ways where I'd just point out things like, yeah, you wouldn't do that if he was a black geezer, or wouldn't do that if he was like. I always do that. And there was a period of time for a lot of my life where you just get told, this again, or you're not being serious, are you? And like, it's true. It's facts. Do you know what I mean? And gladly more people now see it. But it's like when I was a kid growing up and we're playing football, and I used to think like, why don't we get, like, when I say we, I mean Asian, like young Asian lads or whatever, or the young black lads that I was growing up with in our area, like, why don't we get the same opportunities as certain other people and that? And you kind of grow up with this paranoia it's kind of fucked in a way, because you don't know whether is it me? Am I not good enough? Is it because of that? Like, is it this? Is it like, so you have all these questions, it's mental.
I mean, I think you're right, Mark, to call it out, you know what I mean? And to have that conversation, you should do. I'm glad you do.
Yeah, man.
Watford are making a sub, if anyone cares. Ekong's coming off. Is he?
You look like he was. There's two. They're making two subs, I think.
Al Taro said KSI killed Heskey. Trust me, KSI had nothing to do with killing Heskey.
No, he exaggerated.
Robson Reed says the biggest handful in Premier League history has to be Kevin Davis. The most booked man in the Premier League.
That's a shout out there.
He absolutely finished Gary Neville's career.
I was going to say Tom Cleverley as well.
Yeah, and Tom Cleverley.
No, he was never the same after that game.
Yeah.
I remember a game against Bolton, 4-1. Kevin Davis absolutely nobbled Gary Neville.
Do you know what my favourite memory of that game is?
Such an old phrase. An old radio phrase, that.
Nobbled him.
He said Alan Green said that.
He's nobbled him there.
I love Alan Green.
Do you know what my favourite memory of that 4-1 is? We were winning 4-0. In the 92nd minute, Bolton scored a goal to make it 4-1. The player that scores grabs the ball from the back of the net, starts running towards the centre circle. Jesse's had a shot. I think it's going out wide.
It didn't go directly out wide. It took a deflection.
Yeah, sorry. He grabs the ball, starts running towards the centre circle. Like, come on, lads, we're back in it. None of his teammates move. And he just puts the ball down and walks back.
Was it Almanda?
It might have been. Yeah.
He scored a great goal against Hull. One of the best Premier League goals I've seen. If the retirement of Sir Alex was a 10 out of 10 loss, Tim Jones says, with another super chat, so thank you, Tim Jones. He must be related to Tom Jones if he's got money like this. He says, how would you rate the loss?
It's not unusual, is it, the centre?
Oh, nicely done.
Made up for the old Wes Brown podcast.
You've redeemed yourself there. You're back on track.
It took you about an hour.
Three's a treble. No, well, I thought you wanted.
You're having another time out.
I thought you wanted to say I was here. You want to hear it again?
No, I wanted to hear it.
You know, the not unusual joke was good,
and now you've ruined it.
Yeah.
So, how would you rate the loss of David Gill? I actually feel David Gill's.
Was that not a penalty?
Ooh, hello.
Is that not a penalty?
If it is.
Oh no, it's not a penalty. It's not even in the fucking box. So no, Jay, it's not a penalty. That's not how the rules work.
I was getting excited. I thought Marshall was going to.
Yeah, you was.
Carl says super chat features not available in Beirut. Love you guys. Been watching since 2015. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate that. I love the fact we've got so many fans and people that watch from all over the world.
Yeah. So how would you rate the loss of David Gill out of 10?
I don't know. I think the loss of David Gill was exacerbated by the ineptitude of Ed Woodward.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily that David Gill was so fantastic. It's just that Ed Woodward was so terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. 7 out of 10. If you can, well, it's probably 6.
I think his. I think you're saying it's exaggerated a little bit. He used to miss out on a lot of players for us, bro. He used to piss me off so many times.
Yeah. And now it's like, oh, David Gill was a genius and he was this and he wasn't. He had the greatest manager in the history of football under him who identified a lot of players that were gettable. Because Fergie's modus operandi was getting gettable players.
If Ed Woodward was being told what to do by Fergie, he'd probably look good as well.
Yeah. Of course he would.
Emmanuel Noah says, what do you guys think about JJ Okocha?
Oh, he was quality, mate. I loved watching him.
I used to like watching him for PSG as well.
Yeah, I remember him for Bolton, and I liked him at Bolton, but he was probably at his best before Bolton, wasn't he?
So the thing with Bolton,
I don't really remember that.
It suited him because he could just do like a few bits of skill every now and again, and then not do much else.
Sort of late 90s was his.
That was
his
a great team, though. That Bolton team. Yeah, Yuri Djorkaeff, Ivan Campbell.
What the fuck was going on there? Ivan Campbell won the Champions League with Real Madrid and goes to Bolton. Like when he's
It's that
31.
big sample, innit?
And then he's got like JJ Koch, who's still got like miles left in him. And like you say, Joe Evan now. It's like, what's going on here?
Nicky and Alka.
Davis.
Yeah.
Remember Nicholas and Alka when they beat us 1-0?
I don't.
I hated that.
Jesse coming on. What do you make of his performance, Joe?
He's been all right. He does what he does well, which is find spaces. It makes persistent and just never-ending runs in behind, trying to make space for himself. He's not done a whole hell of a lot, but he's been all right.
It's hard.
To be fair, he's not played in 3 or 4 months, so what do you expect?
Yeah, no,
I think he's been all right.
This is the site where people go, and I've not been on social media, go, no, Lingard, like you just said there, he's not played for months.
No.
He's done all right.
Get over yourselves.
Yeah.
Mark says not one player in this game has staked a claim to replace anyone in the first team. I think that is a good point to take from this game, I suppose.
Does that include Harry Maguire, who's come on and just put another header over the bar from 6
Jussi
yards out?
Jaskalainen as well, remember him?
Jussi in the sky with diamonds.
Do you remember when Peter Schmeichel left and we were kind of like rushing for a replacement? Can you remember the names that were Mark Poom?
Mark Poom, you've got great memory, you son.
Yeah, Toldo, I believe.
Toldo's another one.
He used to play for Inter Milan. Barthez.
Barthez was the one we eventually... I loved Barthez.
Why?
I refused to hear
Bacca.
bad things said about him.
Me and you are not on the same page on this
You
one,
like
son.
him because he's a laugh. That's why you like him, because he'd be good on a night out.
I
Because he
really
smokes
wanted him
fags.
to sign for United at that
I
time.
still have memories of those Arsenal games burned into my mind.
Oh, they made me angry.
Marcus
People who
just
say Marcus
skinning.
Rashford is shit,
Oh.
like
You've gotta
no
pass
one has gone
those
past players like
times,
that.
man.
No.
No one's gone past anyone like that.
Sometimes
tonight.
you just got to pass.
Nah, it's it, mate.
Or like, he should have lifted that a bit higher.
He should have lifted it.
So
'Cause
then
I
it
can
goes to the
get him
back
having a
post.
shot when you've just done this. You're thinking, yeah, this is going to be a mint goal.
Why has he hit it on the floor?
Oh, mate.
When there's a defender there as well?
Shit.
Speaking of atmosphere, I was in a Stretford end
Take
and it
it
was the
back,
best
shit.
atmosphere I've ever been in. I couldn't believe it. Says
Shit,
Owen. That's where I sit.
For which
actually.
game?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Andy Gorham, that's a shout.
Gorham.
He was an emergency loan. We needed him.
You avoided using the chant there, Macca. I'm proud of you. Let's move on.
I was young then, so
No,
I
we're
didn't
not.
really.
We're not saying it.
I don't know it.
You don't need to. I'll tell you another
It's
time.
not
Text
good.
it me.
Yeah, wasn't good. Was
Oh,
What
Mark
is it?
Hatton's got a great one.
What is the chant?
Is it not what is the chant? What's wrong with it in terms
Andy,
of what,
Andy
what
Gorham.
Who does it?
Yeah, it's mental health.
Okay,
So
okay.
we're not going to go down
No,
that route.
that's fine.
I
weren't as
have the
woke
memory of
back
Di
then.
Canio scoring against him in the cup third round with his hand up like this. I was at
Barthez.
that game. I was at that game
Yeah.
in 2001, was it?
Something like that.
2001.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
So
was,
we
it
weren't
was
in the FA Cup
2001. It was
game.
2001.
Yeah, and it was our first season back in the
Yeah, let's
FA
save it
Cup
last second.
after we had taken a year out, and then that happened. Louis Saha, so underrated, says Awi Fayyad. I agree with that as well.
Just the injuries, wasn't it, man? The
Glass
injuries.
knees.
The injuries and some of the one-on-ones. Come on, let's not pretend.
Shut up, Jay. You didn't miss a chance, you dickhead.
Eric Bailly, Louis Saha. Who would make your could have been better 11?
Injury prone 11. Is that what we're doing?
Owen Hargreaves.
Oh,
Owen
yes.
It was
Hargreaves.
quality that first
Anderson,
season.
would you say?
Would you? Anderson. Sorry, Owen Hargreaves. Someone else who. Oh, Rashford with a bit of skill.
Oh, pass it there.
You're greedy,
Marcus,
man.
you got to lay that off,
It's
son.
boring, man. I don't want to watch this shit, man. No, that's just unfair.
That's unfair.
People
It's
forget
stupid.
how.
It's just stupid.
Oh, what? Rashford not giving the
That
ball?
there is stupid, bro. It reminds me of a child.
He's kind
A
of
child who's really good at football.
Yeah, really good at football, but don't want to pass to anyone else. That's the third run there, bro.
You're just angry because Andy Martial was waiting.
No,
there.
but anybody, it's 1-0, 82 and a half minutes. Come on, brother.
Proper loving that sweet you are, yeah.
Bro, I can,
Sucking the fucking
I can
skin
hear
off
him
it.
sucking sweet.
It's incredible.
I'm sorry, it's really annoying.
Literally got that.
I'm like that with pineapple
I'm
rocks.
sorry,
Cola
I'm
cubes.
sorry.
It's like being
I'm
in
sorry.
fucking Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in here. Jay's just sucking. The Snosberries
Someone's
taste like
ASM
Snosberries.
Someone's at
I'm
home
sorry.
ASMR in a
Everlasting
blowjob for
gobstopper
themselves.
over here. Yes. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I need to
It's
get
like
out.
the Ken Kniff skit in the Eminem video. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, Watford are making another change.
Chalobah's going off. He's a good player. Wasn't he at Chelsea?
Yes, he was. Nathaniel Chalobah.
Yeah, is it Chelsea?
Chalobah. That's a
This
powerful
guy's
name.
come up with some
Sprinted on.
enthusiasm.
That.
Hey,
Solheim says, Adam, who's got the better beard? True Geordie or Joe? Credit to Manscaped for both.
Yeah, it's credit to Manscaped for
They're
sure.
both sponsored
True
both.
Geordie's is bigger, isn't it?
look
It
at
is
how
bigger.
But is it
perfect.
quality,
Figure's not
is
always
it
better.
quality or
Joe's is.
quantity? Yeah,
Hey.
you've been fucking getting the most out of that motto for a while, haven't
What
you?
did he say there?
Bigger's not always better.
Oh,
Really working that one into the ground.
Tells its own story.
Someone said they had to change their pants after Jay. He's done that to them.
Because they shit themselves.
Someone said it's JSMR.
Very nice.
Oh.
We are talking like there's no chance we aren't winning this game, and there is a chance we
I
aren't
know
winning
that's
this
why
game.
he was
you know?
losing his marbles
Yeah,
then, because
no.
it's like we've not won it yet.
Because when you 1-0 up after 4 minutes
yeah.
and they ain't really had a shot on target, you can
It's just
lull
like,
yourself into
come
thinking
on.
that we're safe here. But we might not be.
Hargreaves free kick against Arsenal.
Yes.
Free kicks against Arsenal. He got 2 in the same game, didn't he?
Did he score 2 in that game?
I think he got.
I can only remember
so.
the,
I remember the second
2-1
one.
in the pissing rain.
I remember him. No, he got one against Fulham.
Was
where
it
Nani,
game back to back?
Yeah, Nani
Sorry.
went to take it, and Hargreaves took it before him.
He either
Nani went
scored
for the
in
run
2
up,
games in a
and
row or
Hargreaves just put it down and
two in
took
one
it.
game.
Yeah, it was two in a
lucky
row,
man.
mate. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, and he even said, I took it before Nani got there.
Because that's,
Brilliant.
that's the thing there, as well. Rash, give it matter. As soon as he gives it goals, it's gone, bruv. They can't hold him. Could Marcus win a Ballon d'Or one day, says Stephen?
Of course he could.
Watford with a bit of space here. And
Like, you can't tell me that you look at someone like Luka Modric has won one, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, there was a time when Luka Modric was Marcus Rashford's age. You go, he's going to win a Ballon d'Or one day.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's obviously very difficult, but he's doing.
Once
he's
Ronaldo and Messi are fucked off.
Yeah,
It's
and
anyone's
Marcus, he's he's got the ability. It's just whether he can kick on and do that.
game. Mbappe will join United, end up on the bench. And then Rashford will win the Ballon d'Or in 2024. And
Yeah.
then Marshall will get one in 2025.
Then Mason.
And then Mason will get one in 2026.
Sorted.
And then we'll have another Holy Trinity outside.
Yeah, man.
Job done.
That's how we roll.
Best player debut game you've been to. I've already mentioned it in
Yeah.
the hat tricks one.
I loved the running style against Bolton. It's not the best, but it's most entertaining.
It was a fun one.
It was fun, wasn't it? Came on with 20 minutes and gave
1-0 when he came on, wasn't
Ricardo Gardner, I think so. Yeah, just twisted his blood.
I don't know if I've ever been to a notable player's debut that I can remember because I didn't go I didn't have a season ticket.
Yeah.
We go to sort of 5 or 6 games a season.
it? Johnny come lately, Jay.
That's not what that means. I don't know if I've ever been to an opening game of the season, for instance, to get a new signing. So none that I'm aware of.
Thanks.
Unfortunately.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, I was asked, so I'm just giving the answer. That's all. Cheers, Adam.
Thanks. Cheers, mate.
Johnny come lately over here.
You didn't go to Marshall's against Liverpool?
No.
That's a good
I wish I did.
That's the best debut goal.
Do you think?
Sealing the win against the Scousers, mate. Are you mad? I was.
Rooney's
thinking-
free was class.
Rashford against City? Was that
No,
it?
Midtjylland was his debut.
Of course, yeah. League debut.
His
I
league
think,
debut
I
was
think
Arsenal.
for
That's the
the
one.
for the occasion, because it was the Scouts and because
Yeah,
they'd
that's
been,
it.
you know, it was just one of them where I was like, oh my god.
Dan James' debut against Chelsea. There you go, boys.
Well, there you go.
Ahmad taking
Go,
Welbeck's number. Let's go, says Sam. Ahmad Diallo, everyone excited about that?
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
We need a right winger. Hopefully he's good. I'm a bit not concerned, but I'll be a bit upset if he's like just plays for the 23s for the rest of the season. Like we've
You'd
seen
think
Palistri
that the
do.
fact that Atalanta wanted him to stay. Scott McTominay's just got man of the match, by the way.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think defensively he's done a lot of, even more so than the goal. I think defensively, when Watford have pushed forward, he's cleared a lot of it up. So I think that's a correct decision.
And even just the way he just seamlessly
I'll
slipped
tell you what,
into
Dean
centre back
Henderson.
when Bailly was out.
Egbert says, do you
He's
remember
just climbed
Massimo
all over Andy
Taibbi?
Martial there, and that's foul. Sorry?
Egbert says, do you remember Massimo Taibbi? Did you go to his debut?
No, it was against the Scousers and he got man of the match.
0-0
People
at
forget that.
Anfield.
No, 2-1 at Anfield. Yeah, you're right. It was
2-1
Anfield,
at
though.
Anfield,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was at Anfield. He got man of the match. He had a stormer. And then we got beat 5-0 off Chelsea and he was at fault for 4 goals. And then we drew 3-0.
Other than that,
we drew 3-0 with Southampton and he was at fault for 2 of them.
which was it the Chelsea game where the famous through the arms?
No, through the legs was against Matt Letizia for Southampton.
Southampton.
That was his last ever game for us. And that's
You
when
don't come back
Fergie...
from
Watford have got a difficult free kick
Fergie
here. Just
loaned
after
him
we
back
should
to
have had a
Villa.
free kick on the edge of the box. Massimo Taibbi as well was hugely rated. You know?
Yeah, no, he was, mate. He
Hugely
was.
rated, bro.
Like, if it was now, everyone would have been going, oh yeah, he's mint on Twitter.
Donnarumma levels.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. And then after his debut, everyone would be going, yeah, he's amazing, really, because, you know, the man of the match against the Scouts was at Anfield. Come on, don't get much better. And then after the Chelsea game, everyone would have been like, get rid of him.
Matty Gominski says honourable mention to Yakubu, who was a proper handful.
Oh, mate, he cost us the title.
Oh shit! How can we
title.
forget Makeda debut?
Ooh,
Your boy.
My
Your
boy,
boy right
Steve.
there, fam.
good one.
You know what's fucked as well? Since I spoke to Makeda, and he was like, "Yeah, when Panathinaikos have a game, you know, come down and that." COVID happened. It's fucking shit. Bro.
It's these things, innit? That, you know, talk about first class problems.
We've got first world problems.
Hey, I don't get to go
it's like
to
when
watch
Jesse
McKola.
goes. If Jesse leaves now, you're coming with me. If Jesse leaves now,
yeah, Sam.
Like, I'm DMing straight away. Like, all right, when am I coming to a game?
Yeah.
Fuck that, we're going.
Think he will leave?
Yes, unfortunately so.
In January or in the summer?
Potentially now because of the Euros. And when you look at Dele Alli not being in the squad,
soft referees,
the
give
England
a free kick to
squad
them.
still being
Yeah,
up in the air.
Yeah, no, obviously, you can say.
If Jesse went to say a Sheffield United helped save them, or a West Brom, or even at Everton or something,
I'd like to see him go to someone who's not right in the middle of the relegation or right at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, like in Everton's fair enough.
So
Good,
he can
good
play
team.
football.
Yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah. Like if he's going to Sheffield
Wolves.
United, he's going to get relegated.
If I was him, I'd go
yeah,
abroad.
Wolves
you
is a
know.
good one.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
If I was him,
No,
I'd go
I think
Italy,
he might almost need that a year in, I don't know, Portugal or Spain, whatever, just to get his confidence back, get playing
'Cause
football and
he
get.
could get a move to Roma, Lazio,
and set it up there.
AC.
Fiorentina.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the Viola though. If it's not going to be your first choice, is it? The Viola, unless they bring Nintendo back on their shirts. Art of Football made this mint T-shirt where it's like the Nintendo logo, but it says Batistuta in it.
I was about to say, whenever you mention Fiorentina, the only thing I think about is Batistuta.
And when he twatted one past Roy Carroll, was it, or Tim Hammond, and just went back.
United, 4 minutes to go here. We've not. I wouldn't say we've. I'll finish that sentence after this. I wouldn't say we've sat back too much and looked
too relaxed for this game.
too scared.
No.
But I think that I agree. But I think some of that is because we haven't sat back. We haven't allowed the pressure to build.
No.
We've been relatively comfortable at 1-0.
Yep.
And so far, obviously, 3.5 minutes to go, Watford haven't really troubled us too much. Now, that can all change any time, but I'm quite impressed by the way United haven't sort of sat back and allowed this to become a cagey 1-0.
No.
Someone's commenting, all I can hear is sweet sucking.
Yeah,
I've
come
stopped
on.
now.
Ian says, who was a player that United were interested in, but we missed out on that you would have liked?
Oh, I know yours.
In my lifetime, he says it's been Thuram, Ronaldinho, and Hazard. Who's mine?
Ronaldinho, innit?
No, I'd have said
Ronaldinho or Kluivert.
All right.
Batistuta
was one for me.
Batistuta was one, but like, you know, when Ronaldinho, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Kluivert, I was quite sure that was going to happen.
Shearer?
Do you know
And
what?
then we got York, and I was like, fucking York. And we won the
That
trophy.
sort of brings me back to that Barcelona game. I think that's one of the reasons I was buzzing as well, is because Kluivert went to Barcelona and played in that game.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
it was
everyone's-
York against Kluivert.
Yeah, I remember I was singing to Kluivert, you should have signed for a big club and all this.
Shearer was a big one at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that would have made the
Playing
difference?
Toto.
Oh.
That's a foul on the edge again, bro.
I say made the difference. I know we won a treble.
No,
but
but
do
no,
you
it's a
think
good
we've
question. Do you
a
know
lot
the
of
thing
people
with Shearer
seem to
as
think
well
we
is
could have won another Champions
Rashford's
League.
gonna
because
twat
we
this
had
in.
the free foreigner rule as well. Shearer could have come in the early 90s or mid-90s. I mean, again, I'm showing my age, but David Hirst was a quality player we were linked with. People forget how good he was.
Was that when he was at Wednesday?
Yeah, he was like a proper
Was he
modern
ever at
striker.
Anyway.
No, he went to Southampton, but he just
That was a dirty foul. That was a yellow.
injuries got the better of him. But no, he was quality. Who's taking this? Tellers, I think Tellers.
Blaine says bizarrely relaxing game and watch along, and I'm fine with that. Bro,
Yeah.
the only time there's going to be madness and watch against Burnley, bruv. See this fella here? Mess. Going to be a mess, bruv. I've put everything on the league this season, so if we don't win it, I'm finished.
Rashford. Oh no. Mata. Well over.
Get out.
Awful.
Get out.
Shocking.
Get out.
Pathetic.
Sub him.
I'm sick of you.
Sub him.
Imagine hating one man.
If you hate one man, you're not a United fan.
You're just not human.
You're not.
Innit?
What? How can you hate him? What's he done to from a United point of view? Nothing. You can't hate him.
No.
And out of
Probably one of our best post Fergie signings.
yeah, and in my career, like of all the people that I've met, famous people.
Oh, they've got a fucking free
fuck.
kick here.
Wan Matter is
And
the
he's
best.
bought that as well. He's bought that, Will Hughes.
Wan Matter's the best.
Yeah.
Most nicest. Him and AJ are up there.
Really?
But then again, to be fair,
fucking Will Hughes.
Jesse
bought
is
a free
also
kick.
very, very
It's not a free kick.
nice. He's a good lad.
When we interviewed Jesse, or you interviewed Jesse, it was like watching just two mates shine.
After we beat Leicester 4-1 at the start of the season once, I was walking back to my car about an hour and a half after the game, and as we were about to jump in my car, this black Rangers pulled up in front of us and in the middle of the street, and me and my brother thought, oh my God, is this where we get killed?
Free kick to
and
Watford.
The window wound down, and it was Marcus and Jesse.
Was it Marcus's
And they
car?
went, Adam! And I went,
That's sick.
bro, are you taking the
Sick.
piss, bro? I just
Mate.
watched you like kicking ass, and then chatted to him for a bit, and it was mental.
Was it Marcus's car?
Jesse was driving.
Right. So it was a black Rangers that time, and I tried to get in his car and realised it was this.
And then I had an Asian lad in the back, so then I thought, they're already acclimatized around
Yeah,
Asians,
this
so
is
it's
it.
cool.
This-
So he's like,
they like the
just-
Asians.
Yeah, they're cool around us. Oh God, is this full time? Is it not full time?
94th minute.
Too high.
Yeah, he's been good today.
Man of the match. Juan of the match.
You say no one maybe's put themselves in contention for the first team. Scotty was done as well as he can do. And
But
you know, he's there or thereabouts, isn't he?
Full time then, Manchester United 1, Watford 0. A comfortable, as Jay said at half time, professional win by Manchester United. The sort of win that none of us have been out of our seats. No, we've basically had a chat about football for an hour and a half. But that's the sort of win that I miss as a United fan.
Yeah.
Play against a team that you're better than, go ahead early, never concede too many chances, and win the game pretty comfortably whilst resting a lot of players.
Do you know when you used to go to United and you'd be chatting like we were at the game, like enjoying it and just like not screaming and fucking sulking? And
It's like the last day of the game, game of the season feel.
Yeah, and you'd be like, kids were just comfortable. And it's like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, it felt like that.
It's nice to be able to win games like that, isn't it?
Yeah, move on. Job done.
You know what I love? Like occasionally, if I've got MUTV on a dodgy stream or something.
About to say.
And I see it, and I see like a game, and I think, hold on, was that game? I can't remember that happening because it was a routine 2-0 win, 2-1 win. Ronaldo scored 2, Rooney scored, and it's like you grow accustomed to those victories.
Yeah.
Now this wasn't an amazing win. In fact, I think Watford possibly deserved extra time and penalties, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy watching Man United play. We've rested everybody. I thought Donny van der Beek looked tidy. I thought McTominay looked tidy, which are the ones that you would want to. We got to see Jesse Lingard out there again, and I believe he might leave this month, but if he doesn't, he could still be someone to offer us something as the season progresses, potentially from the bench or as a squad player in the Europa League and in the Cup. So I thought it was job done performance. My only concern at the whole of today is Eric Bailly.
Yeah, head injury. Hopefully he can come back from that for the Burnley game, if not the Liverpool game. But
I'd
there's no
save
serious
him for
connotations
Liverpool. I wouldn't even. I think Lindelof should be good enough to play against them. I'd go with Lindelof.
Yeah, it was a nice game to watch, wasn't it? It was actually nice being able to sit, have a chat with the comments, have a chat with each other, enjoy United being comfortable in a win. And someone who I would mention, and we'll talk about it more on the review, which will be coming up in just a minute with me and Jay. Dean Henderson today was just. I use this not in a highly sort of hyperbolic sense, but immaculate in terms of just did everything you would want perfectly well, no troubles, no nothing.
Whoa, you forgetting? He need Eric Bailly in his face. Perfect. Did everything all right? He need Eric Bailly in his sweet, beautiful face.
It was the back of the face, actually.
He's playing.
It was his jaw.
He's playing the long game.
Evan says, class watch along today, guys. Thanks for the laugh. Sorry, Jay. To cut you off there.
Don't get used to him because he's going to be a shivering wreck when we play Burnley.
It's a bit weird.
And Liverpool, imagine the Liverpool watch along. I'm already shitting myself for that. Oh, I can't even believe that's coming.
You're in trouble as well because the Scousers, I don't handle that too well.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
That's
mate.
the kind of game.
Like, I'm just letting you know now. I'll be taking it to Adam McKola levels of
suppose-
sulking.
Watch-alongs aren't designed for Manchester United against Liverpool
No.
because it's too much.
Opposition fans. You see us, we get 4,000 people watching us. They love us.
They
Some of them
love
will
Man
be-
United.
Yeah.
Some of them will be non-United fans, but they're not watching us to see us go mental. Like these watch us because they like us, I hope. Like against
so.
Liverpool, we'd be the kind of messes that other fans would want to watch.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Look at them. Fucking hell.
You know when you
Delusional.
start-
They've
yeah.
got their
You know that
title
Leeds
race.
fan? You know that Leeds fan who loses his head
Yeah.
after a couple of minutes? That'd be Jay. I'd be like his missus next to him. Turn the camera off.
I'd have to go. I would.
You just
I'd have
see
to go.
Adam
What did he
slowly
say
leaning
again?
over.
Fuck off. Fuck you.
That'll be us against Liverpool. So enjoy it while it lasts. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes, me and Jay, for the review. So stick around for that. Get your comments in. We'll be going through the game and sorting out who played well and who didn't as well.
And you'll also be hearing from Adam McKola, Stephen Howson on the fan cams.
Yes.
So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Man United have beaten Watford 1-0 in a comfortable routine FA Cup third round tie. We'll see you in a bit.
21 is